Check, check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
No.
I can hear you. No.
We can hear you.
I hear you just fine.
All right. I don't know. All right. Anybody, if you're watching this later, the VOD later, we're just going to scrub through some of this stuff because I haven't watched any of the sitcom stuff at all. We have a couple people here with us that have watched it all, so they can tell me the important stuff to go through because I think it's 13 hours of video altogether to go through. I might put an hour into it and see if I could get the gist of the important things. The important things that we might actually get. We'll see. You guys all see my stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good, very good. All right, this is the opening. I'll just watch, see what Chris Roberts says, and then we'll pick something to watch. That's what $750 million looks like in people. If every one of those people spend 10 grand.
People showed pictures of the lines outside. It was just crazy amount of people.
Yeah.
Like this when Chris Roberts entered the stage, there were still people outside not getting in because there were so many of them.
2954.
It's wish Elon Musk.
A lot more years than there were 5 years ago. There's 400 people. There's almost 5,000 people in the building.
All right, bro, you couldn't even tuck this wire in, man. Come on, you're killing me. It's just like the prison suit where your tubes don't even connect.
Today, which is amazing. I'm so grateful. I know a whole bunch of you around that have come from
What's
around
up,
the
Moses?
world
No, we weren't there. I haven't even
visit
seen any of this, so we're watching this all for the
lovely
first time.
sunny Manchester. But inside
Are you
here,
at
there's
Jump
going
Town,
to be a
Cuddly?
lot of very cool stuff, although
No.
No, okay.
in this up-and-coming presentation, you may see a few things inspired by the Manchester weather. Anyway, so like the first title of our first presentation, Brave New Worlds, we're on the cusp of a new era for Star Citizen because server meshing is finally a reality. People are making their first jumps to Pyro in Evocati testing right now, which
Evocati, okay,
pretty
that's how
awesome.
you
We're
say it.
gonna
Evocati?
have it out at the end of this year.
Yeah, you gotta sound
So
pretentious
I
when
think
you
it was
say
going to be a great new phase for Star Citizen. And over these next 2 days, we'll talk about the new tech and tools in Star Engine that will help us craft those worlds that you're going to be flying around to. And you'll hear about our
Flying
plans
very
beyond
slowly
1.0
around to.
and how we get towards Star Citizen 1.0, which is
Just stop me if I'm being too
out of
cynical,
alpha
anybody, please.
And for everybody to play. And a little later this evening, I've got a special surprise for you, so you definitely want to stick around for the 5:30 show.
I'm going to ask Nate
Anyway,
when
the
their
team
clip is.
has worked really hard on the lead up to CitizenCon and this year to work on, first of all, what you've been playing in live, what you're going to be playing, what you're going to see here. So I'd like to thank them all for working extra hard and putting all their love and care, just like you guys love and care what we're building, into what we're
Delivering
doing.
some
So
of the org
thank
stuff.
them and you guys. And
That makes sense.
without me waffling on, I'd like to bring CIG's CTO, Benoit Bézageur. Did I say it right, Benoit? Yeah, okay, good.
It was
I won't
I'm new to
bad
Star
with French
Citizen, so
surnames.
not much to compare it
the
to.
stage
We
start our
appear
journey into the
perfect,
future. So let's have a
Yeah.
great show.
Moses, a lot of it is marketing, you know what I mean? Once you can wrap your head around the marketing monster that is CIG, then you can kind of like watch this and go, okay, and pick out, I don't know, you know what I mean? This is the glitzy part that kind of, whatever. I'm not going to get too cynical yet. Let's see some stuff.
Guten Tag, CitizenCon! Hola, CitizenCon! Ni hao, CitizenCon! And hello, Manchester. I'm not gonna need this anymore.
All right, where's the content start?
I am Benoit Beauséjour.
This
or
guy
some
starts
may
giving us
know
some
me,
content?
I am Balt on Spectrum. Today, we will talk about Brave New Worlds. This is Pyro 2, Monarchs. It's a barren planet, not really habitable. Now,
I love the
since
skies in
advance of
Pyro.
our
That's the one
planet
thing that I
tech,
really liked about
we've
being there.
always
The
allowed
skies look
players
awesome.
to circumnavigate planets.
They made it red,
and move from orbit to ground seamlessly.
I think when you're
Kinda
around this
brownish
planet,
red.
it's more
Complex
red. I remember there
areas
was,
and
because
intricate
I only
detail.
played at that one
Now,
thing.
with server
I remember.
mission,
But I remember when we
we're
went to
gonna
that
need a
one
lot more
planet, like the skies
locations
looked like they were
for
on fire. It
missions
was
and
amazing.
destinations for more life. But there's a major question that has always followed this project since the beginning of Alpha 3.0. How are we going to make a large number of planets and systems? How are we going to meet the fidelity benchmark we've established? In this technology update, we bring life to lifelessness, even to monarchs. We take the physical representation of the terrain, the geology, the atmosphere, the climate, and the environment to create
Dude, that's the screen I
accurate
need.
biomes that spring
That's a
naturally
fucking
from the
monitor right
collision
there.
of all these environments. Coherent, denser
Ah,
biomes
no, I can see the
that follow
pixels,
the
no
laws
good.
of nature that we encode into data. Data that we then leverage to place flora and fauna, yes, but also settlements, buildings, alien and human life in a planetary context. This creates worlds that are scientifically plausible, richer in gameplay opportunities. We want you to find adventure just by going around the planets without a quantum point. We want you to find actions along your path.
Yeah.
For this, we are changing how we made the game. We are scaling how we made the game in all areas. This is not just a Planet Tech update. This is a collection of systems that we call Genesis. Now,
He said no quantum
to help
points,
me
right?
explain all this nice work and this nice technology.
Yeah, and like
Let us kick
there's
us
gonna
off.
be a lot
And I
of stuff that
welcome
doesn't
our
have
very
quantum
own
points.
Ali
Yeah.
Brown and Will Hine for phase
I want a
one
whole
of
system that
Genesis.
doesn't have any jump points. I think you could just.
One of the new star systems they show is gonna be like this kinda. Or there is quantum points in some places, but one planet is like completely hollow
Yeah.
and
Hello,
is not
Star
terraformed.
Citizen.
Yes, hello, Citizen Con.
Yeah.
Oh, it's River Guy.
So let's start with some introductions. This guy over here is Will Hain, aka Water Guy or River Guy.
And
River
this
Guy.
lovely gentleman is
Yeah,
Ali
River Guy.
Brown, pusher of pixels extraordinaire.
And we're here to tell you about phase one of Genesis, which we're entitling The Laws of Nature. And this revolves around the fundamental approach we use to build our planet and is the literal foundation for everything else we're going to talk about in this talk today. Now, it centers on data-driven, physically based rules that we aim to realistically emulate nature and its incredible diversity. Before we dive in a bit deeper, let's just recap on some of the things we already have on our planet. So here you can see our lovely atmosphere and our
We
cloud
have a
rendering,
lot
which
to
can
go
provide
through,
some
dude.
spectacular views. We have our on-the-fly terrain generation,
Cuddly,
which is
day one,
no
what's the
loading
most
screens in our
important shit,
game,
you
which we're
think?
very proud of.
Probably the
Then we
text.
have our scattering system
now.
that can populate these planets with many different diverse biomes. And we've been setting quality benchmarks for each of these biomes as we come across them one by one.
Yeah, planets
But
definitely need
what we
more
have
biomes.
Isn't perfect. This scene on Microtech, it looks great, but it's not
They're gonna-
getting the same.
Like if you think
density.
about think about like the forests and the snow areas on Microtech, then the deserts of
Yeah.
Hurston, and then like cityscapes of like Arcorp. All that shit should be on one planet. You know what I mean? That's like a whole planet, basically. You know what I mean?
You'd expect from a real pine forest. That's one of the things we want to solve. The other, if I take you to the other side of Microtech, you'd be excused if you thought we'd just turned around and looked at a different
Stop
part
talking. Dub, I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit, all right?
of the forest. Why is that? Well, this is because currently our artists create slices of biomes in great number, and then they distribute them across the planet using humidity and temperature properties. Each slice looks great in isolation, as you've seen, as you've explored. But this is not the solution to give us varied and natural biomes across an entire planet. Additionally, just using humidity and temperature limits us to only 2 degrees of variation. And that's not enough for the sorts of planets and worlds that we want to create and for you to explore.
So how are we going to scale up our planet generation? Well, as I said before, we're going to start with physically based rules that drive everything. We want nothing to feel random on these planets. We want no limitations on the number of biomes. We want infinite biomes that are continuously
You want
changing
nothing to
across the
feel
planet.
random. I think
And
it
we
should
want
feel
extreme
random. Or I
density,
guess not
and we want to
random.
maintain or exceed all
I
the
guess
default
depends on
levels
what you
we've
mean.
set
Trying
with
to
our existing biomes.
making procedural
And most
tech
importantly,
that
we want it
doesn't
to be
feel
scalable, so we can really
randomized.
scale up to the level
Okay, yeah.
of content that the designers are expecting. And from your perspective, we want you to be able to truly explore and find unique playing opportunities everywhere on our
You
planet.
ever heard of I forget what it's called. It's called like there's a forest in the U.S. somewhere. It's called like the rose or the forest of lines, or there's some forest in like center of the U.S. somewhere. All the trees are in a line. It's really crazy looking.
Yeah.
I'll find it later. Doesn't matter.
So
Has nothing to do with
start
this.
we're going to need more data. So if we see here some of our existing data sets on our planets, we have temperature, which we define locally and globally, and humidity, and that's it for now. With Genesis, we add many other data sets, such as the geology type, the soil type, and then we also go for things like the soil depth and the quality and the nutrients, and many other properties all drive this complex data set that we use to build rule sets on that each individual asset can describe how
That's
it should
pretty dope.
work with them.
We're going to put something together and show you some demos today using some of the assets that you've already know and love in the PU. Although you might see some new stuff later, we'll save that. What you're going to see is a vertical slice of development. It's very early stages, very work in progress. You might see some bugs, but that means it's only going to get
bugs.
better, so be excited. The number one challenge with planets and
I love
game
that.
is
He literally
scale.
says, "Be
In
excited."
no other context do you need a planet to look great from first-person perspective when you're stood among the trees. You need it to look great when you're in a spaceship at a quantum marker miles away, and everywhere
So
in
are they going to
between.
take
There are
the
no loading
what's
screens, you
it
see
what's it
everything.
called, the
We
like
cannot
popping
afford
in?
for it to look
Are they
bad
going
in
to
any other
fix
scenario.
that?
So,
Yep,
let's
that's
start
one of the
from a
things
ground
they're going to
perspective.
show.
Demo number one. Let's have a look.
I mean, render distance is way better than it used to be. That alone. These are all assets we already have, though. They all look the same.
Yeah, they said that they're using assets that we already have for this.
Okay.
This demo.
Yeah. So it's the same physical things, but it just looks more
So-
natural.
How do we make that?
Yeah.
It's just better.
Thank you, thank you. So, let's talk about first what's underneath it all. The ground! So, so, in our previous terrain shader, we just switched between different ground textures depending on climate and didn't really consider the unique properties of each type. Now, the terrain shader is based around 4 layers. We always first consider bedrock at the bottom of it all. Then, where appropriate, we add layers of soil of different types. We then add debris where appropriate, whether it be pine needles, dead leaves, etc. And then when it gets cold, we add snow. Each of these layers has unique shading properties and unique transitions between them. Because we do this all in one shader, we're able to achieve that.
Oops,
I
sorry.
wonder if they're going to add like
We can
digging.
also use things like water saturation,
Yeah,
to darken
voxel
the tint
grounds.
of the soil, and other properties to make it look more realistic. But that's not what filled most of the screen in that demo. That's the vegetation. Like what Ali said, we want to emulate the laws of nature. So in Genesis, we have rule sets for every asset that tells it how to respond to our rich data, whether it be soil type, water availability, temperature, geology, or whatever. We assess the viability and the vitality of each asset and compare them to decide what is likely to spawn in a natural environment. This automatically creates the cohesive environments that you saw in that clip. Not handcrafted anymore. No one has told those ferns and those pines to be like that.
It should be less
They each want to be like that.
performance
And that's what we're
intensive,
doing.
right? If
Multiple
it's not all
assets together to
handcrafted, then?
create a unique microbiome.
Or am I wrong?
What about trees then? Same thing. They have a larger requirement for space.
up, Steiner?
They have a larger requirement for nutrients. That's how you see the distribution, and it's how it all works. Let's meet the flora that came together to beat that forest, to make that forest, and have a look at some of their properties. Now, just to note, they are all going to look quite similar because we've already seen them in the same place, so they must be similar. So, building blocks, like grass and common grass, medium amounts of sunlight. We had ferns, see as a much lower requirement for sunlight. We had salix bushes forming our undergrowth, and we had pines, of course, and multiple variations of pines. Diversity is driven by competition. Everything has ideal conditions, which affects its competitiveness. We also have additional control over this in the form of dominance, which allows us to make one asset more competitive and more dominant than another, which is just what
give me
we
a
see in nature.
check. I want to get your
Everything is
volume right.
constantly fighting for resources. And
check 1 2.
Okay.
because we spawn these assets in a hierarchy, it's easy to propagate shade data down over the distribution of the assets so that we can control ones that prefer or reject shade. Often, like these ferns, they can spawn in light, but they are outcompeted in those scenarios most of the time. So you will see a rogue fern, or a place where there's no seeds for a specific asset, you might start to get this coming in. Let's take a look from a larger perspective again.
A lot of systems to be adding.
Yeah. Well, they're not kind of. It's only like the systems for a tool. It's like all the systems that the generation will take into an account. Basically simulating like a real growth of nature. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks more realistic in the end.
Yeah, it'll be nicer for those like
that's
big
dope.
open plains of microtech
Yeah.
looking better.
Yeah. Yeah, this will like help them create like the new planets way faster.
So like at a bird's eye view, it doesn't look that different, but when you get up in there, it does. Dude, imagine trying to drive the rover through there. Look at all them rocks.
Imagine sneaking through there.
Well, that'll never happen. Don't get ahead of yourself. I like that one lonesome tree back there on top of that hill. Rocks are plenty. Yes, why? And how do we move them and get them out
So,
of
to
there?
take you through some of the things we saw in that clip, let's
With,
talk about
cluster bombs, of
blocks
course.
first. So, anyone that's done a lot of ground driving and ground vehicles might have seen
The way
that
the
our blocks
GIs
sometimes
did.
feel a little bit randomly scattered, and it can be quite an obstacle sometimes. So, in this clip, you saw that the rocks are no longer randomly scattered, and they're now placed based on physically based rule sets. And this logical grouping is achieved via erosion simulations, which we run offline to build localized data maps. And they describe the size of the aggregate and rocks and the density and where they should naturally form. And that means we get things like these natural clusters of boulders at the forest edge.
What did he
underneath the
say?
cliffside. And on that note, you might have noticed that the cliffs have been dramatically improved in how they shade.
Less rocks
We also see
randomly
things like
everywhere.
natural clumping of
Oh shit!
vegetation caused
Bald
by seed
cypress. Look at them
dispersal.
bald cypress
This
trees.
is controlled per species,
I wanna
so
see
we can
that.
get better emulation of their unique growth patterns and create a much more
Yeah, they're gonna
realistic
go
environment.
into new
And we also
biomes in
calculate the
there.
slope aspect, which is the exposure to vegetation,
Yeah,
to
fucking
solar
snooze on all
radiation,
this shit. Let's
and
go to the
other
new stuff.
environmental factors. Brain system to the GPU, and we've now done that to get some incredible performance
We have like,
improvements.
like I said,
But we
13
can
hours.
also
These
track
are-
some
they are
results on what we
explaining
call
that
a
there's,
virtual terrain texture.
Like
I'll give you a quick demo of this
switching
now. This
some
is
of
now
the load
vastly
from CPU to GPU, and
Oh, okay.
this is good.
They've been saying that for a long time now.
This they show the popping stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump ahead because we, like I said, 13 hours here is not gonna be able to watch all this shit.
Libraries have to grow alongside.
Let's see these
it.
bald cypress trees.
Wait, should I click? No. No, I should click. Yeah, click. Oh, there we go. So, our goal of the content is to provide.
These
our
guys are
goal
so
is to
awkward,
provide the
dude.
content
They're
that the
so
system
awkward.
needs to populate
Well, they're
every
devs,
corner
so,
of
you
every
know.
planet
Yeah.
with
well,
realistic
Not their
environments.
strong suit.
Hire some people,
Content is what
dude.
this phase of Genesis is all about. Emergent biomes.
Hire some performers, man.
For our first example of today, it's almost a shame Will left. because
Scrap
there's a lot
Squadron
moisture,
42 and hire
but
some
let's
performers
look
for
at very
Citizenship.
high moisture and medium to high
I'd rather them be
temperature.
more genuine than have those fake like let's play
No,
performances.
dude, I want to see. All right, what? Let's see this. All right, that's dope. Okay.
These are the new assets.
That actually looks really good.
It looks like art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does actually because of the birds.
Totally looks like art. So for me, the biggest problem. So no, see those points? Those are knees. Those are bald cypress knees coming out of the ground. Who that? Oh, what up, man?
Hey.
I like the attention to detail with the bald cypress knees.
Yeah.
That's a little out of place.
Tell me you wouldn't want a low fly?
Yeah, give us the old flight model. I'll low fly all day.
That's what happens when you low play.
It doesn't look very alien though. It looks like Louisiana or Florida.
Yeah.
Speaking of Louisiana.
Yeah. Was that Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, that's what we kept saying, and if I remember correctly, like someone said, like they are building like what we know now,
Thanks.
so they
Yeah.
can
Pretty good.
move
So,
to the
for swarms, we
what we
obviously make
don't know.
vegetation that feels at home
Yeah,
in or near
that makes
water.
sense.
But before we dive in, allow me to give you a quick primer on our approach to authoring plants. Most species can survive in a fairly wide range of climate conditions, but will only thrive if the conditions are ideal. To support this concept, we author our vegetation assets to describe the full growth cycle of a species. If the conditions aren't ideal, they may not grow to full maturity or look their best, but the species can still exist. So let's have a closer look. For the water's edge, we made plants like this Alternatera and the iris. We also need the aquatic ones to float on the water surface, like the water lily or the pickerel weed. This willow and the one after, a Chinese tallow tree, while comfortable near water, we can also use to replace some of the more aged assets used to seeing elsewhere in the game. The last one, it's taking a bit longer now, but the last one, I'm gonna wait.
It's bald cypress. Those are
The
dope.
last one you may not see used much in other biomes, but it's a very iconic one
like,
for
hold
the
on.
swamp.
We're
bald
getting there.
cypress.
Yeah, they even made knees for them. That's crazy. That's like something you don't see in video games. The knees are just like in reality and real life, they're just fucking annoying, you know. So like to put them in a video game is kind of a cool idea, I guess.
So another feature we need for make a swamp experience a proper one is water injection. Over the last year or two, a lot of work has gone into improving the way
Fishes
our water
underwater.
reacts and renders.
Adding fishing.
So naturally,
Confirmed.
we want
Yep.
to make a biome that highlights those advances.
I'll fucking
Let's have a
fish
brief
with my
look at what it's
railgun.
like being inside the swamp.
Oh,
As
it's
you
Red
walk
Dead.
or swim through the water, you may
Totally
come
looks like
across
Red Dead,
obstacles
doesn't it?
like logs or debris floating
does,
on
yeah.
the surface. They will
Oh, that's
react
cool.
to the player character,
Alright,
and
shit's
they will push
floating,
out
let's
of the
go.
way.
But can you swim?
Dutch!
No, you
We need
can
a plan.
We were also pleasantly
Fucking
surprised
gator.
when
Get
we
some
first
space
saw
gator. Star
how
gator,
the
sorry.
water simulation systemically affects assets floating on the water surface.
So here's the thing.
making
This
for
is the
some
thing that
really
gets me
immersive
though. Like,
moments.
so I get like all this shit's cool, right? And it's amazing.
Mm.
Video games have had this shit for a long time though. Like this is all pretty standard video game fare. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's all pretty like normal.
Now, before I get to our second use case of the day, a quick disclaimer. Obviously, all the things you're seeing here today we're still actively working on, but this one in particular, it's a bit early in the process. So let's have a look at extreme object density next. With the data saying we should have high rainfall and sunlight year-round, it's the perfect condition for our next biome to appear.
There goes Cuddly in his pink cutter.
Yes.
It's a rambler.
I like the sound effects. You know what's cool what DayZ does? They have birds and bugs like this, but if you shoot your gun and it's loud, all the birds and bugs will stop making noise, and then they'll slowly come back, which I always thought was really cool. That's like a nuance that a lot of people don't even notice. That's really cool. Adds immersion.
Hey, look, there's Cuddly trying to lose that armor.
Turn motion blur off, man. Jeez.
He's a rip in the back of his pants?
It's just the way the suit fits. Doesn't go over that flight suit. It's pretty dope looking.
So when does the Predator come out?
The cuddler.
So all the trees, though, are still totally static, right?
Yeah. Where am I gonna park my 890?
Well, it's like I saw them landing the ship in the middle of the jungle. I'm like, are they really doing that?
But yeah, only little
Considering
ships.
everything you've just seen is still very much work in progress, the gameplay capture team really did a great job showing our work in the best possible light. With jungles, we wanted to explore the concept of vertical stratification, as they are the prime example for that. What it means is that you have horizontal layers of microbiomes defined by the species that thrives with the amount of sunlight and rain that still reaches there. The floor, herb and brush layer, we could almost do before, obviously missing the density. But now we also have the option to add variation to the tree layer by dynamically spawning epiphytes like lianas, orchids, or bromeliads, attached to trunks and canopies of other assets.
So there's going to be flowers on trees now.
Yeah, flowers on trees, yep. That's a fancy way to say that. I'll really notice that when I'm flying by my fucking spaceship.
With this and improved density is what will finally allow
It's another
us
one
to
of
make
my like
convincing
many
jungles.
complaints is
And
like
the best part
I
is
get that
we
like
don't
all this
even
stuff
need
makes
a
it
lot of
feel more
different
realistic,
species
but is
to
it
really
worth the
refer to
time
as a
and
canvas
like
of a
the man
biome.
hours and the money to
The idea
like
being that we can
put into
vary
all
what
this
kind
shit?
of
You know what I
forest
mean?
you're
Like,
in by adding
If you're
rotations
making
in
a
the
tool
path that
to
visually stand out the most.
help create planets first, you
Yeah.
wanted the tool to be
To
good
get us
and
started on
feel
our
like
certification,
natural.
we made epiphytes like the Epiprenum and the bromeliad, including a potted version for your hab. Then obviously
it kind
you
of
need
reminds
jungles
me of
for,
the
lianas for
blanket
a
tech.
jungle.
Remember blanket tech? The whole thing
And we
about
also
that.
made the
It kinda,
Grias,
like,
which add
Yeah.
characters
where
to
is
the
the
whole
line?
We don't
you know,
need
like-
this right now.
yeah, where's the line like of what you work on and what
For
you
tall
don't?
trees, we
I
decided
wonder
on
what
a fairly
happened to that, by the
generic
way. They
rubber
didn't,
tree,
like, really-
as its different
Like
growth
think
stages
about
serve as a nice foundation
what was that
for all high
survival game we
jungles.
were playing?
And that's
The
pretty much
forest.
it, what we
You know,
need
you
to
lift
make
up a
a
rock and
pretty
bugs
good
scatter
base
from under
for
it. Like,
jungle.
okay, that's cool, but if
Yeah.
you never put any of that time into that, nobody would notice. It wouldn't make a difference to anybody, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a game
Now,
developer,
for
so I
third and
don't
last
obviously
use case,
don't
let's
listen to
pretend
me
the
at all.
data indicates regular rainfall and moderate temperatures. This climate would support a lot of different forests, but we also wanted to use this opportunity to explore extreme scale. And they're just really cool.
Looks crazy realistic how many trees they got in one spot, you know.
That's been my complaint about Microtech for a long time, is that the trees are just so spread out.
Yeah. Yeah, like anybody's gonna do that, but us.
Alright, yes. Listen, I'm gonna be doing that with the Battle of Endor theme going on as I try to fucking shoot down heavily from behind. It's Empire Striker Front of the Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we can also play the theme with Dune now.
Yeah. Dances with Owls. Yes, this is Star Citizen CitizenCon. They're showing all the new tech they're working on and stuff over the last year and showing what's to come, stuff like that.
Now, for this one, we first looked at the different redwood biomes on Earth and tried to analyze what the most defining species of
This
them
is
are.
day one of
With this
CitizenCon,
understanding, we
Dances
then
with
decided on the
Owls,
following
and then
plans
they're just
to allow
going through a
for
bunch of the
fairly
development that they're
universal
working on.
redwood
We're going to
forest.
scrub
It will
through
allow
some.
us- They will easily support
This
variation
is a
across
9-hour
continents and
video,
planets.
so we're not going to watch the whole thing, obviously. But I do
A
want to see
fairly common
some of
family
this.
species for the ground levels of all redwoods are
Okay.
ferns. In our
Okay.
case,
Base building, I saw.
we also made
Yeah,
a
I
hundred
kinda-
base building is
to provide
day
some
two.
visual density for
Day
the sub
two?
layer.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I'm going to
that's
skip some of
so
this because
next-
I get the
We make
plants. I get it.
as
They're
they
working
can
on
be found in New
plants.
Zealand's redwood
Press
forests.
arrow key a few
The
times.
most important one, though, obviously sequoias.
Right arrow
Barely
key.
racing. All forces
I'm
from
just
all
going to skip ahead
sources.
Yeah.
to like,
Wind, characters and creatures,
Foliage
ships,
interaction. You
explosions,
want
and
to watch
whatever
this,
else.
Cuddly?
And have the vegetation behave accordingly. Now, as part
We
of
move
our
through grass, it
improvements,
moves.
we will be
Yeah,
implementing
like I
a
said, they've had
view-based
this in video games for a
Just
long time.
skip
fit
a
for
few
our
arrows.
scale. For
There's
now,
Ian
we set
coming
up
on
the
stage
ferns with our
showing
existing
cool
CPU-based one to better visualize what it will feel like to walk amongst those giants.
You see
Also,
someone
with the
laying
biomes
on the
on our
ground,
planets
rolling
now being
around,
defined,
it's automatically
when an
it's
individual
cuddly,
object
you
wants to
wanna see this?
appear, you can
Yeah.
expect a lot more happy exits.
Let's skip ahead till we get to some more interesting stuff up here.
This coming, the next dude.
Building
So,
locations.
now that we've made our toolkit and we've defined all this new stuff, let's start building thousands of locations. Yes, I said thousands.
You didn't hear the
So,
explanation, but
to
he's
avoid the
basically
same
making
issue of
a
working on
Yeah, give us a synopsis.
procedural tech that uses AI to realistically populate planets, because planets are right now empty and we don't have anything to explore. So now he's showing how it works.
Yeah. Okay.
That was like one of the reasons I started
directly in the
playing. 'Cause,
planet.
like,
I'd like to
it
introduce.
says, "Oh, you could explore everything," you know. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that sounds fun.
And Ian being in charge of the exploration is gonna be fucking great.
Wasn't it? I believe it was just like last week we were talking about how cool it would be to have like a bunch of locations that you were far close enough that you could drive between them. Like
Yeah.
get in a rover
That's
and drive
exactly
to the
what
next
he's
city.
doing.
Yeah. We were literally just talking about this.
Yeah.
Used to Starchitect.
Like I said, there's so much to go through though. Like, is this important enough to put our time into right now? Like, I get it.
I mean, we could like
What Starchitect
we could
allows
fast forward a
us
bit
to
and
do
then
is
watch
directly
like,
on a
that right there.
planetary scale scatter
Yeah,
all these
like
new
shit like
libraries
this
and
is looking
modules
like
and
more like
assets
something
and no
we should
longer work
watch.
directly on the planet. And it uses the same logical rule set as our.
So in this scenario,
This is
we
only
start
day one
look at
too.
how
Like I figure we'll
perception
go through
is
day
impacted by
one
the
quicker,
day
and
and
then
night
day two
cycle.
we'll probably watch more.
On the planetary surface, as we've seen in the
And
Outpost,
this is the day that
natural
night
and artificial
cycles
lights
and
are the two elements that will
weather,
impact
sand
vision.
stuff.
And
Weather?
knowing
Okay.
that, you
If
can
it's
use
weather, I
this
think
to
we feel like
leverage
that.
your
Well,
gameplay
well,
style
this is not
to
weather yet,
exploit
I think.
basically all the environment.
But it has
So
something to do
what
with
is
it.
perception?
Yeah.
On NPC level is
Yeah,
the
because they
combination
are
of
not
data
so
that we
first.
collect out of the senses. And vision is one of the senses and just tries to, in a way, simulates the human side ability. So designers can already tweak
Back a
the
bit,
perception
back a
in
bit,
different ways.
back a bit.
And one way is defining how quickly
There.
NPCs can understand
Loud
what they're
improvement.
seeing. And the light condition
Are they
Is the
gonna
weather
make
guy?
them less
So,
fraggy or whatever?
Sound isn't as fast as light, so it takes
No,
me a
this
bit
is
to
the sound
catch
guy.
up.
This is cool also.
Jared wrote that joke for me, so you can blame him. Says it right here, blame him. So now we have a huge amount of visual and interactable content. Locations, biomes, populations, planets, and systems. And now they're all beautifully lit too, thanks Ben. But how do we paint this world with sounds?
See, this is what I always liked
It's
the
a
most was
challenge.
the
It's a
audio stuff.
challenge
Like
of
from last year,
scale.
that was the one
We
thing
need
I was
to
really
support
bummed that we haven't
multiple
seen
star
yet was the
systems,
audio.
and it's a challenge of quality. We want the highest
That's kinda
quality
cool.
possible. We also don't want implementation to hinder
It's a mix
creativity,
system.
and we want a seamless.
Next. Delamar, there we go, dude. This is the one we lost.
Yeah.
Oh, it got taken out.
Yeah, we
Levski
had this in
here.
Stanton. Yeah, this is where.
Oh, I
Levski was.
see. I see.
Yeah. It used to be by Crusader. Now it's gone. They took this away to give us Orison, if I remember right.
They just moved it. That's all.
Yeah, they just moved it like 6 years away.
experience. So we're asking a lot.
That was my favorite place in
With
the verse
Star
too.
Audio, we can rapidly implement audio for entity classes, brushes, or audio sweeteners, all of which can be reused and reflected immediately across the game, including all of those
Star
emergent
Audio.
locations
Chat,
we
if
talked
I'm
about
skipping
earlier.
anything you
So
guys
again,
wanna
this
see,
is
just let me
Genesis
know.
data driving what happens in game.
We have a lot to go through, so
And we
I'm
can do
not
all
going to
this
like
without breaking flow.
watch all this
So
shit.
here's a fairly dry video. It gets more exciting later, I promise. Showing you our rapid workflow. So over on the
He is
left,
fucking
had to think about
out of
that.
breath.
We have the Wise editor.
I
that's
played
where all
drums
our
for 6
sounds live.
hours
In the
today. I
middle,
didn't
we
even
have
sound
Star
like that.
Audio editor, and on your right we have an entity that needs some insect sounds on it. So we can very quickly drag.
by the way, guys,
from
we are live
Wise
on
to
Twitch,
Star
too, if
Audio.
anybody wants
We
to-
can mark
prefers to
up
watch over
very
there.
quickly a bit of logic, and we can re-trigger this entity's spawn sound so that it immediately makes a sound. I assure you there is a group of insects.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you. You're too kind. If you like that one, you'll like the ones that come
Hold
later.
on, sorry. There's our Twitch.
But there's a little something missing. So to add some realism, sounds respond to how they move, how you move in the world, and how they move relative to you. So we need to change the frequency as
Doppler
the
effect.
velocity relative to the listener changes. This is known as the Doppler effect. In simple terms, the pitch dropping as something whizzes
That's
by.
the Doppler effect.
Or, in even simpler terms,
He just-
now, sound designers traditionally needed to implement their own Doppler sounds.
I think it sounds better if you go fucking.
But given how fast we can travel through
I'd,
these
fast
rich,
as fuck
dense
after that.
locations, and the sheer number of them, we can't afford to be doing that any longer. So we've created a systemic Doppler solution. And I'm going to show you that now, the only way I know how, by putting a big Benny noodle machine on top of a mountain.
Thanks, Malik.
So you can hear the pitch and tempo changing as we move relative to the Benny noodle machine, and this is all fully systemic, no special treatment.
Kinda
For this
sounds
Just a random machine up in the hill, up in the mountain. So I wonder how this is gonna affect like the guns and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
He's gonna show the guns
And
next.
I expect the noodle bar to be very busy after that
Yeah,
commercial.
basically, yeah. If it's traveling away from you, it's deeper. If it's coming towards
So
you, it's sharper.
how does it work? Well, the listener is surrounded by variable time delay buffering, not the horrible kind of buffering you get on the internet. This is a really nice kind that helps the game sound good. Each buffer
All
represents
super
a
interesting.
section of the sphere around the
See what this guy.
New planet itself to life. So, first
Well,
up,
this is
let's
cool.
start talking clouds.
What's that, Cuddly?
You skip the cool parts of the sound.
So
but you-
clouds have got an atmosphere, have got to be one of my favorite visual features
Do you
of
want-
the game.
yeah, there you go.
They're
Weapon
truly
fire.
awesome,
Go to
but they're
weapon
also
fire.
completely static. Nothing has changed with them. So what we want to bring with Genesis is the evolution of...
So let's bring in a sniper and, unfortunately for the sensitive of heart, a Pico.
I know I'm skipping stuff. It's just
we're gonna hear
13
this
hours is a lot
first
of
from the
video.
perspective of both with no speed of sound effects. Okay, so that's.
Oh, he got me.
If you were at the Pico perspective there, that's
didn't
how you hear it in
squeak.
game right now. Let's
I
hear it
know,
with
yeah.
speed of sound enabled, and this time we're just going to listen from Pico's perspective.
That's dope. I
So
like that.
Pico's down before he even hears the shot. But don't worry.
We'll see
he's
the
not
glint,
dead.
though.
Okay, let's finish him off. Now he's dead.
That's pretty
And
cool.
as the voice of Pip's Power Up, I need to get some proper placement in. So there's one more example for you. Now finally, oh, not finally, we have ship weapons, so listen to the fire rate as the ship approaches the camera here, giving you a bit of a sense of threat. It's not too easy to tell what's going on there, but you get an increase in fire rate. Finally, the really cool stuff, explosions. So we can put a cinematic element, a shockwave element, and a delayed speed of sound effects.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
I
And
like
that's
boom.
way too cool to do just
Yeah.
once, so we're going to do it twice more from further distance. So again, cinematic effect first when you see it. Shockwave. And the explosion itself. This is all
Their hands
completely
must get
driven
tired
by
and
parameters
wrists
in the
after
game,
from
so we
clapping
can
so
do this
much for all these
real.
hours. Clap at everything?
Whenever
Like,
you drop a Moab. One more.
I want to see the shockwave coming, you know?
Yeah, that's something I want to see too.
That's pretty cool.
I thought we were gonna get it right there when they blew up
Yeah.
that first one.
So the speed of sound
Now you can go to
simulation
weather.
gives you a better sense of distance, it improves the sense of speed, and it supports those amazing cinematic
weather here?
moments.
Yeah.
An actual location. Let's take a look at a quick scene to round this up. It's a nice day on the surface, but something's different. The clouds are moving, but they're not just moving, they're forming naturally in changing shape. They dissipate as they glide on the atmosphere based on wind data, stratus and cumulus alike. Now we start seeing the new cloud shading model come into play. We are seeing enhanced occlusion beneath the cover emphasizing the sunbeams.
That looks
how it
fucking dope,
interact with
dude.
the clouds.
Yeah.
And
That
seeing
looks
the
People
light
were
just
saying
shoot
that
through the
this looks
layers.
like fucking RDR2.
Now, as this is closing in, we can start to see the changes in visibility of the area. Light precipitation is starting. Previously, we
The
offered
servers are
static
lagging
cloud
already
shapes,
just looking
but
at
no
it.
longer. We didn't
Yeah.
manually place a volume here. Its presence has been informed by Genesis data.
Even this is
Oh, and
dope,
it's
just
not
with the
just
cloud cover. That's
volume.
pretty dope looking.
Yeah.
It's a weather front.
Oh, nice. Added thing.
Now we're trying
Yeah,
to see
the
the
small
wind picking
gameplay
up.
clip.
Terrain and rocks are getting wet. Vegetation, grass, and the overall environment are responding to the weather.
So,
The
like what I was saying
system
about
is-
like little details, I always talk about DayZ, I know. But in DayZ, when it starts raining, so you know how, I don't know how many of you play DayZ or anybody in chat. In DayZ, how much stuff you carry all has weight to it, and that affects your stamina, right? But if you're out in the rain, your clothes will literally get heavy with water, and your stamina will go lower and lower depending on how
Yeah.
soaking wet you are, which is really cool. I'm not saying they should do that here, but I thought that was cool detail.
changing the world around us. We can see puddles being formed.
There's
dynamically
already
in
a
the
weight
dirt,
thing, right?
properly responding to light,
In Star Citizen, a little
reflections,
bit,
and
yeah.
rain droplets, making it getting really ominous.
Like, it's hard
and
to run with an
arousing here.
Animus
I can
missile
feel
launcher,
the
pretty much.
danger. I think
Exactly,
we
yeah.
should
That's the
let
weight
this
thing.
play out in the game.
This is fucking cool. That fucking little gameplay that they show here.
This is in engine.
Yeah.
That's dope.
We need those windshield wipers.
Right.
Fucking Alt X, you asshole.
Like that.
This isn't realistic. There isn't a number 5 in the bottom left.
I'm getting out of this suit now. Powering up, flying out. We'll need to switch to IFR. See you on the other side.
Walk. See, this is the shit when you watch this. Like, imagine what the game could be if everything worked the way they wanted to, you know? Like, this is where I get cynical. Because I think about how many little things they have in the game that break so many other little things. Like,
He wiped it.
yeah. Oh, wait, is he stealing a ship? He's a griefer. He's griefing.
He didn't crash a hornet or a arrow into prey. So.
Yeah. There's gonna be a joke behind this door. Oh no. I thought there was
It's
gonna
just
be.
ugly.
I thought there was gonna be a Pico sitting in the seat or something. Is he gonna fly through the lightning?
Yep.
That's what I want to see. Go in third person, asshole. It's pretty cool.
It's getting very sparky up here. Recommend deviation.
Yet another thing to keep us from being able to see anything.
Oh shit. That was cool. It could take out a whole SLN with one strike. That's awesome. Yeah,
There's a
right.
third person.
Yeah, the spam tab, spam tab. Alright, that's pretty dope. But this, like I said, this is where I get cynical though. Like, I think of performance right now and just bugs and glitches and dudes standing on tables and like, how is this all gonna work? Like, I'm not.
Most of that is server issue.
Well, like, I've been having issues where I lag like crazy just going to fucking Grimhex for some fucking reason, so.
That's what we call the Falco maneuver to get out of there.
Alright,
Ali,
bunch of
please
stuff we don't
break
need
this
to
down for
watch,
us. What
bunch of
did you
stuff we don't
see?
need to watch with this.
Yeah, so that was.
And so, in order to do this, we've enlisted some help. First
Oh,
of all,
this
for
is
this
the
presentation, all the
guide
screenshots
system.
are made.
The guide system. Do you know
Yeah.
where the EE Studios part is?
I think it was in the org stuff.
Dude's heads. Chat, like I said, if I'm skipping anything you got us to see, watch, let us know.
That was the org stuff. The fucking.
All this shit? Nah, I don't know if I'm interested. Alright, we'll watch it.
Tags.
Name tag.
Whoa, tags!
Clan tag. Org tag.
So the org leader will be able to set a tag for the org, and this gets appended to the name while you're representing. So you can easily see who is in which org at a glance. So we'll have it in chats, in world.
People
and
do that
if you're
now
not
already,
interested in this stuff,
on their
well,
own.
you have the option to turn it
Yeah.
off as well. How novel! We'll be able to identify people around us. Wow. JJ, I'm curious. You mentioned guilds before, and I'm guessing they fit into this somehow.
Yes, so you may have spotted a few references on the UI to alignment earlier, but what is it? So, it's your opportunity to form a relationship between org and in-game guild. Now, just as you in personal rep with the guilds, you can with your org now as well. So your org leaders pick which one you want to align with, and while representing, org members doing specific action, like contracts with them, will increase the org's alignment with the guild. But which guild should you pick? So all of our guilds are going to have a specific theme and associated gameplay. And you can basically pick the one that matches your theme or benefits your org the most. So a combat-focused org, like the Fellowship, might want to align with themselves with the Mercenary Guild. Or one that enjoys making cash through trading and hauling.
Do we
they
have
probably
to?
want to align with the Interstellar Transport Guild.
No, we get bonuses
Yeah.
and more
So
payouts
how
and stuff
do
like
these
that.
benefits
We
work? Well,
align
as
with the
your
guild
alignment
and
with
have
a
a good
guild,
standing with them.
It raises, as it raises, you both unlock new benefits from that guild, as well as improve your previously
And some
unlocked
other
benefits.
stuff, like
so, for example,
blueprints that
if I
which are
align my
talked about.
org with the Academy of
They
Science
do.
Guild, we might get research speed improvements. As
And,
my
yeah,
org
research
performs
speed
contracts for
improvements.
this guild, alignment raises, and that speed benefit gets better. And needless to say, other guilds will have other types of benefits. Finally, on guild alignment, you are not locked in forever. You can switch at any time. However, that will put your alignment back at 0, so it's a big choice.
So every member gets full benefits.
Well, not necessarily. We're also introducing loyalty. So it's similar to the org's alignment with a guild, but this represents your relationship to the org you're in. Anything you do that benefits...
So this is what they mean when they say less sandbox, more MMO. This is the shit they're talking about.
the org,
Yeah,
while
it
you
is
are representing it,
not
will gain
really
you
less
loyalty
sandbox.
with
It's
them.
still sandbox,
So
but
for
more
example,
MMO.
you could be
But you can't just go around and do anything you want because that'll affect things, you know?
Yeah, you
doing
can still
missions for
go
the
around and
org-aligned
do
guild,
anything.
or you could be depositing
There's just
money and
consequences.
materials into org storage.
Consequences to my own actions.
No. Not only is there consequences to me, everybody that's in my org will have consequences, is what they're saying. Yeah.
I
So
know.
so if I fuck up so say we have like a 10% extra payout with some group, and I can totally fuck that up by fucking off and doing whatever I want, I can fucking fuck it up for everybody, which means, yeah, that's kind of lame.
Ooh.
That's right. We're gonna need to get something that you can't fuck up that much.
I say we have to see it in
Yeah.
in action, you know.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
I
we
know
wanted to
that.
encourage
But
long-term
I always
membership
take the
because
cynical
we don't think you should
perspective.
just be able to
yeah.
join a well-established org and then just get everything instantly for no effort. So to put it simply, having low loyalty limits what you gain from the org's alignment benefits, and having high loyalty gives you full access. We also wanted org leadership to be able to view members' current loyalty and use it as a tool to reward appropriately with things like ranks and permissions. And then loyalty resets to 0 when you leave an org, so there's some incentive for sticking around.
Wait, does that mean I lose my loyalty if I change my representation away?
No, so not representing puts your contributions or ongoing benefits on hold. So when you start representing again, you essentially just pick up where you left off.
But what if I leave the
You
org?
could temporarily leave them.
It's not very loyal, so it
Back
resets.
and be like, okay, I'm good.
Okay, so as an org owner, can I turn my representation off and just go nuts?
I mean, I would assume so.
You know, it's
But
not very
like I said,
loyal
we
in
gotta
general.
see it in action.
My shit's just going to be pretty much off
They
all the
tend to be
time.
a pain
Sorry.
to manage, though. With the flow of joiners and leavers, do we have any tools to help managers like me?
Well, let's have a look at the Members tab. So this is less complex than the previous tabs, but it's equally important. This is where you see the community of your org and your place in it. So in here, you'll be able to manage members, you can leave notes, and see the ranks of members. And as we did with the friends list and the party list, we're adding rich presence in here as well. This is the rank panel. It gives you a clear indication where you sit within the community. And you'll see permissions on here, but that's something that we'll delve more into at a later date. For now, I'll just say that the leader might be able to determine permissions for each rank, and well, it could be things like
My next
inviting new
question is, how many
members
orgs
or
in-game can you be a
accessing
part
org
of at one time?
storage.
Stop teasing us with org
6.
storage. God.
6?
Yeah, there's 6
So,
like
all right,
circles
so
on
orgs
the left.
form and friendship and animosity.
Oh, okay. So each one of these is a different
Maybe
org,
my
I guess?
Buccaneers and the
Yeah.
Fellowship of JJ don't really see eye to eye
Rex.
most of the time. Would be great for this to
That's a
translate
weird
in
org
game,
symbol, the plus
wouldn't
sign.
it?
Ba-doop-psh.
It would, wouldn't it?
This is gonna be nice
So yeah,
because
it's a good job we got it
you
covered,
can do
which
the
is
alliance
with our
stuff,
new
but
alliances and
also
rivalry
like the
system.
basically rivalry, which is
you can
kill
have the
list. We can
ability
put
to
creeper
create
net on the kill
alliances
list.
and go to
Yeah.
war.
So they show up
And
red
there are many
on
reasons
us
to make
for us
friends. You might
every
wanna have
time.
So
trading
we can just kill
partners, or
them
you might wanna
whenever.
group
Not
up for
like we
protection
wouldn't
if you're playing
anyway.
somewhere like Pyro.
Yeah.
And at
Well,
the
we'll
same
just know
time,
whoever they
there
are
may be
based
many
on their
reasons why
affiliation.
You won't get along.
Yeah.
Maybe an
AOS.
org keeps attacking or stealing from you. Alliance is forming an agreement between two org leaders, and it has to be mutual. You can't force someone to be friends.
Unlike real life.
Requests are sent from the screen if you have permission, and you can respond here as well.
Hey, my friend.
And as a bonus, allied orgs can have additional lines of communication, like alliance chat, or being able to share alliance events on the calendar, just to name a few.
So, rivalry, that isn't a mutual agreement. If someone decides you're their rival, well, tough luck. However, you could reach a mutual agreement to make a truce, putting you back at neutral.
And then they show
And there's
just
no real
the
benefit to
markers
having
and how
rivals,
the colors, how
so
they
we want
work.
to make them
Basically,
easy
orc
to
is green.
identify.
No, party is green,
And-
orc is blue, alliances are light blue,
Hmm.
rivalries are light
Don't
red,
forget the
and
did
dark
they
red is
already
just hostile.
did they already explain the tabs? Like, hey, you know, if you're a part of this one, you have a little tag next to your name, like symbolizes that you're
Yeah.
part of that org.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Well, people already do that, though, you know? Like, just put it in your name, basically.
But I think they do that with their names instead of like having it
Yeah.
on, just like as on the side where you can change it anytime, you know?
So
Instead
if
of
I'm
going
flying around in
online
game and it says for science, I could click this and it could say, like, HubNet next to my
Yeah.
name or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
And rivalries tie directly into hostility indicators. So just like now, you'll be able to see neutral contacts in white and party members show up in blue, whereas your org wingman will come in a dark green and your allied orgs in a paler green. Your rivals will show up in red.
Or people in your kill list.
The kill list. People on your kill
They-
list.
they-
that
they-
were
they're gonna have
before
colorblind
will
options,
also
I
show
think.
up in red.
I'm sure, yeah.
or
What
They're all
color's
will-
green?
They're all
Yeah,
will
you not
kill us
see red?
anyway.
Yeah,
Dub? I forgot I turned you down, Dub. I'm sorry. There you are.
Nah, you're good.
Well, you had, like, you were hot mic, and so I turned it down before. I didn't realize you were
Oh,
talking.
oh, hell.
Yeah. I was thinking about you actually. I'm like, Dub is colorblind. Oh wait, he's talking.
Yeah.
Not, well, they're not legal to attack. That's the go straight to jail card if you kill them here. So we'll be adding accessibility options for this stuff as well to make sure that everybody can benefit from these updates.
Accessibility meeting colorblind.
So that's everything for Ogs today, but it's
Jeffrey,
just the tip of the social
Jeffrey,
iceberg.
thank you for the follow.
And we didn't
How's it
have
going?
time to show you everything, but there's lots more to show in the future.
Joffrey.
And we're super excited
What's up,
to
Joffrey?
finally get to deliver it.
Big lunch break and
Now what are we
Yeah,
doing?
intermission is here. All right, we
We're
come
upgrading
back.
Star Citizen
right
social tools to MMO size.
here.
Referred to
Yeah,
as the
that's
UEE
real fast.
Barbary. This is our Bengal
Looking
hangar
at
here.
the
Let's go ahead
stuff.
and take a
I
look
like
around.
that jacket though.
Do a spin around.
Yeah, that's
It's for sale on the website right now.
Show the
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
There
sickness.
we go.
I don't
Look
like
at
it
all
that
those
much.
people. Say hi,
How much is it? Like
everybody.
$60 or some shit? Maybe 120.
You're on
One
YouTube.
115 for me.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
My understanding is that if you're
Good.
on YouTube,
Is this the
you're
worm? Is what we want to watch?
automatically
Yeah,
make you
yeah,
a better
yeah.
person. All right.
All right, where's it start?
So we're
Probably
going
right
to take
here.
another walk in case you guys
right
missed the
here.
beginning of the show. We're going to
Right here.
explore.
Right there.
What
Like
could
I
the
said,
next
chat,
part of
if
the
there's
presentation
anything
be
you want us to
about?
watch,
Well,
just let me
let's
know
get
in
stuck
chat.
in. Star Citizen at
I
its
saw something
heart
about
is
this on
about
Twitter.
community. From our relationship with players to the
Oh
big
yeah,
dynamic
Cruise
events that
assembled. He
citizens
shows
work
like
together to
the
complete.
armor systems.
We love group content and missions that allow players to work together to achieve a goal.
Oh yeah, where's all that shit?
But for our group specifically,
Right there.
you do have to wonder.
He's showing it.
Well,
Oh,
now our
no,
crew is
he
assembled,
showed it
and
already.
in a universe as big as
Right
Star
here.
Citizen, who knows what trouble they
Yeah.
could run into?
That's the
So,
problem.
Those
though,
are
I
let's find out.
probably.
I can't.
The
We
added
can't
level
watch
of
it all,
roleplay
but
and
we'll
immersion.
try to.
Specializations can provide a sense of ownership of your playstyle. At its core, SC
Basically,
is driven by
armors
choice,
will have
with
benefits and
specializations offering a deeper layer of
negative
player
effects.
options. And that's the
Yeah.
option to excel,
Makes
And you
sense.
can wear
to fool around,
clothes
to
with like
min-max,
armor,
or
mixed
give
clothes
yourself
with
a
armor
unique
and
Oh,
wear
really?
like yeah, you can wear like clothes on
Specialization allows us as
undersuits and
developers to
stuff.
make gameplay
Emily,
experiences
jeez.
that are deeper and
And
more
full,
complex.
if you have
So
full
whether
set
you're a
of something
salvager, a
on,
bounty
they will
hunter,
give
or a
you like
medic,
benefit, like
there
the
will be
sniper
specialized
stuff
suits that will help
gives you like a
outperform your peers.
stuff that you don't show
So
up
at this
in
point,
like
you may be
the
asking yourself, okay,
FPS
how do I
camera thing
specialize?
at all.
Yeah.
It starts by determining your playstyle. What do you want to do today? Are you going to be a trader, a smuggler, an assassin?
I want to shoot
Is there a
people.
void in your
Yeah.
organization that needs filling? This is a
I wanna get
decision you
bitches
get
and
to
money.
make and remake every single
Boats
time
and
you log
hose.
in.
Boats and hose.
That's oh yeah.
Likely,
There we
perhaps
go.
several times in a single play session. Once you know what you want to do, it's time to start hunting for the right gear.
I haven't seen anybody wear that
Specialized
suit in a
items
long
are not
fucking time.
intended to be found in any old store. You're gonna have to do the
Ugliest
legwork.
set I've ever seen in my
You'll
life.
have to align with some of those guilds and factions that JJ and Benoit just talked about in the previous presentation. You'll have to explore the galaxy, find hidden stashes, and rare opportunities for better gear. Specialized items are meant for those who are willing
That's
to put in
the-
the work
that's the
to
bad
exceed
guy.
at your role.
Ava Huxley's
And once you've done all that, it's about selecting the right combination of armor and clothing. Yes, I said it. Mixing clothing and armor is built into the very fabric of this new system. Can I get a hell yeah? All right.
Can I get it?
All right. I know you guys have wanted this for a long time, so yeah, great. And
I
to
was
tell you
hoping
even
someone
more
would do
about this
the
new system
oh
that
hell
we
yeah.
call Starware,
Oh, yeah?
please welcome to the stage
That's
lead
funny.
character technical artist Armando Lira. Oh shit, bro.
Thank you so much, Nick. Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here presenting for the first time. How cool are specializations? We are sure you'll enjoy finding the best combinations for your playstyle. And for that, we had to create a system that gave you all the freedom that you deserve. It's something that I am sure you've all been waiting for so long. Starware. So if you're
Starware. Everything is star.
Yeah, exactly.
in between clothing or armor,
Star poop.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta take a star
Starware.
shit. I'll be
You'll
right
be able
back.
to mix and match. Starware is
I'm gonna smoke some star weed.
As specializations provide you with a multitude of stats to combine,
Oh, we
you'll
laughed
also
now, I
be
just
able
missed
to
it.
choose the visual style that you
Just
want.
how they put
Everything
star
has a
and everything.
star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beware. With added options also comes the responsibility of choosing the right combination for the right situation. Let's look at some of the possibilities that Star Wars will be able to provide you.
Yeah, this is kind of weird. You know, like the Gimp mask, right?
What armor is that? The arms there.
Damn it, I can't see shit.
Some of the new stuff.
I have to leave the call and I'll be right back. It's
Okay.
looks like my stream stopped.
Okay. Should we all clap every time? Woo!
As you all saw, the possibilities are huge. Like, have you ever wanted to put on a jacket on top of an undersuit?
A what?
Yeah.
Jacket.
Oh.
How about an armor on top of a sleeveless shirt? Or even without no shirt at all?
I just want to get the
Like,
fuck out and start
backpacks
flying,
of-
dude. Let's
of
go.
Clothing? Yeah. So Star Wars allows more.
I wanna play
customization
dress up.
than
Not
ever.
everyone plays
But
the
be
game to
careful,
fly,
certain
Bonds. I
gameplay
know. I
implications
know.
will still be true.
I don't want to play dress up.
You
I just
won't
want
be
to go.
able
Let's
to
go.
to into the vacuum of space
Get this stupid
without
hanger
a
shit and clothes out of my
space-worthy
way. Let's go.
undersuit and helmet. And in certain planets, you'll need a breathable mask or helmet to survive. I hope you guys are excited about this as much as we are. And we've heard what you all want.
I'm
And
not.
we're making a system to bring it all to you.
Yeah, next there comes all the specialized gear, which is like the tracker stuff, sniper stuff, heavy armor kind of.
But
Did I miss
that is
the
enough
like
about
org
Star
armor
Wars for
stuff and all
now.
that?
Let's go back with Nick and learn more about how Star Wars
The
specialization
orc armor is
will
basically
improve
just
your
you
gameplay.
have a logo on the armor.
Well done, bro.
I could have came up with that one. Payday.
All right. Thank you, Armando. Some nice dancing as well, by the way. So as you can see, the Star Wars system is about adding function to fashion. We are still Star Citizen, one of the best looking video games out there, but we're always going to make sure that you look your best, but now with added purpose. So to recap, we're going to go
I like
through
that helmet.
adding intent and purpose to all our clothing and armor sets. As designers, we really want the visuals to match the stats that our great character art team have made. So for example, if a pair of pants look particularly armored, chances are they'll have modest damage mitigation to match. Many armors will be specialized for distinct
If anybody
use
was
cases.
watching on Twitch or
Currently,
is
we
this
realize
just
right
crashed,
now
we'll be
bigger
back
is
up in a
generally
second.
better when it comes to FPS armor, and we know that shouldn't always necessarily be the case. There will be some armors that won't have EVA thrusters built into the suit, so you lose EVA capability. Some armors won't even be space-worthy. Specializations means getting better at certain things at the cost of attributes and others. This is about compelling you, the player, to make tactical decisions for every
I
situation
can
you
see
may
a lot
find
of
yourself
that
in.
being irrelevant
So now let's look at
Yeah.
some practical use cases for
unless
the Star Wars
people
system.
role-playing
Whilst all
like
our
something
armors are becoming
serious.
specialized.
Yeah,
let's
it's
take a
cool
look
for
at a select
machinima.
few,
Like the guys that make
which I will
machinima will have
announce some of
lots
my
of cool
favorites.
options.
They are
But-
We are gonna
basically
assemble a
now
team
giving
to
also
tackle
like
the Star
reasons to
Citizen's
not
most
always wear the heavy armor.
Yeah. But like for
Or
me, I
you-
want to be able to be on a planet in space. Like I want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you want to be able to go to hot, cold, armor. Like you want to do everything. I don't know. That's just me. But
Anticipated adversaries.
I'm sure
that
like
you'll
some
get to
people,
meet
if you're going to
later
spend
on.
if they
Let's
set it
meet
up
our
so that you're
first
going to spend a lot
specialization.
of time planet side at one specific area, then yeah, I guess that makes more sense. You know, prepping for that area. You know. The leader.
All right. All right, so we have our leader. Let's get into it. So the player's choice of clothing. will be
We're going
crucial
to
in a way it hasn't
JC.
been
We're going to be
before.
watching day 2
With
here in a
magnetic
second.
plates
We're just
built
scrubbing
into
through
many
day 1
clothing
real quick.
items,
We'll be
players
on the
can now
day 2 here in a
holster
moment.
both primary and secondary weapons. However, in the near future, there
It was
will be
13 hours of
locations in
footage,
SC
so we're
where
not,
armored
obviously
weapons
not going
are
to watch the whole
strictly
thing. We'll put a
prohibited.
couple hours in
Clothing
there. We're
allows
trying
the player the opportunity
check
to
out the most
access these
important stuff,
restricted
give our
areas
comments and all
without
that.
needing to change. And Some clothing will even allow the player to conceal smaller
My
weapons from
comment
security
here is,
should the need
I'm
arise.
jealous of that mustache.
Another new addition we're going to be introducing is flight penalties based on the
Yo,
mass
gooders.
and size of your armor and
Here we
clothing.
go.
Yeah, I'm good now.
You'll still be able to
Twitch
fly
is back
in
up if
medium and
anybody
heavy
was
armor,
watching over
but
there.
you're restricting the precision
The link
of your
is right
control.
there in chat.
You
If
hearing
you're
the
enclosed
spawns?
like our leader is here, or
Nope,
a flight
I'm
suit or light
blabbering.
armor, you'll be able to fly unrestricted. Now, if we look at an overview,
Did I
we've
miss something?
cherry-picked 6 generalized stats to give you like a high.
So
is here,
basically,
but you're
Hold on, I'm
restricted
going back.
size and allow the player to conceal smaller weapons from security should the need arise.
Some areas
Another new
won't
addition,
allow
we're
you
going to be
to wear
introducing is
armor,
flight penalties
like some
based on the mass and size of your armor and
outposts and
clothing.
stuff.
You'll still be able to
So you
fly
need to
in medium
wear
and heavy
like
armor,
clothes,
but
and
you're
some clothes
restricting
let
the
you conceal
precision of
stuff.
your control. If you're enclosed like our leader is here, or a flight suit or light armor, you'll be able to fly unrestricted. Now,
I feel like wearing the trench coat might fucking. You might be able to use the whole
like a
fucking.
high-level understanding of
conceal
how
the
I
whole
think I was talking about
clothing
Bongs is
is specialized. This is by no means
they're making it so if you're wearing stuff like heavy armor,
it's just a little.
you're not going to be able to fly
So
as
here you
well
can
as
see
if you were
the
wearing a
leader
flight
has low
suit,
protection
light armor,
compared to a full
because
suit
you're
of
going to be
armor
encumbered by
and
it.
no EVA capability for obvious reasons, but has great movement, low emissions, allowing them to blend into bustling cities and stations. The leader really excels at freedom of movement here. Let's meet.
Real quick before we continue, too. Huge grain of salt with everything they say. So, just because they're saying something is going to be a certain way, chat, doesn't mean it is ever going to be that way. Just for the record. All right. This is things that are probably going to happen. Maybe.
Meet our next members.
That's definitely not me.
They should show an Aurora come in and blow that Valk up in 2 seconds. So it's just like real gameplay.
Right. Or show a couple people on foot with a real gun.
Yeah. One volley and it's dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we have our pilot.
Oh
If
man, we
you
got a
remember,
cool guy
back in
here.
323,
Leather jacket.
we introduced our first specialized helmet visor, the combat visor. This introduced the dynamic crosshair and all the magazine information on your HUD. This is our pilot visor, which allows the wearer to link with their ship and cast MFDs directly into their visor. This provides the pilot with all the essential data like ship health and shields, so no longer will the pilot need to break concentration during an intense situation to look down at their MFDs. Again, like the leader in this situation, there'll be no penalties to flight, plus with added G-force resistance, the wearer will be able to get the most from out of their ship.
So the thing is, though, you
So
should
we
just
look
be
at the
able to
pilot stats, they
store
have fantastic
your,
mobility,
what's it called?
like I
Your
mentioned,
armor
great
as you're
G-force
getting on a ship,
resistance
you know what I mean?
When combat takes them to the limit
Yeah,
of
I think
endurance.
that's what they want to do with
And
the
finally,
suit lockers.
this suit comes
Yeah.
with the best
That-
EVA
that
capability in its
seems like
class
that's what they're
for when
gonna do.
remaining in your ship is no longer an option. Here's another variant in our flight suit class, the racing flight suit. This is what
Yeah, I
our
don't mind
drivers
that,
will
having
be
to store
wearing.
all my stuff and
This
then get
suit,
out and put it
unlike
back
the
on or
pilot
whatever,
flight
that's
suit,
fine.
has features
Yeah.
which are more streamlined, which allows it to have truly unmatched G-force resistance for the hardest corners on the most challenging of
Where one
racetracks.
sits in the ship and one
It
outside.
also offers great oxygen capacity and thermal protection for those planets with hostile environments. So as you can see, this flight suit excels at G-force resistance, but it
No
loses
protection,
its
though.
protection and has much weaker EVA
I'm getting
capability.
very bored of this. I think I'm going to skip
Let's
ahead.
meet our next team members.
All right. Worm
We
time.
got the worm time.
You'll like this one a lot better, I guess.
Well, now our crew is assembled,
Oh.
and in a universe as big as Star Citizen, who knows what trouble they could run into. So let's find out what they're going to
What
face.
trouble? Like talking?
Now, they're heading to the planet Monarchs, which is in the
We're
Pyro
dickheads,
system.
dude.
So without
I'm a
further ado,
dickhead.
let's find out what they're up to.
Here we go.
Kill the worm.
Worm confirmed.
These people are going to clap their hands right
Star
off.
worm.
Star Worm.
Yeah, there you go, Star Worm.
Right, so name who you are in this group.
Real quick, too, another thing I was just thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
They still don't have the citizen part of the game. The citizen part is still missing. I know they're going to get into base building and all that stuff, but, like, everything is combat. even like cargo hauling and shit like that. It's all about how dangerous it is, and you need to have guns and like ships to protect you. Like everything about the game is combat. It should be called Star Soldier, right? That's what I would think.
I'd say wait. All I will say is wait till day 2.
Yeah. Well, like when I first like heard about this game, I was thinking of like a life simulator type game that is in space, which is really not like what it is, which is good because that'd be fucking.
Yeah, I was thinking it was gonna be like Rush kind of.
Yeah.
You could build your base.
You can in 12 to 18 months.
Oh, they're doing a worm call with the cyclone.
Someone's gonna make a Doom.
Up 30K. I just 30K watching this.
I like that helmet.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's the tracker helmet. It gives you better tracking for targets on the ground. Because you'll be able to scan on the ground.
Yo, I should look like a dick.
Like someone said when we were watching this, everything reminds me of when they shot the mouse.
Oh my gosh.
Well, so using all your favorite weapons. They had railguns, they had the AO3.
Yeah.
There it goes.
He missed. He didn't even fully charge
He
it.
fucking missed.
He didn't even fully charge it.
Yeah.
This was actual devs playing the game, like in the patch 2 weeks ago.
They should have invited our crew for just
That's-
a couple hours of gameplay.
Right, yeah, we
would
would've
have given
showed
them the right thing.
The other question I have here is, right, you were saying that they played this in-engine on the Evocati build, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Wouldn't
2 weeks old build.
Wouldn't this affect performance of the Evocati build and kind of like not give you accurate results of what you're going for? I would imagine, even if this is somewhere you can't go to.
I don't know if it's in live, like actual online. It's probably played like on
This is
local
the
network.
same build as
They
the
just
Evocati.
they use
it's a
that
closed-
build. Okay,
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to know what happens if you're like near that. Like, do you get sunk in with it or die? I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
you go back to menu.
Probably just get ragdolled and fuck out.
Yeah.
So
Somebody grab my railgun.
Like we always are.
I'm back at Grim. Somebody grab my railgun for me. Now this does look sick.
Corsair.
This does look sick.
Out of the fucking sky.
But we couldn't think of something besides the sandworm. Like, it's like a thing that exists already all over, you know?
So I wonder if they're gonna make this like a raid kind of thing, you know?
So
Instead
yeah,
of like
keep
being a
watching.
random encounter, or is it a random encounter? You know?
They've answered someone in chat like saying that when someone asked if they could just bomb it with A2s, and they said you will ruin the loot.
People ruin the loot.
Yeah, you don't get loot if you bomb it with A2s.
The worm loot.
Yeah, you need it for the crafting stuff.
You get all those teeth.
And they're
knives.
Extremely valuable if you want to sell the stuff.
Now, to me, this better not be like a mission. Like, I want these things to be in the wild that you go hunt and find.
Oh yeah, yeah, they are in the wild. There's multiple variants.
Okay.
And multiple sizes.
But it's not like a mission you take and go do, or like a done like that kind of thing. I want to
could
run
be
into
like
it
a
randomly.
mission
You know?
for it as well, but you will run into them randomly.
You have ways that you can lure them out. Like if you get, like you saw how they had the ground vehicle, then they had to lure it out with the ground vehicle by disturbing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these live in Pyro.
Oh shit! You got blown the fuck up.
Load the fuck up.
The most unrealistic part about this right now is out of everything that's been destroyed so far, the Valkyrie is still alive.
I know, right? Yeah, fake news. Okay, if this is like in engine and they're all fighting it, just give it. Put on Daymar, let's go. Looks like a big turd. Coiled up turd.
Coiled up.
So this is in Pyro, so that will be in Pyro.
This is coming with.
I want to climb the worm.
Yep.
Okay.
They said that this is in Pyro. Monarch's planet on Pyro, where they are right now.
They have
I'm gonna
crows.
hump it.
Yeah, man. Those come from sand. I definitely see some stunts in the future.
It's a big old tooth.
Anyone reminded of the Mandalorian scene from when they killed the Crate Dragon? Really late for like a 2-year-old.
So those, so the pearls and the teeth and all that is destructible.
Oh,
Yep.
Yes.
that was cathartic. Absolute cinema as far as I'm concerned. The teams at CIG have worked so incredibly hard to get to the point where what we just showed you was no tricks, no hacks, just gameplay of the Valar.
That's what it's called. Okay.
I love you
The
too,
Apex one is
Gonzo.
300 meters long.
I want to give a huge thank you to all the people who put in a lot of work to get to the point where what we just showed you is gameplay. As you can imagine, all of that is work in progress. We have some good polishing to do on it, and we didn't want to hold it off. We just wanted to give you an honest view of where we are. That was from a build last week, so with that said, monster
Yo,
hunting
Bonds, how do you like
coming
the
to Star Citizen.
how do you like the real life MFDs they have for all of their
And
lines?
the best part was starting off this epic series of fights with the infamous Valar, who some of you may remember from 2016. This absolute monster of a creature is 300 meters long and sees your light
I still want the
fighters
Yeti more.
just as puny little ants. You're going to need to assemble your quickest and most nimble pilots to dodge the
They
Valakar's
kinda
ranged
go into
attacks,
that.
as well as your fastest
I
drivers
bet
to
you can
bait
just
out the
circle
Valar
strafe
from
it
the
the whole
surface,
time.
as it's the only way to bring this mighty creature out of the ground.
Isn't that what they
is
were
by
doing?
disturbing the
Yeah.
is the
Kinda.
layer- is by
Well, he said you
disturbing
got to
the
bring your
surface with a
fastest
ground
pilots,
vehicle.
but you could probably just circle
Yeah.
the thing.
How does the
Yeah.
Valar stack
Yeah,
up to our
they
crew?
also said that it
Well-
still needs polishing.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Unfortunately, the Valakar's stats don't really fit on the screen due to being so powerful. But for some context, it's around 150 times harder to kill than an Aegis Avenger Titan. But to be fair, it's most likely to kill you. So how does it do that? Well, the deadly Valar has a variety of ways of killing possible threats. So for a high-level overview of the fight, it regurgitates rock-hard sand that has been compressed inside the Valar and uses it as a projectile to target foes. But if something's a bit too close for comfort in the sky, it uses its ginormous body to swipe ships out the way. Anything on the ground that it sees as a threat will have to contend with its bite or its deadly slam. So,
I want to see the first
bit fun
person
bit of
that's swallowing you.
As the Valar becomes more injured, it will retreat
This
back
is the
to
part
the
where he-
surface, and you'll need to make
This is
sure
part
your ground vehicles
picture
stay
where he
alive
said,
or
"Oh
have
man,
backup
everything
to
reminds
bait
me
out
of
the
her."
creature again, as well as keeping it interested. So, the big question, in a game like ours, how are we going to communicate the health of this creature?
So you can't kill it with
Well,
torpedoes
things
either,
being
right?
physicalized is at the heart of Star
It'll
Citizen.
ruin the it'll be
We
the
know
thing
how
where
much
it's
of
like,
a
oh,
large
it'll
fight
ruin
the
the
Apex Valar
the
is,
loot from
and we need to communicate that in a diegetic way. So you'll see here the Valakar's health from 100% to 1%. You'll see its skin getting more battered and bruised as the fight progresses, to give you an idea of where you are and how close you are. So the nice thing about this, it communicates the Valakar's health without needing any UI or health
All
bars.
these
It
ones
just
look the
purely
same
keeps
to
you
me.
immersed in the
They're one on
experience.
the right.
It gets like darker and darker.
So,
Yeah.
number one question, why do you want to kill the Valar? Well, because it's fun, but I know you sweaty gamers, so it's got loot, also known as harvestables. The Valar has two very valuable harvestables. Firstly are its pearls. You'll need to mine growths on a variety of locations of Valar to reveal these pearls. And once you've destroyed the growth skin, you'll see disgusting squidgy innards. But next is its big apex teeth. These are within its mouth, and you'll need a very strong tractor beam to be able to yank these things out. And these harvestables will not all come out at the same quality. So you'll be able to learn more about that and how harvestables are going to be used tomorrow in crafting your home. So a fun thing here is you'll see the character is standing within the Valakar's mouth as well. So when it dies, it keeps its collision, meaning that you can climb on it, land ships on it, and it's essentially your playground. But this really shows how big it is. But how big is it really? Well, fun bit of information. When we first made the collision for this model, Star Engine actually gave us an error saying, like, no living thing needs to be this big. You've accidentally added an extra 0 onto the size. But to give you an idea of the sheer ridiculous scale of this monster, you'll see here an Idris. Anyone who's done Xenofret knows how big the Idris is. You feel like an ant when you're in the Idris, and this makes the Idris look small. There's also an Aegis Avenger Titan here as well, but if you look even closer, there's actually a Copion in this image. I'll give you a second to try and spot it. There it is. So well done to anyone who spotted it. So it's big. So for some fun numbers, it's 250 Copions long, 47 Aegis Avenger Titans long, and for our American friends, that's about 3.5 football fields. But lucky for our Copion friends, the Valar actually comes in different sizes. So you'll be familiar with the variants we've done before with our quasi-grazers and our Copions. They're in different biomes and they have different aesthetics. But moving on, we want to also introduce different creature sizes. So these sizes will have unique behaviors, animation, audio, and harvestables associated to each size. So for our first size, we have the juvenile. These juveniles will respond to stimulus such as noisy footsteps and loud mining beams. This will cause them to burst out the ground and attack anyone who's disturbing them. And you'll find these in caves near valuable harvestables and minerals.
We don't talk about
So for our next
Starfield.
size, adults. The adult Valakars know not to pick fights and tend to remain to themselves. However, if you exterminate too many juvenile Valakars, this will cause adults to show up, which are 3 times larger and a lot more angry. Creature sizes are great because they allow us to create varied experiences as well as show you how creatures grow and evolve in the environments they live in and grow up in. Beyond that, we have our Apex, which has the most valuable
890 jump missions are
harvestables and the
working.
most deadly attacks.
Nice.
It's also the biggest living thing in the verse, so far. So, in summary, monster hunting is coming.
All right, that's pretty dope.
This is the first in a
Yeah, and
large
they also
series of
said the
Apex
monster
creatures that you
hunting
need to gather your crew
along-
together to take
along
down
with
this
the
mighty
crafting
beast.
is
You
in
need a diverse
12 to
lineup of
18
ships,
months.
ground
Yeah.
vehicles.
So he said that this is the first of the monster hunting being implemented. I
Yeah,
wonder.
there's so few
Yeti.
seconds. Yeah, they're gonna show few clips later. There's when he ends this presentation, there's a matrix of
loadouts and skill sets to take out the Apex.
So keep watching.
concepts of. Yeah.
Everyone at CIG is incredibly excited to get the
I want
Valakar into
Yeti.
your hands, and we hope
Bon-
it shows
Bon-
not only
Bon's
doubling down
boner
creatures,
just went away
but
when
also
you said
committed to bringing
concepts.
you gameplay experiences that only
I have
a game of
concepts
our
all the time.
scale can provide. But that's all for the Valakar. For this
Concepting
Valakar.
so hard right
Let's take a
now.
look at some other fauna. Now, the Valakar is very exciting, but I also want to share with you the bigger picture for creatures. So let's start with some Valakar variants. Variants so far have typically just had alterations to their loot and appearance. However, we want to go further with what variants can be. For
Yeah,
example,
we're not getting
if a
alligators, we're
Valakar
getting
evolved
alligator
and grew in a
worms.
swamp environment instead of a desert planet.
Star alligator worms.
Or if a Valakar never made
the
it to
vagina
the
worms.
Stargators.
and only lived in drowned caves. These are the kind of questions that make sci-fi one of the best mediums. And I can hear the questions already. What does an adult cave Valakar look like? What does an apex quasi-grazer look like? Well, it's these questions that get everyone excited that works on creatures to give you a glimpse into the big picture. All of these variances and differences
This would
and
look
new
too out of
creatures
place if
make
you
up what
gave
we
the
call
guy
our
in the
fauna matrix.
art there like a lightsaber.
The fauna matrix is basically our creature encyclopedia. So these concepts should show you that we want to get more weird and
There's your
wonderful
alien
with
shit
our
there, Bones.
creatures. We've started
Yeah,
off
that's
with
what
more
I want to see.
traditional animal
Alien shit.
references like dogs,
Sandworms is cool,
birds,
but
and
like
cows.
sandworms are in
But now we
everything
need to
from
integrate
fucking
things that we love
Ark
about
to
sci-fi, which is the
whatever,
weird and the
other
unknown.
things.
So,
There you
looking
go.
at where
Space
we're
squid,
going,
star squid.
all of our creatures have been defined for the road to 1.0. We've ensured we've got a rich, diverse, distinct roster of creatures to make each of our planets feel special.
It's about time, man. We haven't
As
had
well,
squid in
as
a long
consumer
time. Hey,
unique
guitar,
elements
what's
of
up?
various planets, ensuring that they're populated with appropriate creatures. We've been designing creatures in mind so that planets' ecosystems influence their behaviors, designs, aesthetics, and harvestables. With that being said, I would like to
Not
give
much,
you a
just
sneak
watching
peek
some
at our
sitcom
fauna
clips.
matrix. That's all
I
from
haven't
me.
seen anything
I'm
yet,
very
so we're
happy
kinda
to
just
bring the
going through.
Valar to all of our backers. It's really like nothing else you've played before. I'll leave you with this last video. Enjoy the rest of CitizenCon, everybody.
Alright. Like, I know this is cool, but, like, we gotta get a move on it, man. We got... The day 2 is the whole thing, right? Like, that's the big one.
Yeah, if you
It's yours too.
yeah, this is gonna show all the alien stuff.
Who's that guy?
These are
One of
concepts.
them.
Real quick. Star Citizen concept means nothing to me.
See
Until
that guy next to the worm on the right?
this guy here?
Yeah.
The
It's the
creature
creature
from
from
the
the Black
Lagoon.
Lagoon, yeah. And this is a typical basement gamer. Yeah, so like concepts to me are just random ideas for the sole purpose of like bouncing
This is
ideas
like
off
the,
each other, you know.
Yeah, this is the creature matrix thing.
Yeah.
These are they're like working on for the alien stuff.
Paid guitar. I have the same feeling every sitcom. It's that it's mostly marketing.
Yeah.
But you know. Alright, that's cool. I really got a wish. Should we skip to day 2? I think we should skip to day 2 now.
Is
there anything else?
There was just the ArcCorp stuff and
we have some
the ArcCorp
amazing
dungeons.
creatures.
The
also have some
wait,
even
don't you want
more
to see the
amazing ships.
old
Let's get it
station?
up
What was the
really quick
station
again
that
for
we
that
lost?
Dress to Kill panel.
yeah,
That was
Levski, they
amazing.
showed
Everyone
that
there
and
did an
the
awesome
new
job.
Star Systems
Now we are
extra.
back here at Palakis Workshop. We got cut
Yeah, and then
off
they
for
told us
time
about the
earlier,
other
so
two
I wanna
star
give these
systems, and
guys
then
Yeah,
they
and
it's
then
just
the
the
A-
42.
Yeah.
I kind of don't care about any of that.
Yep.
I played Levski. So guys, we're gonna switch to day 2 now. I really got a whiz. So day 2 full broadcast. So what I'll do is I'll do
Let it in your pants, one drop at a time, and let it dry.
Hey, Bonds, you're a Komomo fan too.
What was that?
You're a Komomo fan too.
Oh, Komomo? Yeah, I watch Komomo.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's the shit, dude. I'll leave you guys with this while I go take a whiz. I'll BRB. I'll be right back, guys. One second.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the pre-show for day 2 of CitizenCon. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and we're back. We're back here in the UES Barbary, otherwise known as Hall B, otherwise known as Manchester Central, otherwise known, and this is where you're all going to cheer, as CitizenCon. Honestly, people ask what the better parts of my job is, and being able to just do some call and response with the crowd is probably it. Watch, I'm going to do it again. At CitizenCon. That's really quite cool. We are here in the general lounge of the UES Barbary, where I'm going to be sitting for most of today, because if you watch day 1, I made an ill-fated decision during the pre-show yesterday to attempt physical movement of any kind. Generally, I'm against it. If you consider physical movement of any kind past the age of 40, don't. But if you have to do physical movement at any point after the age of 40, my recommendation is to stretch at least once in 14 years. So yeah, we're here on day 2. Let's go over a little bit of day 1. Day 1, we saw the Brave New Worlds Genesis presentation. It was a fantastic look at all the new planet tech tools that will allow us to build planets like the newly revealed Castra Sherman. We checked in with the organization presentation. I know it's a social and universe, and it had all kinds of stuff, the party chat and all that stuff, but really for me, like, I was there in 2014.
What is crafting?
It requires its own set of tools, the knowledge of how to use them. Crafting offers progression. You become a better crafter by learning new blueprints and upgrading them.
Not it. Chuck, I'm not
Crafting
it.
builds on the existing gathering professions.
I like crafting.
Okay, you're the crafter.
When you would go out and you collect your materials for
Pelican blueprint.
we are adding new depth and meaning to those activities. Crafting
You
provides
just gotta supply them with the materials,
just
Buns.
one way to craft
Oh, I'll
something.
get materials.
Like I said, we have upgrades.
I'll
How
farm
you
some mats.
make and upgrade the things you craft.
I'm gonna be
sometimes
sitting there when
just
the
more
Bonds
than
gonna come in.
what you're crafting.
I need a fucking bangle stat.
You can earn cosmetic upgrades, craft unique items.
Or he's gonna come in.
Even
And
some
my
credit
Perseus needs fucking repairs. I'll just have to put on my hard hat. and go,
Nowhere is this
"God."
versatility more obvious than base building. We're going to have nearly limitless options
I am a little
for
excited that
how
they
you
said they're going to
construct
work
your
on that
home,
next year.
how to customize your base
Wait, you're excited
to
about
meet
what?
your own goals.
They're going to work on the Perseus next year,
Most
along with a bunch of
importantly,
other
crafting
loser
gives you
ships
a
that
lot of
nobody
new
cares
choices.
about, and we should just pass
The
over
choices
all
will
of it.
impact your
Iron
goals in the
Shed.
game, your interactions with other players, and eventually
Like I
how you
said.
see the game itself. So where do we get started with crafting? Well, you can't craft without materials.
Ew. Is that a cow tongue?
Luckily,
Yes.
we've got a lot of ways to
Oh, it is a
gather
cow tongue.
resources in
Holy
the
shit.
game.
I was
And
joking.
crafting is designed to complement and expand on all of
You
the
can throw those at
existing
people too in game
gathering
right now,
professions,
bud.
Can you
as well
eat
as
it
future
raw?
additions.
No.
Can
Let's
you
take
put
a
it on your
closer look
seat
at
to make your
mining
seat
as an
more
example.
comfortable?
We've
Yes,
got
I mean,
hand
you
mining,
could,
vehicle
yes.
mining, and ship mining. That's a lot of mining. But
Get
with
nice and
crafting,
wet too.
Yeah.
we're
I
gonna
threw,
introduce a
I
mining
threw one
service.
at someone
So
once and
there's
it
not
knocked
just
their
more to
ass
mine,
out.
But we're also going to specialize. So for instance, each type of mining will have its own unique materials to gather. Gathering specific materials efficiently will require you to use the right gathering profession. Let's talk about refining. Currently, only mining resources can be refined, but doing so allows you to turn
All
them
we got to
into
do
more
is just
valuable
find the people
processed
doing this
resources.
and shoot them down. Period.
With crafting,
Easy.
we're going to expand refining to include options for all
Every
raw
PvP
materials.
game ever.
Yeah.
In addition to
Exactly.
expanding the variety of materials you can gather, refining lets you create process
Yeah, living
materials
off the loot,
that
just
you're
like the
going
old
to
art
need
days,
to
man.
craft your upgraded blueprints.
Living off the loot. You're not allowed to farm anything. You just
So now that you've
steal it
gathered
all.
all these materials, what do you do with them? Currently, your only options in the game really are to like sell them to a shop or maybe complete a contract. Adding crafting into the game radically changes your options. You can still mine, refine, and sell your resources, but now you have the option to make valuable and unique items. Weapons, armor, even vehicles and ships.
That's what I want.
Right?
Gear and guns.
And vehicles.
And by valuable, I mean that the crafted gear that you create has the potential to be better than anything you can buy in a shop.
What about subplayer? We don't get perks for subplayer?
You can upgrade
But
it, most
crafting just
likely.
isn't in with shiny new gear. Think much bigger. Crafting enables you to build your own home among the stars.
So see that right there? That's when I think of base building. That's what I picture. I don't picture a huge, crazy thing with like extracting resources and all this shit. I see like a little humble outpost somewhere you could spawn some vehicles and some ships, and it feels like you're out in the wilderness. To me, that's base building.
Yeah,
you know?
you could do that. That's where you can stop it.
Yeah.
You choose to make a farm, a hunting lodge, an industrial complex, your own trading hub, a military outpost, even a sprawling town with your friends and org mates.
I want to make the
Got a lot here,
the
but it's all
observatory
optional.
from
You can choose to
Futurama.
focus on gathering resources and sell them to crafters that need them. You can skip gathering and refining and just focus on being the best crafter you can be. Or you can leave all that gathering and crafting nonsense to other people and just focus on trade and make some money. But that brings me to my last point. Player choice matters. When a player makes a choice, they assign value.
Real quick, paid guitar. Every time they do CitizenCon, I'm the cynic here, right? So I'm always the one that tries to bring everybody back down to earth a little bit. When they show you all this stuff, this is all just like what they're thinking of, right? This is all what they right now at this moment is where they want to go. That doesn't mean anything from a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. So like what you have to think is, think about CitizenCon last year. Let's say, how much do you think, Cuddly? Probably like 70% we got from last year, 60%, something like that, right? So from CitizenCon last year, we did get a lot of the stuff they were talking about. There's still a lot of the things that we didn't get. There's things from CitizenCon's past that are completely gone now and aren't even like a part of the conversation anymore. So like when you're watching a CitizenCon, you just have to keep all that stuff in your head, right? Like in a perfect world, based on right now, this is what they want, okay? So that's the
Only
way.
dates that they gave this CitizenCon is that we are getting base building and crafting within 12 to 18 months with monster hunting.
12 to 18. But
Yeah,
that all,
and that's gonna be probably tier 0, so it's not gonna be
Yeah.
everything. It's gonna be like base.
the very
like-
basic parts. And then the
Yeah.
thing is too, is you have to remember is that what they're showing you now can change and change and change. And that's the way Star Citizen development goes. So like no matter what, you're just along for the ride, and it just kind of is what it is, you know. So like this is stuff is all just to get you hyped up and see what's possible and what they're thinking right now. It doesn't necessarily mean like this is where we're going to be. You know what I mean? So like you kind of use it as like an outline for you. You know what I mean? Anybody that watches this and goes, dude, in like 2-3 years, this is what playing the game is going to be like. You haven't been playing long enough. Stick around, you know. But it's a good outline, you know. Just kind of think
They're
of it that way.
ramping up and speeding up, but it's still gonna take time.
Yeah, they are speeding up. Here's the biggest kick in the pants for me. From last year to this year, the game is just less fun. All right, so they are adding things, and the game is way more detailed and nuanced than it was a year ago, and a year before that, obviously. But things like so many things that they have done have been to the detriment of how fun it is to actually play the game, in my opinion. Right, like flying your ship, so many things I don't want to get into all right now. I bitch about it all the time, but so yes, there is more detail, but is it making the game better? I don't know. So we'll have to wait, you know, obviously another year, and then we'll talk again. So I'll see you there.
Players' choices about crafting and base building will drive player trade. The community's choices will determine the value of the materials and the crafted goods you can all make. The game will still have its own shops and economy alongside players, but now you'll have more options about where you invest and how you prosper. Now, I've given you a nice overview of what we're working on here, and we have a lot more planned for the future. But now that you're familiar with the big picture, I want to introduce some of my fellow developers to come up on stage. They've got exciting details to share with you about the specifics of our new crafting systems, important gameplay improvements, and most exciting, I think anyway, an update to base building. To start things off, please welcome Jacob Taylor to the stage.
An update to base building. You got to give us base building to start with, though, bro.
How many people are going to build giant penis buildings?
Thank you, Rick.
Me.
And hello, CitizenCon. Hi, I'm Jacob, Senior Gameplay
Also,
Programmer.
while I'm thinking of it too, the one thing I don't want to see happen is like base building in like No Man's Sky. If you like watch any videos of like, you know, whatever, epic base in No Man's Sky, one of those type of videos, the bases that they build are insane. They look fucking crazy, but they're all useless. Like in No Man's Sky, there's a few things you would need a base for, but not really. You know, it's like they're so big and epic, but there's no need for it. You know what I mean? like the way we play, we're always moving around. We're going to this planet, that planet, like logging off here, going there, logging off in your ship. I want to live out of my ship, you know? I don't want to have to go back to a home every time. The whole reason I got into the game was living inside a giant ship that's a fucking house, you know what I mean? I don't want to have to keep going back to a base. So like if as long as they give you a purpose to have this base, and like this base is very useful, then to me that's good.
On crafting. Rick has showed us how crafting will link into a lot of existing and new gameplay. But I think it's time we get into some of the details. I'm going to tell you about the new game mechanics we're introducing, starting with blueprints.
You guys clap too much.
Before you can craft anything,
Didn't they bring up blueprints last year?
Nope.
Blueprints
I could
provide
have swore they
the
brought up
recipe
blueprints
to
last
perform
year.
all kinds of crafting processes, including
I
refining.
don't know, I could be wrong. Probably am
You
wrong.
can acquire blueprints through various activities. Some you can buy, some you can find, and some can be unlocked or earned in other ways.
Cash out.
You can also upgrade your blueprints through
With
research.
reputation.
We'll
You
go
can
into more detail
unlock
about what this means
the military
a bit
Hornet
later.
blueprints with reputation.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Blueprints are
surprised they didn't
assembly,
call them
and
star
Rick already
prints or
told
some
us
shit.
The materials you gather and refine will be the ingredients.
Sadly,
But there's a bit more
they're
to it than that.
STCs.
We have a new concept for materials: material quality. Quality is a property we're adding to all resources you can gather. That's an abstract measurement of how good it is at being whatever it is. You can think of this as the purity of a metal, or the ripeness of a fruit, or something along those lines.
We get it, dude. Move on.
This quality will be carried forward from raw resources through the refining process to influence what that batch of materials is best used for in crafting.
High quality is more desirable overall, but is more rare, and there are still important uses for low-quality materials. More on that later. All raw materials you find in the verse will have a quality rating that's generated based on some rules, the same kind of rules you heard about from the Planet Tech team yesterday. You'll find the same material in many places, but with varying qualities, so you might want to explore to find the best. Some materials that are already rare will be even more valuable if you can find them with high quality. But what's quality for? It's for item stats. Alongside quality, we're introducing a new item stat system to the game.
Cool, I can't wait to steal this shit from people.
Right.
Now, this is where people are going to get really mad at us. When they have some very high-level thing they've crafted and we just take it. You know, like, then they're going to get upset. You think people get upset now? So this makes piracy...
is going to be on another level.
Yeah, deer fear is going to be on another level, and then on top of that, there's even more reason to rob people. And like, so like this is the other thing too, right? That guy in the cutter that you see flying by himself, that there was no need to shoot him down before. Now there is. We got to see what kind of fucking helmet he's got, what kind of gun he's got. Like we got to see. So this just gives us a green light to shoot down every single person and run their pockets.
This will allow relevant properties of craftable items to be affected by the quality of materials used to craft them. For resources, just a single quality rating is sufficient to provide variation, but craftable items have such diverse purposes that we need a more detailed system to provide both progression and customization options.
I wonder how
like
in-depth like material shit's gonna be.
Some examples would be the damage and fire rate of a gun.
It looks like it's just gonna be like Minecraft shit.
Or even the satiation provided by eating a hot dog.
1 square of mustard. You see that?
So.
6 SCU of quasi beef, 4 SCU of bread, beef. 1 SCU mustard square, please.
All right.
Where's the ketchup? It has ketchup on there.
So,
give me the star beef.
The quality of materials will directly affect the item stats, such that higher quality results in better stats.
Luckily, you don't need millions of materials
Most items
to make shit.
require
like,
multiple
now craft this into a spring, and craft that spring into a gizmo, and craft that gizmo into a doohickey, you know?
And in many cases, you'll have a choice
I hate those
of
crafting systems where there's too
which
much
lets you decide
to
which
like
stats to focus on to tailor your items to your playstyle. Here we see I'm making a gun with high-quality aluminium, giving me a nice bonus to integrity and weight. But someone sold me low-quality copper, so I don't get as much fire rate bonus as I could
Fallout
have.
style,
You cheap copper
To go
selling
even
bastard.
further, researching your fabrication blueprints allows you to build higher tiers of an item with improved base stats. So a higher tier item will be better than a lower tier item that was made with materials of the same quality.
What? I think he's over-explaining
Making
this a
high-tier
little
items
bit.
requires more advanced materials.
We get quality. We get the idea.
But it's also how you access
Everybody's played a
greater
video game
choice
before.
as to which
Give me that high qual.
Yeah.
This means that your high-tier items can not only be better overall, but also more specialized in the areas that
We're
are
farming
important to you.
boys.
Yeah. We're farming
Most items
players.
will have tiers 1 to 3, with tier 1 being the most basic.
This is what I always loved about. I'm sorry I
tier
keep
3
pausing, but I keep thinking of things. This is what I always loved about Ark was people would always complain that Ark was such a grindy game, but the way I used to play it, me and my buddy used to play it, was living off the loot. You spawn in, and then what we would do is we would craft enough stuff to get a handful of grenades, and then from there you just blow open people's doors and take everything, and then this guy's then little by little you snowball, and that's just what we're gonna do here. I don't have to grab any loot. I don't have to craft anything. I'm gonna find the people that have it, and I'm gonna get it from them. You know.
I'm curious. Are they going to be talking about what's it called? Hacking or whatever? Like what does the Legionnaire do? Like it.
I don't think they're working on hacking up currently.
Like they said the Legionnaire is only ship from the last year's panel that is not coming out this year.
Whatever happened to data running and shit too? Like that went away.
Yeah, that too.
I haven't heard about that
I'm
in a
curious
while.
about that.
made with appropriately impressive materials.
Okay.
But
890 jump
you can
mission
also
is not
craft
working.
vehicles.
Oh, that's cool, Hallinger.
And vehicles are so
That
important
guy looks
that
like
they will
Sid
go up to tier
from Toy Story.
Hallinger,
Yeah.
Hallinger in chat just said, if you find some dude, little homestead, you can breach and raid it as long as you know how to hack. That's a cool idea. I like that.
There you go.
Base rating, you know?
5.
Yeah,
Providing
we're
a
gonna
way for you
talk
to
about it later, but there's basically, if you build in a lawful system, your base is protected. But
Yeah.
if you build in like an unlawful system like Pyro and stuff, where the materials are like way more high quality,
Yeah.
so they're giving you risk and reward, so you wanna kind of build in those as well. But in those, you need to have like seals on your base, and
Yeah.
for someone to take down your seals, they
there's-
need to do a ground assault.
So it's like
Like,
there's gonna be, like,
they need
defenses,
to
yeah.
walk into your shields and then turn them off from the inside, so they
Yeah.
can bring ships in.
So it's like any kind of game like that where you would have your main base, then you would have farming outposts and things like
Yeah.
that, and they'd be in the danger areas. It's almost like an Ark. You have the, what do you call them? The teleporters. Your teleporters are where all the loot is, you know, and like shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
really invest in making your favorite vehicles excel. Of course, many of you have already bought your favorite vehicles.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So you don't
Hallinger.
really need to make them from scratch, right? Or maybe you've pirated, salvaged, or otherwise commandeered a vehicle.
These are all like most of this stuff is
Not to
normal
worry.
video game
You
shit
can
that they're
still
bringing
benefit
into
from
Star
crafting
Citizen now.
by
You know that a
using
lot
an
of the base
upgrade
technology is getting
to
done.
increase the
You'll
tier
see
of an
them start
existing
putting the
vehicle,
actual video game shit in now,
including
you know, which is cool.
Well, weren't they having like super like bad like development issues with I forget what I think it was like the what's that
including
ship
the
that like
usual
expands
stat
and shit.
improvements and
Cargo ship.
customization.
Yeah.
Upgrading a vehicle can save a lot of time
I
over
feel like that
crafting it
might
from
have
scratch. So it's a
delayed
convenient
them with all
way
this
for
shit.
established vehicle owners
And
to bring the
you will
benefits
see
of
that
item
they have
stats to their
they
fleet.
already started working with the base building like beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And they have made like crazy amount of fucking progress with it.
Well, I think once we get out of alpha and we get into a more of a beta state type game,
Yeah.
all these pieces should start falling into place quicker.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I think the point I'm always trying to make is that like where we are right now with all these things they're talking about, it's still such early days that like these are like the ideas they have. We got to figure out if it's all possible and how it's going to work in the end, you know? Because I think here's my big gripe with CIG all the time is they're huge idea guys, right? They have some of the best ideas like as far as gaming goes, but it never feels like they plan it out how everything's going to work together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, their
So many-
implementation isn't on point.
Hey, babe. Yeah, it's like a lot of the things like okay, the way this crafting shit sounds awesome, right? But they're not thinking of how that's going to work with this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. So as the shit starts to come out, that's where we're going to see changes
Well,
happen. and
they're
stuff, you know?
gonna show that change in the Pro 1.0
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that they
Let's take a
talk
look
about.
in-game at the difference it makes to have high-tier equipment made from high-quality materials.
Trust
Yeah, with
man, they
the-
got a plan.
See how
Okay, I
recoil
trust you.
is reduced
I don't trust
on our
them.
high-tier gun. The spooling
I trust,
is
but
faster
I'm
on a
cautious. It's
high-tier
just
quantum
a
drive.
bunch of guys making a video game.
And a high-tier scraper beam is much more effective.
So they're making it more that you have to or you should want to like,
Craft.
do all these things.
Yeah, you
craft.
should want to craft your shit.
That's an overview of crafting's
Giving
key
you
game
reason to
mechanics.
grind.
I'll now hand over to Torsten to walk you through the full crafting process.
It's a reason
Thank
to
you,
grind
and have
that
a good
isn't
day.
just like growing your wallet, you know,
Yeah.
which is cool, I guess.
Thank you, Jacob. Hi, I'm Torsten, lead system designer of the CGP system design team.
And with the when they show the station building where you can build your own space station, that stuff is in
We
white
now
box
saw
right now.
all elements
Yeah.
of crafting looked at individually. Let's bring them in order how you, as the player, will experience the crafting profession. You will start with acquiring the correct blueprints as the first step in the crafting process. As Jacob already mentioned, blueprints can be acquired in multiple ways. Let me give you some examples here. You can purchase commonly available blueprints, earn them from reputation and mission rewards, or even find them in loot crates. All content in our game could reward you with a blueprint. Some blueprints will be challenging to find, so players working together may find them easier to acquire. While you may find a blueprint on a datapad or other portable device, the blueprint itself is
yeah,
not
we'll flip
a
through it,
physical item.
Hallinger, when we get there.
You
I'll
don't
probably
collect
have
them
like
in a
another
box
hour of this
or
left
stack
in me,
them on
and
a
we'll go through some
bookshelf.
of it.
Blueprints are digital. Once you claim one, it is
I'm getting bored now.
permanently
Are we ready to
added
go? Skip
your
ahead?
personal library. This
Like I said,
library-
anybody in chat or anybody else, if there's anything specific you want to watch, we'll get to it.
Blueprints are character bound.
This library is persistent to your character,
And you find it,
and
it's
every
always in
blueprint
your
you claim
character.
is yours forever.
This is like, so I like to see the big picture stuff now, but we're getting into the weeds, so like I'm not that interested.
They cannot be stolen
I wonder if
or
they're
traded
gonna
once
Yeah, base building,
yeah,
here's
so-
base building.
yeah.
But it does not
I wonder if
just
they're gonna do
end
like wipes
with
for the
acquiring
blueprints.
blueprints.
There's base building right there. You
Those
just
tiers of-
got.
I
so
think
go
they
back a little bit.
Crafting.
I think they should. I think they should do wipes for everything all the time, just like any type of game. You know? I think this
Is the
base building right here,
foundation of base building.
Yeah.
I'm
Up until
helping out,
now,
guys. I got to work in the morning.
everything
Yeah.
in
Have a good one, Malik.
we
Yeah.
made for you. From here on, we will give you the tools to build your own stories, your own homes, and truly
I'm gonna have to skip some of it, man.
make
This
the
video is a
universe
5-hour video.
yours.
I'm gonna have to skip some shit. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna. I can't stay here for
Join
5
me
hours. I gotta work.
on a
in the
journey
morning. No, I was
on
talking
building
to
our
chat.
own habitable home on Pyro.
We'll watch as much as we can now. I
Keep in
promise.
mind that the following footage is work in progress, including its UI, design, and visuals.
I also would like to
and
play
we're
a little bit
super
tonight,
excited
hopefully.
to share this with you. We found
Ew, why
a
would you live
beautiful
on Hurston?
location
Yuck.
by a lake. This is where we'll build
This is on
ourselves
Hurston. This is on
a
Pyro.
home.
Oh, it looks like
To
Hurston.
do so, we need some resources and the construction graph card. The construction graph card allows us to survey the land, claim the land in a lawful system, and it allows us to build structures. As we've already found the location and don't need to claim land in lawless Pyro, we can straight dive into building our
Is
base.
this not Pyro? Where is this?
Keep in mind, the
Looks like
following
Hurston.
UI is work in progress.
That looks too beautiful to be Hurston.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
Houston has some, or Hurston has some really pretty spots. Like
Yeah, if he was smoking a cigarette, it'd
A
probably like fit right
survey
into where
drone
it
that
was
deploys
at.
from the top
Straight
of the
down
card
from
gives us a
OM1, like that whole
controllable
area is
augmented
really
view
nice.
of the land. In the new structure mode, we'll pick a small basic structure and hit construct. For
Okay,
this demo,
so it's
the
modular,
construction
just
will be
like
instantaneous.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
But in the final product, this will take you quite some time.
And you can go up like basically like
We've done
play
it.
factory
We've
with the
built
bigger
our
stuff.
first structure.
Like
Let's
construct
have a look
factories,
on the inside.
assembly lines, stuff like that.
We gotta go pick out our spots now, boys.
As we walk into the small basic structure, we see an empty interior that is dimly lit. It's up to us
fucking
to
Dr.
define
Doom
what we
decorating
will
in
use
here.
the space for.
It's
In
always
our
like
case, we will want to make it into a home. We can see that the lights are still off, and that is a problem. Because no
You
lights
forgot to
means
say
no
Star Home. You
atmosphere.
should've called it a
Everything they
story.
show is
Atmosphere.
almost done, Hellinger.
So it's not ideal to live in. So how do we solve this issue?
What says
We
gray
can
box
improve
there?
this by
So.
providing the building with power.
That's
Let's
what
see
he's
if we
saying
can
in chat.
build something
He
that
said
helps
it's
us
almost
out.
done, even though they say gray box.
But
Yeah, no.
before
Well,
we
the
dive
18
into
months
more
for the
building,
tier 0
let's
stuff.
take a quick
Yeah, 18 months. I don't. Like I said, I've been playing this game long enough. I got my 10,000 hours into CIG. I don't take any. Everything's with a grain of salt with me. Just show me
Listen,
when it's done. I don't care.
If and when it does come out, I'll be excited to, get together with everybody and have a common goal that isn't to just PvP. It's like, hey, we want to build our little org base here where we can all hang out and have a little hangar here. We
should
get
have
together.
I still
we
just
shouldn't
want to
just
live
have
on my
like a-
ship, though. For the most part,
We
I just
shouldn't
want to
just
live on
have
my
like-
ship.
Oh, don't! I'll be living out of my Polaris.
Well, here's the
I
thing,
want-
too, right? I want all the ship functionality. Like, so base building is really cool to me. I love it. But I would much rather have a big decent sized ship that has all of its functionality. I need a reason to have my kitchen. I have a reason that I need to like rest in my bed, and I use all the things that are in my ship, and everything is working properly, so that it's like a base. You know what I mean? That's where I think like they're really missing the mark on that one. But by going like, let's move all this stuff to like a ground location, like where okay, so you're gonna live here or whatever. I want to do that off of my ship. You know.
I'm hoping, Fonz, with
Yeah.
this push that they implement that into the ships.
I hope so, yeah, because that's what I always wanted out of the game, was to live in my spaceship, you know.
We shouldn't do
building
just
money,
one base.
yeah.
We should make like a compound, you know.
Oh, meaning the assets are almost done. That's what you mean. I guess Sicon will be done. Polaris, yeah, Polaris, me. Yeah. Polaris.
Moment to enjoy the freedom.
So we know you're gonna live out of your Perseus.
And admire the aesthetics of our first
I'd rather live
structure.
on my cutter.
And I wonder
wanna
what
be able to use the
Declan was
pooper.
doing there.
If
Keep
you want
in
to
mind
use
that
why not
this
live out of
is
your
still
Herald?
work in progress, but what you're seeing right now has been recorded
Somebody
directly
else
in
is
the
already in there,
client
looks
and
like.
works seamlessly between first person and the building mode. Okay, enough. Back to base building. In the
Dude,
list
this
of new
shit is gonna be
structures,
so
we see a
buggy.
small fuel
This
generator.
shit is gonna be
That is
so
something that
buggy.
could solve our problem, I think.
There's
Power providing structures need to be
environmental
hooked up
aware
to other buildings
on the
inside
building, so
construction
they
ER
show their
mode.
age.
But we'll
Yeah.
explain this later.
Well, so we still can't remove
The fuel
trees or anything that's
generator
in the environment. We build
is
right
one
on it, right?
of several structures that provides power.
Or we have to build
If
it.
I had to,
Each
if
to
I
their
had,
own benefit
if I had
and
to make a
drawbacks.
guess, they'll probably do the Fallout
Fuel
76 thing where it'll get rid of the trees while your building is there, and then when it's not there.
I hope not, because I hate the Fallout 76 build. But so like the flat. So what if I want to build on top of a mountain? Will it flatten it? Or I
It's
know nobody
quick
knows.
and easy
I
to
don't know
build,
why I'm asking that.
but it requires a constant
I'm
supply
assuming
of
no.
fuel besides its regular maintenance.
That's just me
If a structure is
assuming
not
no.
maintained, it will halt its
Because
activity.
I think
that pod
the,
is
the
insane.
world
Maintain
is static.
fuses to keep
you know?
the building operational. The better crafted fuse, the longer it lasts. This is where the fuse goes on this building. Next up, we have a terminal that gives us access to the status of our building.
Friendly
And,
A2
more
incoming.
importantly, we get to activate it here.
If we're in a lawful system, we actually get planetary shields.
Yeah.
That's the great part.
That should do it. Let's see if we got power in the building now. As you notice, some of the crates in the background have disappeared, as their content has been consumed during the construction process of the buildings.
So instead of having like a TC like in Rust, you
And
just
it looks
have
like
everything live
Declan
around
is
and
now
just
hooking
suck it
up the power to the power
If
to
you
the
build
building.
in a lawful system, you need to pay tax.
You need
I
a
wonder what he
generator
was
bigger
up
than
to
your
earlier,
house for
though.
your house.
Well, it's going to be the generator for everything there, so it's okay.
Wow. Declan has been busy
You
decorating
can turn
the
off
place.
his in-game chat. Nobody's
As we can
saying
see,
anything.
the lights are now properly working. We got atmosphere, and we can start to use the item fabricator now that there is power. Always handy in case we need a fuse. Let's have a quick look at what we've done so far. We've decorated the place.
Can we shoot inside our shields?
We made it our own little home.
I believe so. That doesn't
We
have a
heated up
little icon
with
up there.
power.
So we could have org events
I
inside
would
our
say
base.
Yeah,
we have
most
a
likely.
place that we can live in.
So we
Seek and destroy kind of shit.
And
Okay,
enough
yeah.
space station.
Or base clearing and things like that. So we can do completely 100% safe org events inside our thing that are ungriefable.
Yeah.
That's dope. I like that. So that's what I'm talking about, playing the game differently than what they intend. That's what I like.
But
So basically, we're going to build bases that are set up for combat. That's what we're going to do, okay?
Yeah.
Obviously, we want a normal base that you can use for the main things, but overall, we're going to try and lay it out in a way that is will make combat fun. We could even have two bases under one shield where, like, two different teams, like, that could be
Well,
fucking
that's what I'm
dope.
saying. We should have, instead of just one base, we have like a compound where.
Oh, yeah, we'll
everybody
definitely do
has some
that.
base, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, we would do, like, a whole town. We'd probably have one big central building and then houses all around
Exactly,
it and
yeah.
stuff.
I think it's just enough to call it a home. Thank you.
So, what do you think, Cuddly? That's tier 0? Everything they just showed right there? Base building, probably?
No, I don't think that's tier 0.
Okay.
Or maybe it could be like that part, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool, paid guitar. Those are simple things that they just
Now that we
totally
have
miss,
a
though,
rough
like
understanding
having
of
a
how
marker for
base
your
building
ship.
works, let's dive into some of the specifics of what we just saw. The construction graph card is one of 4 devices used for base building. The graph card is a mobile device that lets you construct a variety of small structures. And
So
has
that's
been
like a
designed
toolbox.
specifically to fit into the smallest ships,
That's your
like
smithy table,
the Drake
Mark.
cutter.
Yeah, that's what you use if you don't have a building
The
ship.
graph card allows us to
Or
survey
a
the
building
land, to
car.
find a good location, to claim the land with credits when we're all in a lawful system like Stanton.
Are they going to show the Pioneer?
Most importantly, it lets us build
Yeah,
structures.
when they're getting to the
To
station
use
building.
the graph card, we will first need to deploy it. Once deployed, we see 2 small construction domes inside the card, and the interactive screen gets revealed to us. From here, we can deploy the survey drone from the extended top part of the card. This survey drone gives us a bird's eye view of the surrounding area using augmented reality mode, ER mode for short. Let's have a look at some UI concepts of
augmented
how
reality
this
AR?
augmented reality mode will look like. Here's a concept of construction ER. From here, we get a more detailed view of the land. Where can and can't I settle? For an example, inside a nature reserve,
It's
construction
star-minted
will be
reality.
prohibited. Are nearby areas flat enough to place my structures on? Are there any underground extraction deposits nearby? And if so, what are their quality and quantity? Let's say we found a good place to start building our base.
So it starts
Then
off
next
like
up, we
doing
need to
an
find a good
RTS kind of
place
thing, right?
for our first structure.
Yeah,
On the
like
left-hand
top-down
side,
view,
we
I
can
guess.
see that we're now in structure creation mode. Underneath that, there is a list of structures that we can build. Once you have chosen a structure, you'll drag it onto the terrain that will be shown then as a physicalized hologram. From here, you can move and rotate to find the perfect position for your structure. Now that we have chosen a position
the mustard.
for our structure, we will need to supply it with crafting materials.
Listen, Bonds,
Just
correct
like
me if
the
I'm wrong.
crafting interface that we saw
But
earlier.
one SCU in the game, I discussed this with Cuddly earlier. Usually, one SCU equates to like 1 ton of a material, correct?
There should be like a big block, is what I think of when I think of an SCU, like a good sized
When I
trunk.
think of it, like whenever you pick up an SCU crate, it has like 1 T, like 1.1 T on it, which I equate to 1.1 tons.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
when they were crafting those, when they were crafting the hot dogs earlier, they had like 6 tons of beef, 2 tons of bread, and a ton of mustard.
Yeah, 1 SCU of mustard. Yeah, right. That's a bit of. Think about how much shit you can fit in 1 SCU box. That full of mustard for your dog.
This is
You'll
where you
never go
choose the
hungry again.
materials.
These are all just
and the better
placeholders,
materials
guys.
you
It's so
choose
early.
will result in a better structure. Once you're ready, we'll hit the craft button on the
Yeah,
right
landing
bottom
gears too. One of the stats
to
is
send the
hacking level.
construction drones printing to the buildings.
What's up, Moonshine? That
The
is a lot of
automated
sauce.
construction drones will take off from the construction graph card and fly to nearby resources to fill their internal storage and then fly over to the construction site to print the building until their internal storage has been depleted. The construction drone then repeats the loop by filling its internal storage again.
So this is what's cool though, because we play with large groups of multiplayer all the time. So like we could have one guy building while everybody else is just gathering resources around the area. Basically like any fucking survival game we would do, you know. We could probably, our team could probably crush out bases really fast, I bet.
By resources. Printing buildings will take some time. Keep the construction supplied so that you don't delay the process any further. Let's say our building did just finish printing, then what? Then we need power. We need to power the building.
Didn't he just show us all this?
All
He just showed us
structures
how it
will
worked,
have
I guess.
a unpowered and a powered state
This is the part
that
where I
we
get
can
bored.
manage inside the resource manager.
Yeah, so just bigger and bigger bases
To
and more
provide structures with power,
industrial stuff.
we can easily
So bigger ones.
and we
Oh,
can
okay.
assess the
There you go.
power consumption, keep of their fuel coming
I get
in,
it.
and what can
I
we do
get
next?
it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Get it. Get it.
You will want to decorate your base.
Ooh, I get it.
And to define to our work as an hologram.
Let me know if I'm skipping anything you want to say.
This feature is accessible through nearby construction devices, allowing you to place down fit through the door.
Yeah, we got
and you
like,
get
let me
to
see, how
place
many
them
are in our Discord?
directly
I think
from
there's
your
like,
local
what,
inventory.
600 people on our Discord? 700? Something
The
like
less they want to mag lock their furniture range, your decoration. PR is
Yeah, you can prevent griefing like that, Bonds, where you just maglock it to your stuff.
Yeah.
So 4 is quite a big advantage.
Elevators.
Hey, Dub.
We'll pop into our construction AR and we'll get down a generator, we'll connect some buildings together just so we have a place to call home before we begin. All right, there we go. So we've settled on one of the brand new underground resource deposits and we're about to exploit it using this. It is our extractors. This particular one is a large solid extractor. We'll also have liquid and gas depending on which type of deposit that you've settled on. We have our output grid here where we're getting all the brand new resources up out the ground.
It looks like whenever it does produce, you have to actually move it into like a cargo grid. To, like,
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Like,
once these things are set up,
happens
it's
when
not gonna,
it
it's not gonna just
you know?
pull it into some invisible resource.
Yeah.
It's gonna actually
Yeah.
be physicalized.
It's
still.
gonna fit, yeah.
So here,
Happens
find a
when-
setup like this, we all just park around the hills and wait for them to take off and shoot them down, right?
So what happens when that output area gets full? Like, do you like move it somewhere? Like, you know?
I
like,
think
for
I'm
resources?
pretty
You
sure
have to
I'm
have
pretty
a
sure
storage,
it
right?
stops or something.
There are fuses
You
which
build
will occasionally
warehouses.
need replaced, as well as environmental wear which can be fixed.
Or you
using
get it all
crafting
stolen from you.
materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, people like Bonds and I will land there with like C2s or an A2 and just start loading it in.
Yeah, we'll help you guys out. See, these places
They'll
are
never
just going to
even-
get camped. Like, I know the verse is huge, so it's going to be hard to find this stuff, but this is what's kind of cool about this. So if you're a pirate group, or you're pirating for the night or whatever, you have a reason now to just go search around on planets to find these things. Because if you find a setup like this somewhere, you just hide behind the rocks over there and
Yeah,
wait for
and-
them to leave, you know?
And think of like we had like with like the 890 where we had a whole bunch of Furies or something, or if we had like a C2 and a couple of fighters where you find it and they all jump to the C2, you
Yeah.
raid the place, you go down, you take the stuff and leave. You do a raid.
Or you
Yeah.
could just blow their generators up. That'll take everything
Or-
out, right? And you could just loot it.
Or if they happen to have a shields or whatever, they're in one of those locations, we just wait for them to leave with their resources to go sell or whatever, bring them back to their home base or whatever it is they happen to be
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, as soon as they leave their shield, they get shot down, you know? So these areas are going to be griefed very hard. They're going to have to come up with like a no camping thing or something. Like, they're going to have to do something like that probably.
I think you can build defenses as well, like automated turret defenses.
They're definitely going to need an OPS and an offline protection system.
Yeah, the hunt will be real moonshine. So that's the thing, like when they add stuff like this, like people are watching this going, this is cool, I can't wait to do this. But guys like us are like, I can't wait for other people to do this, you know?
All
Right, I can't
now
wait
we want to turn
to
those
find
raw
that shit.
resources
Yeah.
into the more valuable refined materials. We saw the process talked about earlier with Thorsten. Of course, we want this. It is our refinery. Once again, there are multiple types here. This one is the large solid matter refinery. We have liquid and gas again, as well as biological, depending on the type of materials that you're using and want to produce.
So you could recycle your
Refineries
friend's body
input
when they die.
and output grids for
I will
input,
be throwing
as
all
you
of
might
rolls,
expect,
all
is
of
for the
rolls
Roll
extra
is
bodies
falling
you
in
didn't
there.
need.
and
Roll
then
is
the
falling in there
output
for sure.
Resulting refined goods.
He already
This is
fell
the
in
way
there
you
and just
select
hasn't
which
told us
blueprint
yet.
you want
Yeah.
to use, and then
Listen,
select which
once you know what's the
Yeah.
other cool part about this? Though, like these structures like this, they're not just cool like for the actual building stuff and then doing the refinery.
Yeah.
But like you said, this will be really cool to do like combat shit on.
That's what I'm
FPS
saying. So if we could build these things in a safe zone where it'll be under a dome, we could throw crazy org events. Like if we build like a couple of these and a couple of the other ones and then some regular buildings, stack the boxes, whatever bullshit, we can make complete arenas for FPS arenas, you know? And then we could just throw the most wicked. We could do our capture the flag events here. We could do our base raiding events here that are completely like safe and nobody could do anything about it. So I mean, like,
Right.
griefers be damned, I guess, when this shit comes out. They'll have to go hunt elsewhere.
A lot of crates here with our extractor and our
I
refinery, so we're
know
gonna put down
um,
our elevator
when we do
storage.
get to this point, everybody that has access to it will have to be 100% vetted.
Oh yeah,
Bonds, did you see that? Go back real quick. where he was putting down the freight elevator there?
Yeah, he
You see
went
where
right
he's
through
putting
it.
it, where he puts the pillar, and it didn't face through it. It got rid of the pillar.
Yeah.
Storage.
So we'll get rid of trees too. Oh, see, I cleared the whole area around it.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah.
Space is really starting to build up now, but it's worth.
Yeah, there was a bunch of pillars there.
Whilst we're putting these buildings down instantly in this video, large structures like this, they will take some time with the automated construction drones. But the smaller scale base we saw in the previous video, that can be done in a single play session.
This is where you'd store all it. So they won't be flying away with it to go store it somewhere. They're going to store it in these freight elevators.
Yeah, but so they're not going to be using the materials here, right? You have to take it somewhere.
Unless they're building these at their base.
But if this is like a resource extractor place or whatever, you would have to.
Yeah, if this is like an outpost for their main base, I when they try to take it up into orbit, we could definitely get them.
I'm assuming they take it somewhere to craft or sell.
We'll just keep on putting down more.
It clears out a lot. You see that? Look how much it cleared out when I put that down. Watch everything there.
We'll just keep on putting down more extractors because we want as much as that valuable resource.
That's
good. Flatten it a little too.
Yeah, it did flatten it a bit.
And with base building, we're introducing the concept of a
In
freight
the middle of the
elevator
forest.
network.
What are we extracting? I'm not sure what they're extracting. I wasn't paying attention. I just do this to bullshit with my friends, man. I don't know what they're doing.
So as we're doing here,
yeah, resources.
we'll deposit an item on freight elevator A.
We call them mats.
And then we're retrieving it on freight elevator B. There is a distance
Dude,
limit, but you
our
can
bases
daisy
are gonna
chain
be
the
fucking
elevators
shit in
together to
mats. There's
extend
gonna be shit
that. And
everywhere.
it has to all be contained within the same base.
We need a zap it's gone gun. That's what we need.
We need to fucking the miscrap to just sweep the place.
Now, as we expand,
Yeah,
we might want to invite more people to join us. This is easy.
We just need a
to
big
do.
fire pit in the middle.
Permissions
We
that
just
can
push
set up
everything
granting
into.
people access
Right.
to our
Yeah,
base, and they
I
can even
hate
build their own
clutter, so
structures if
I
they
wanna
wish.
hear
I
this.
guess
We can
I'll
set
be
up
great,
plan. We might
the
want to
base
invite
grandma,
more people to
man.
join.
Seriously.
Yeah. I want to hear what
Not
he's
even
saying here
kidding.
about letting people in.
Now, as we expand, we might want to invite more people to join us. This is easy to do. There will be permissions that we can set up, granting people access to our base, and
There
they
you
can
go,
even
permission.
build their own structures if they wish.
Okay.
We can
Yeah,
also
that's
give
the-
them access to existing structures, which is how you can form your org storage using those freight elevators.
We gotta kidnap a bunch of NPCs and put them in our work
Yeah.
base too.
Yeah.
Now,
Where can we
always want a
mount the
safe place to
sandworm
store our
head? That's what I
ships.
want.
Oh yeah, here we go.
So,
Here's the
trusty hangar will do.
hangar.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
And there's exterior paints too.
Just think of it, Bonds. We all meet up at the org base to get all of our ships together. We have our meeting there about what we're gonna do, and then we just go dick on.
It's quite special.
We don't have to have a meeting. We know what we're going to do.
Around it,
Right.
making it
No
easy
more
to
meetings
We
in
have one
Grimhex.
place
structure like
to
this.
like take
You
our
don't
stuff
place
to.
other buildings on
Yeah.
it, so it's
Instead
easy
of
for
Grimhex.
making large.
Yeah.
Also,
Our
yeah,
own
we
place.
can pool our material like
there is one
rail
final piece
guns.
of the
We'll
puzzle that
pool
we need
rail
to
guns.
Oh yeah,
stop
one thing
off.
that they said in
Is
the
this a
org
very own fabrication
thing was org storage.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I still want to know, like, when we can do, like, whitelisted people to fly our ships, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that makes a lot of sense, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
think if you could
It
make it
could
work.
be
It's
an
like, hey, I
org
want to do things where it's like, hey, I'm dedicating this fleet or this ship to my org. Like, this is like, if people are in the org and they need a ship, they can summon this ship and use it.
yeah, or, like, just think of it this way. Like, we have the mothership. Like, the mothership should be callable by, like, at least the officers. You should be able to call the mothership, you know, shit like that.
hangar. Does anyone want to guess what
Yeah,
we're going to
Moonshine,
build in the
definitely.
fabrication hangar?
Yeah, railguns. We're definitely going to stockpile railguns.
Apparently we're gonna be able to craft railguns.
I was gonna say we were gonna just craft them.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll have a drive around. We'll go to the
Or
entrance
steel
and we'll see what's in
crafted
store
ones.
for us.
Everything you
Bob-
say, I'm going to stealing, dude. Trust me.
Right.
Bonds is gonna be like, here's the materials I'm gonna be. What do you want me to do with this? He's just gonna whisper, railguns.
Yeah.
Right.
This is in
He's like,
engine.
I
we're
want the
seeing?
highest quality. Yeah, this is all in engine.
Okay. This is not pre-render.
No.
They need to quit fucking teasing us, bro. Just do it. Seriously.
Looks
I
like
live for the
whatever it is,
tease.
it's just about
It is,
finished
man.
drafting.
This is like being at a titty bar, dude. Like 3 feet from the stage.
So
I
they
wanna
just
see
they
them,
just
uh,
they just crafted a whole ass C1.
Of course, we were going to build ourselves a ship.
Yeah, I want to see like someone raiding that actual base. I wanna see how
Yeah,
that
I
works.
want to know how
So,
it works.
quick recaps of the gains from industrializing.
They go
We tapped
into
into
that
brand new
one
resources,
point.
and we've made use of them by turning into the more valuable refined materials. We've introduced freight elevator networks, which are great for logistics and hauling.
Also,
And then we
run
created
over
our
the new
fabrication
ships.
hangar, which allows us to craft big valuable items such as ships.
Yeah.
Now, ships are valuable because you can, of course, you can fly them, you can play content with them, but because they are a crafted item, they can also be sold to other players.
We can sell ships, Bond. We can make a fucking car dealership.
Well, that's really
We're
how the
gonna-
whole gray
so-
market
yeah,
started
With
with
base
Star
building, you're
Citizen.
We're gonna have a
set up
whole
your
ass
own shops,
cartel,
and there's
man.
two main ways you can do this. The first is using a dedicated trading terminal. You can link these to your freight elevators.
Slap swing.
and insert
This thing
any
will get you
items within
across the
listed
universe
for
in no
sale at a
time.
price you deem reasonable. This includes resources.
I mean, this thing roll killed every
Using
one
the
of
terminal,
us.
Visiting players can browse what's on offer, purchase and then collect from that same freight elevator.
But you know what? Since we can
It
craft
just
vehicles, you know.
raises the value by
Set up a physical
10
shop.
AC.
But you know what this also means,
By using the
Bonds?
decorator AR we saw earlier with
You
Luke,
can just craft
you
the
can map
hurricane
locked
that you
items
keep
and then list
losing.
them for sale.
Yeah, don't
Once
get rid
again,
of it
browsing
somehow.
players
It'll
can
disappear.
They'll still
price of the
take it.
map locked item,
Don't get it
purchase it,
somehow.
then removes the map.
1.0 starts in 3 hours. All right, we'll get there in a sec. 1.0 is one of those things to me. 1.0 is just the
Of course,
next
the nice
carrot
thing
on
with
a
physical shops
carrot
is
on
you
a
can
stick. You
genuinely
know what I
make it feel
mean?
like a
So
store.
like,
Yeah, they
Items,
do
shelving,
say
you
that
can go
they
as far
have
as make your own
like
ship
content
showroom.
here.
yeah.
You can advertise your wares on a Moby Glass.
I like that new
You can see,
Mazarov
however,
armor though
it's
that he has in there.
important
Do you
to
see
note
how
the
it
point
looks
of
different than a
purchase will
normal Mazarov?
always
Yeah.
occur at the base
Dope.
itself.
Looks more slim.
Now that we know how to
Yeah.
set up shop,
The
I just want
shoulders
to take a
are
moment to talk
very
about why
nice,
it's
yeah, and so
so
is the-
impactful.
I think it has some like the
Base
tracker
building
shit.
The game as a whole.
Still got the
Understandably,
wee
throughout this
flap though.
presentation, we've been telling you why you want to craft all these things or why you want to build this big.
Gotta make
base.
sure if you
But
did
maybe
get
you don't have
shot.
time to build a big base and maintain it. Maybe you want to spend your time doing the missions. You want to do your beacons. That's how you want to make your credits instead. Shops mean that you can benefit from the players who do want to spend the time making those bases.
Oh, look at
or
that! Look at
crafting
that
those
white set of
specialist
armor on the
items, and then
fucking
you can
right.
purchase
Yeah,
them
yeah.
from
Look at the
them,
helmet.
which is very important because
We have
crafted
that helmet.
items
Yeah,
using
we have that
high
helmet.
quality materials
I've
will
never
be
seen
the
that helmet
most
before.
powerful in the game.
It's the RSI version of the tempo.
On the flip side, if you do specialize, maybe you end up cornering the markets for a particular item or resource, and your shop will then turn into a hotspot of activity, making you loads of credits. Some of you will become infamous because of it. But bear
That's
in
more
mind, a
than
successful
famous.
shop also depends on location. Do you want your customers on edge in Pyro, which
It
tends to
doesn't
have
matter
the
how
higher
they know
quality
your name,
materials?
just that
Or
they know
do you
your
want to
name.
spend time hauling them all the way over to safer systems where your customers can be more at peace? We talked about selling items. Let's sell the look of your base. We have foundation tiles, which can help you divide up the foundation decals, sorry, which help you divide up the foundation tile. You can place them freely wherever you want, and they just help you mark up areas like I want
So
to
we
use
can
this for
draw
cargo,
dicks
I want this for
in the
housing,
fucking flooring.
vehicles, and so on.
Big parking lot.
You'll be able to earn paints
Yeah.
Made of
in game
dicks.
and apply them to buildings.
Yeah.
Arcade.
There we go, Bonds. We can paint it any
Yeah,
color.
yeah, like arrows this way only, and it's like dicks.
Yeah.
One way only.
Look at the Brazil flag in the front. I didn't notice that
As
before.
well as add your
So it's a
own
represent-
custom text, so if you're part of an org, the blue buildings that have your name are definitely yours.
Bonds'
We have
fault
some forms of
of
base building which are either
railguns.
still in the design phase or early white box, but we want to share some details. First up, we have farming and ranching. Farming, it comes in two general types. We have our
don't
low-tech
think you'll
farming
like
and
this
then
much,
high-tech.
Bonds.
Low-tech consists of you
Hey,
applying
I'm getting
seeds,
bored really quick.
planting them in the appropriate
I'll be right back.
environment.
I'm gonna
Remember
take
back
this.
to yesterday, the Brave New Worlds, we had soil types and such now. That'll play a part.
I'm getting bored.
As well as supplying them with
Bonds is getting
nutrients and then just
bored.
harvesting
Let's move
them
on.
when they're grown. High tech, it's a bit more
I wanted to
involved.
see the
You
part
make
where they showed
hydroponic
EE
buildings,
Studios
which you
in their
see here,
FOIP.
but in return, you'll be able to grow exclusive strains of plants.
He didn't answer me though, so I do
Ranching
not know
will allow
where it
you
is.
to keep herds of animals. You'll have to provide them with
They didn't wait. You're lucky they didn't wait.
Cheers, man.
We've
Hi,
sold
everybody.
nothing but JPEGs,
Good
yeah.
to see you all again.
I'm halfway there with you, she said.
Love you too.
You don't even know him.
Excited to be here.
in case you don't know me and you
Old
weren't listening
flame
to Jared
pattern.
there, which I do quite a lot, my name's John Crew. I'm the vehicle director.
My name's Ben Curtis. I'm the vehicle art director.
Ooh. Man, these guys are just clapping. This are gonna be jacked by the end of this weekend.
Right, they're not going to be able to fly with keyboard and
and
mouse
clicker
for
is not
4
working.
days.
Oh, so if you've got technical difficulties,
You have to do a dance, John.
there we go.
There we go. We're good.
Right. So, today we're going to be talking about the vehicles to build your universe. And for those of you that watched the previous presentation, which is awesome about base building and crafting, you should be familiar with the
Nothing super special here, yeah.
construction grav cart.
They're going to talk about the other means of constructing things.
You've seen how this
Yeah.
works. You might be
Sure.
wondering,
The straight
well, if I've got
deployable
this,
car.
why do I need some vehicles to do things?
There's
the
the
Star
new
Lancer.
ships that we were
Oh,
talking
that's the
about.
Star Lancer they were
prepared to go
talking
push
about.
this
Alright, we'll
thing.
watch Star Lancer real quick.
The Star Lancer family.
Yeah,
So,
that's gonna be
yeah, the
my
Star
big
Lancer is basically a whole new family of vehicles.
That thing's so
you know,
gross
from
looking.
MISC, and
It's
these
the
are covering
big brother to
range of different
Freelancer.
roles. Today, we're going to be talking about the first three, which are the build, which kind of makes sense, and that basically is for all
Yeah,
your
dude, I don't really
large
care about
structural
any of this, I'm sorry.
construction needs.
Alright,
We have
At least do the tab. This is the one that has the Fury hanger.
That's
yeah,
cool.
this is the military variant, and it
Yeah,
has
is it-
two
it-
med beds.
Yeah,
Two
two
med
med beds, drop seats, Fury hanger.
Yeah, but now we could just put a rover in. We don't need med beds anymore.
Yeah.
The med bed thing is like moot to me anymore. I don't care about that anymore. I used to like that was a feature at one point, but not anymore. It's got cool drop seats down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and according to what I've seen and from what I've looked in, like the viewer that they have on their website, that drop bay, like you can lower it down with the drop seats with two turrets on the side.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And the
Okay,
two
so,
turrets
yeah,
on the
to
side
sum
are size 5 guns.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And the turrets on the top, there's two turrets on the top, then those have size 4 guns, and the pilot has 4 size 4 guns.
4 size 4. What's the length?
Yeah.
Overall length?
83 meters, so it's slightly longer than, like 13 meters longer
Oh, it's
than
like
the
Perseus
Taurus.
size. It's in the same range as the Perseus. So it
Yeah.
what's the overall weight though? It looks chonky.
It's chunky as shit.
It's pretty much just like a. It's a gunny size, like slightly bigger than the Taurus.
Yeah, well the 600 I believe is 90, so it's about a 600i. Yeah, yeah, 600i
Yeah.
size. It's about the same.
Up. I think
It's
the
lot
attack's
slimmer
obviously
than
gonna bring a lot more
600,
firepower
but
than
yeah,
the other
yeah.
variants.
It's
The
just
shield's been
low.
boosted up to two
lot going on
size
in
3
there.
shield generators. It's got the med
Yeah,
beds,
I
tier
still
3
don't
med
care.
beds, drop
Not
seats.
interested.
It's got a hangar,
Yeah.
and it's still able to
The
carry up to
max
90%
version,
of
which
your
the
car
cargo
Is that the
version
Pioneer?
is.
And you can secure yours today.
Yep.
More stuff to buy. More stuff to buy. All right, let's look at all
We've
these ships.
looked at
Pioneer.
them now and a bit before. So,
All right.
These are the ships that they promised last year, and Legionnaire is the only one that is not coming this year.
Damn.
Yeah, Polaris.
Yeah, that's the Polaris right there.
oh, sorry.
And they
Ben.
named the
Yeah, do you
Crusader
remember last
Intrepid
year we kind
and
of- we
the
teased these 10 vehicle silhouettes.
Defender. Or not
now-
the Defender,
Here's the
the
thing.
Guardian.
They said we teased these vehicles. Yes, we didn't get this one either yet, and we didn't get
Yeah,
this one
that's
yet.
the Guardian.
That's coming apparently
No,
at
no.
IAE.
Like I
But,
said, they're
okay,
coming
so the
this
vehicles
year.
they did deliver are all these little tiny nothings and a Zeus. That's what they delivered. Oh,
Yeah,
and then the
and,
modular for this.
Yeah,
So they delivered about half of them, and then half of the half that they did deliver are just tiny
3 are
nothings.
missing. Or
Wait, what's
4
this?
are
Is this the
missing,
X1? Oh,
basically.
that's the X1, right? Yeah.
These are vehicles that we
Cynicism
were
is shit.
planning on working on this year, and we've not quite delivered all of them.
No, I'm being honest about everything. Here's the thing: people look
I mean,
at this
yeah,
and go,
yeah, you
"Look, they
are, yeah.
delivered like all this shit," but did they really? Come on.
Yeah, this year.
By the end of the year,
but,
so the rest is
yeah,
coming
we
at
did
IAE.
come quite close.
What did you say?
Um,
Polaris is what? Cudley? What'd you say?
Polaris is IAE, the Intrepid is IAE, and the Guardian is IAE.
Okay.
All of them are coming IAE, like the rest, except the Legionnaire. Legionnaire is the only one that is not coming this year.
Yeah, I don't. My thing is, I don't
Because
care
we
about
don't
any of
have
these
so,
ships.
hacking.
so far we delivered 6.
Out of all
We
those,
delivered
that's the one
the
I bought.
Pulse, the
I
X1,
have a Polaris,
the
but I still
Medvac,
don't care
the
right
Argon
now.
PUV-1T, the RSI Zeus.
It's going to be a
and the rework
verse
on
full of
the
Polarises.
Retaliator.
That's what makes it kind of lame to me. Ooh, little toys. Let's watch
games.
the toys.
So we are excited to be here as a partner of
I guess we'll go to the
CIG
1.0
to bring
ship.
the citizens in the.
they were a little surprised
Alright, this
at
is our
first
last
with the sheer
segment here,
amount of
guys.
work
We'll
that
watch a
goes
little bit
into
of this
doing
and
this.
we'll call it a
But
night.
they stepped up and delivered some amazing stuff. The last of which you're gonna see some in this next presentation. And then our last two groups of people I want to present. I want to share. Are they back there? Wave if you're back there. You guys ready? I can't see anything.
Look at his fucking shoes, dude. My
Yeah,
God.
that's the first thing I saw.
Those are turtle shoes.
Are they really like Ninja Turtle shit?
Yeah. They had like all the fucking colors on the fucking, like the Nike logo.
And
That's
so
awesome.
folks are coming up to me.
Like
and
every
they're
Nike
thanking
logo
me
is
for
like all the like different turtle colors.
Grow and build and add things. So
quality for each pass.
Oh wait, we're getting a polished experience? Oh, I'm down.
And most importantly,
Yeah, these are what they
it's a
want for
moment in
1.0.
Yeah, I thought that was going to say no more regrets, but it said no more resets.
if there is a content feature
what does that
or
mean?
star
Always
system
regrets.
that
No
was
more
mentioned
wipes.
in the
No
past
more wipes at
that
all
is
in
not in
1.0.
1.0, it just means it will come later. 1.0 is more than just a number change. It's the beginning of a new phase of development of the game. Okay, so we know what the 1 is.
This is what I always
and
said
the
too.
0.
People are always like, this is the thing about gaming, like modern day gaming, that I feel like people don't really understand. People are always so concerned with numbers. When's it going to be 1.0? When's it going to be full release? Development never ends on video games anymore, so it's not like anything is done ever. Like Daisy
Unless they
released
move on from
into
projects, yeah.
Daisy released into 1.0 like in 2019 or 2020. I forget exactly when it was, but they've consistently added shit the entire time. So
I
it's
think
like
1.0 is like a state that they are happy with the fucking product.
yeah, but the thing is too is like people always kind of act like that's when the game's going to be done. No, that's not when the game's going to be done at all. It's not going to be close.
Right,
to
you're
done.
going to get 1.01.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they said, this
1.A.
is just the beginning of another development like
Right.
phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least it'll
But
be
before
out
we
of
move on,
alpha at 1.0.
It'll be out of
Yeah.
beta. It should
I
be out
want
of
to
beta.
address
by then,
one
Yeah.
important point.
Hopefully.
And for this, we need to go all the way back to the beginning.
We're
Here we
doing
are,
another Kickstarter campaign.
Kickstarter. As a backer myself, it brings back memories. And it also reminds me we had a lot of stretch goals. And one of those goals
The
was
first ever game to
100
be
star systems.
funded by Kickstarter. Also, the longest alpha ever and the most expensive alpha game ever.
But
Gates, what's
and
up?
there is a but. The star
Yeah,
systems
it'll never
of
be done.
old
Yeah, I'm
are
with
not
you,
the
Gates.
star
I don't
systems
think
of
so.
today. They were based on the privateer and freelancer model. They were unexplorable planets with an isolated and small landing zone and had automated landings.
They show
And
us
we all know
anything, or
how
do
that
we
went.
just look at like trees?
To give
So
you an
basically
idea,
plans for the
Stanton had
1.0.
4 points of interest. And the
And
entire
what they want
100
what the game to
systems
be in
only
1.0
had
and
90
showing full
POIs.
loop how the systems link together.
Compare that to Stanton today, and we have 1,626 points of interest. And that is going to be dwarfed once we start using the
Jesus,
Starchitect
I
tool
think
you saw
there
yesterday.
was a Duke Nukem game. Technically, there was an alpha longer.
Duke Nukem Forever, yes.
Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever is the only game that beats this one technically, I think.
So where does that leave us
Was
for 1.0?
it like a decade or something?
Well, we will not be launching
Yeah, it was in
with
the
100
fucking
star
development hell.
systems.
Switch
Because
Studios
the
like
game we have
5
today
times.
was not just
Yeah.
the game that was pitched back
It was
then.
terrible.
It's more rich, it's more diverse, and fundamentally, you'll be getting a whole lot more, and I mean a lot more. Okay, so now I've defined what 1.0 is, let's get into the cool stuff. Star Citizen, by its very nature, is a sandbox MMO. Today, you as a player have to find the fun. You have to figure out what you can do and how to do it. If you want to be a hauler or salvager, you have to know those professions exist. You have to know what ships support that gameplay. And you have to rely on outside resources for help. As it is now, the game is not set up to help you. So we're going to add a soft framework, a nervous system, that connects all the professions, ships, and content together. And to do this, we're going to add a main story. To help...
No, don't clap. Don't clap.
Heard people fucking, ooh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, half the people like, story?
to help new
No.
and existing players,
Story is
to help
like
discover
a,
all the exciting
I like
features
story
and
in my
content
games.
we
it's
have,
basically like a
to take them on a
long
journey of
tutorial.
discovery of what
teaching
the
you
game
everything
has to
about
offer.
the ships, the systems, and the professions.
This story will become the spine of the universe
That's basically
and
what,
help
what it is.
onboard players with understanding how to play the game and understand what's available to
Help
them.
to teach new players.
So this is like
This story
basically
will
for like
also
new
introduce
players
each of our
that
guilds.
like
Yes,
haven't
basically,
been in
and those who want to just do something like I might
Like the
do,
United Resource
when
Workers,
we are not
our
doing
core
PvP, I'm
industrial
not doing the
guild,
story.
which supports 2 of our main professions, mining and salvaging. They also support many other features and professions, like repair technician, crafter, and builder. Guilds are hugely important in Star Citizen, and as you know by now, guilds are comprised of many factions. As you work for each of these factions, you will gain guild reputation. You can then use this reputation as a currency to purchase guild-affiliated rewards, like ships, blueprints, and items. And each
Jesus.
guild will have a unique inventory of what they offer. Alongside economic growth, guild reputation will become a core progression of the game. And to talk more about guilds and our main story, I'd like to introduce David Haddock onto the stage, our very own narrative.
So to me, bud, I see what you're saying. You come back after not playing for a few months and you're like lost. But to me, like if I were to leave for a few months, which I did do like a couple years ago, I left for like 3 months or something. I like coming back and not knowing anything. And then to me, I enjoy tinkering and figuring things out. Like I don't want the game to tell me. I don't want anybody to hold
The
my hand and
sense of
explain it.
exploration and to fucking when you
Yeah.
find something new.
Yeah, like it's so much more rewarding when you figure all the shit out and you figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Like I think what they're trying to do, to me at the end of the day is they're trying to make the game more accessible to more people, right? A lot of people aren't like me. I only can play games that are open sandboxes and don't give you anything to do. Like, and I don't know if it's something wrong with me personally, but those are the only kind of games that I can spend any actual time in. I could play a single player for a couple hours, but then I'm out. Like I'll never play it again. So those are the only kind of games I actually enjoy, but I am not the average player at all. So I get why they're doing all these kind of things. I personally don't need it or don't care for it or just think it's muddying up what the actual persistent universe should be. All these kind of things should be for the single player game they're working on, or whatever, arena commander type things if you want to do like, you know, two co-op type shit or whatever. But like I really just feel like the verse should just be the verse. You spawn in with nothing. Actually, I think they should spawn you in the wilderness by yourself with a helmet and a sperm suit. Boom, go, figure it out. Like that's what I think they should do.
Find civilization.
Find civilization. Figure out how to get your ass out of here. Make it even more of a sandbox. Make it harder to start out. Like so, like all these things to make everything easier is dumbing it down. Even look at master modes. Look at what they just did to the power triangle and to the MFDs and everything. It's dumbing everything down. It's taking agency away from the pilot. All these things are just making it easier and easier and easier. There was a point where a guy in a Pisces could smoke a guy in a Hornet because the guy in the Pisces put all the hours into flying that Pisces. Right now, that shit's all over with. That shit doesn't matter anymore. 2 guys, no matter how many hours you spent, who has the guns, who has the ship. Period. That's the way it works now. So it really is. So basically what it's like is a guy like me that's been playing a game for 5 years, 6 years now, I could go up against a guy that's been playing every night for 2 weeks and he could shoot me down and kill me because all those things, all those advantages I used to get by practicing my J turns and my stair steppers and all the bullshit moves and all that and my power management, all that stuff I got really good at over years of playing doesn't matter anymore. So a guy that's just been flying for, you know, a couple weeks, but he put in a couple hours to figure out how to do it, he could shoot me down just as easily as I could shoot him down now. You know what I mean? So what they're doing, all this kind of shit, is just dumbing it all down, which at the end of the day, we all have to remember, Star Citizen is a business. They don't owe us anything as like the hardcore players like myself and my org mates. They don't owe us shit. So that's fine. I get it. I would hate to have to find a new game at this point after putting so much time into this one. But yeah, that's the way it feels like they're going. They're not going to come out and say that because they have the backers that have been, you know, into the game twice as long as me, like Cuddly, and like some of these guys have been into the game twice as long as I have. So they're never going to come out and say that that's the direction the game is going, because they don't want to lose those players either. But what happens is when you're a guy like me and you have a few $1,000s into this game, I can't put any more money in. So what they have to do to keep the train rolling is get new people to put that $3,000 in, and another guy, and another guy, and another guy. Because all of us get to a point where we can't put any more money in, you know? So you have to twist what it originally was into to appeal to more people, you know? And that's kind of like they do that with a lot of video games. And I personally wish they wouldn't. I personally wish they would make it harder. I wish it was more hardcore. I wish getting started, because like, take DayZ. I think DayZ did it perfectly. In DayZ, you have to spend like 30 hours just to figure out how to survive and not die of sickness and how to get off of the beach. And then another 20, 30 hours just to figure out how to kill a guy with a gun. It takes like 10 hours just to figure out how to get the zombies not to kill you. You're 100 hours in before you're even a viable opponent. You know what I mean? In any way, really. And then if somebody has 10,000 hours and you have 100 hours, he's going to kill you 9 times out of 10, and there's nothing you can do about it.
If I have a pointy stick, I'm ready to take over the fucking world.
Yeah. But that's the way it should be. I want this game to feel like that. And like when a new guy joins, he should look to experienced players for help and learn how to fly. That's the way it used to work. People used to join the Discord all the time. We used to have dogfighting workshops and stuff like this is, you know, and I feel like to me that's a more engaging game to play in and not just another video game to play.
I am case in point in your whole thing you just said, because I ask hundreds of questions. I'm a new player.
Yeah. But so it kind of it's leaning from a very hardcore experience that it took a very unique kind of person to get really deep into, and they're turning it towards just a more mass appeal game. So instead of it being something super special, it's starting to become just another game. You know what I mean? It's pretty. The planets look beautiful. All the gravity wells and EVA and everything's amazing. But the actual act of playing the game is turning more into just another game now. So, like, that's why throughout this whole stream tonight, you've heard me be very cynical about a lot of things. And don't get me wrong, I love this game. I put tons of hours into it. I built a whole org on the thing. I get it. Like, I get why people love it. But I am a little concerned about where it's going. Doesn't mean I'm never going to stop playing, but that's kind of where I'm at, you know. They're openly promoting duping, you think? How do I feel about the in-game org system? Sabro, that's pretty complicated right now. I'll have to see how it works. I'd say
There's
my
a lot
feelings.
of things that we have to see how it works.
Yeah, pretty much everything, Sabro. We got to see how it works. I'm pretty, let's say, at this point, mixed feelings at best. Yeah, pretty mixed
Thank
feelings.
you, Rich. Hello, CitizenCon. How's it going?
Sorry for my rant over.
Awesome. So, yes, 1.0 is very
now.
exciting.
I'll pause in a
It's going to provide
second.
us probably our first real opportunity to finally inject a massive amount.
It's not just another game. It's not just another game. I hate it when people make that argument. Their entire goal is to make everything accessible to players, like keeping the high skill ceiling. Yeah, well, the high skill ceiling is gone because if you've flown before in the old flight model and you fly now, the flying is completely different. The skill thing is just not the same. I'm not saying that it's like every other game yet. I'm saying they're leaning towards that direction, right? I'm pretty sure that was my exact words. So yeah, of course it's not like every other game. That's why I'm sitting here watching this with you guys, and that's why I've spent thousands and thousands of hours on the Force Science org. You know,
Of narrative into the game.
What's up, Beach?
But we're looking to do that in several of ways. Now, Rich introduced the main story, so let's get into it. What exactly is that? First, it's a narrative experience. This will be a crafted story through the star systems.
All right. Okay, if your mate has a Polaris, you take his Polaris to Pyro. He marks it as stolen. You remove the dead man switch. You insure it. Your mate claims a new one. Now you both have a Polaris. Well, if that's the way it works, Jesus, then yes, that is definitely duping. Hey, listen, I say this every time a new patch comes out. They kill one version of duping and another version pops up. There will always be a version of duping, right? That's just the way Star Citizen works. We will hunt them and kill them as best we can, always. That's all I can say at this point.
And professions of the Star Citizen universe, taking players on an exciting
OMG, I
adventure
want to hear what you have to
kick
say.
off the growing tension between Earth
Removing
and
the
Terra.
dead man switch is not free.
Yeah. It will be NPC
It's
driven.
not free.
So while
Yeah.
Squadron 42 will always be the place to go for AAA cinematic adventure, we're bringing
Duping
a lot of
Ledge,
the
yeah.
techniques that we learned from that to capture and build a cast of dynamic characters, some of which may be familiar, for both this story and the PU. And the main story is also designed to be sort of like a tour bus structure where you can hop on and hop off at any time you want to. So we're not also requiring you to do it. So if you want to log in day one and just go off and do your thing, you can do that. Or maybe you want to put the story on hold so you can go explore a new facet of gameplay that you just discovered. Go for it. The point is that you can complete it at your own pace. So
you get
that's the
something
what.
for completing it?
So why do you want to do this? What's the motivation to want to go on this ride? Like Rich said, for new players, it's a great way to ease into sort of the vast lore that we've been developing over 12 years. The gameplay, the locations that the game has to offer, and also give you a sense of
I'm pretty much with you,
that are about to
Jesus,
come.
on that one.
But you've been playing Star Citizen for years. You probably know the lore better than me. So what's in it for you? Now, of course, we'll have rewards along the way as you complete missions and whatnot. But we're finally going to offer a big prize for completing the story. Citizenship.
There you go. There you go, Bob.
There you go. There's your citizenship, yeah.
Okay. It's a word.
So, many of you already know this, but for the uninitiated, in the UEE, there are citizens and there are civilians. Citizens are members of the population who have demonstrated a commitment to bettering the empire, and as such are given benefits that civilians just don't have.
Boo.
Now, what
Turned in lots of ore
those
at the
differences
prison.
have been debated in the community over years. 1.0, we're finally going to answer that debate. I won't get into the full list of benefits that we're going to offer, but can reveal that one of them will be around land ownership. Citizens will be able to purchase land anywhere in the UEE and enjoy the security that comes with it. But civilians will have a couple of restrictions as to which systems and which planets they can buy on. So that's the why. So where is this adventure going to take you? Well, 1.0 is going to include 5-star systems. This story is going to weave you through all of them, but where exactly are you going to go?
Wait, what do you say, 5 systems?
Yep.
Okay.
The
All right, that's
Pyro, Pyro, Nyx, Sestra, and Terra.
That's 4.
Terra. No, Stanton including.
And Stan, yeah, okay. Duh. Okay, that makes sense. I've always said they only need like 3 good systems and then flesh them out. So I guess 5. I mean, it's
Terra is the 5th one that they dropped in the 1.0.
We knew from the beginning when they said 100, they're like, you guys are out of your minds, you know. But yeah, 5 full systems that are full of stuff. Like, so I also think like a system like Stanton is probably like a third complete, right? Like if you could triple what Stanton has, the amount of locations, the amount of stuff to do, and then make 5 systems like that, and then make it so that each planet can support like, I don't know, 500. Each system can support like 500 players.
That was kind of what the tech was for.
Yeah, then you have a complete game right there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's what I think, but that's generalizing.
First, we've got Stanton, which needs
Third
very little
system only has
introduction.
2 planets, yeah.
I'm sure you're all very intimately familiar with these 4 corporate-run worlds. But since I do lore, I figure I could take the next hour and just walk
Peach,
through
I haven't
each
seen
one of
anything
these.
about that yet. I have no idea.
But, I'm kidding. We've also got Pyro, Land of the Lawless. A volatile star at the center of the system is the perfect metaphor for the constant struggle between the gangs and survivors trying to hack out an existence here. If you saw Ian's location presentation trying to hack out them, it also got 4 corporate-run worlds. But since I do lore, I figure I could take the next hour and just walk through each one of these. But I'm kidding. We've also got Pyro, Land of the Lawless.
So during our Pyro test, which planets did we not get to go to? Does anybody remember?
Nope.
This one looks familiar.
I think you got the Pyro planets, the Pyro one.
Yeah, and Terminus we couldn't. Yeah, Terminus was like way up here, I think, that we couldn't go to.
Yeah.
The one planet was really dope. It was like fire. I guess it was this one. It was like the sky was like on fire on the one.
Yeah.
And then if you watch our one Pyro video on the channel, you'll see when I'm jumping in, like, dude, it looks like a fucking hurricane under me. I don't, you know, there's a big circle of clouds, so I should go back. I want to see that again. That's cool.
Monox was the one where they fought the
worm.
Sandwormy.
Okay. I think that was in.
Looked like a fucking fart planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might have been the one that had the big circling thing. Yeah, I think we did play on this one, if I remember correctly. I forget.
volatile star at the center of the system is the perfect metaphor for the constant struggle between the gangs and survivors trying to hack out an existence here. If you saw Ian's location presentation yesterday, then you know that he reintroduced Nick's system.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, Peach, I guess.
That's
I
currently
mean,
home
how
to
will
the
it
People's
technically
Alliance,
work? I don't know, right?
a wannabe independent government.
My
formed
biggest
during
thing,
the
Peach,
Metro
with
era.
like any of these kind of things is like, I'm watching this just because it just came out, and I know like I want to see like the gist of it, but like I don't take anything literal when it comes to sitcom, especially, or just Star Citizen development in general. But any of that kind of stuff, I really have like a wait and see attitude, you know, like I just got to wait and see how it works, and then I'll complain about it later, you know, just like everybody else. Or I guess I'm alone on a lot of it, but.
But now struggling with the burdens of governance, a growing outlaw presence, and a new threat on
Delamar,
their
there she
doorstep
is.
from Vandal raids. Ian also made another big announcement of our fourth system, Castra. Situated along the former Perry line, this was a key strategic system to launch an attack.
Yeah, one is like controlled by military, and one is basically just their fucking target practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Castra planet is like, it's like hollow and uninhabitable, and it's not terraformed, so it's gonna be like an alien environment.
Yeah. I still want a system where there's no jump points or anything, and you have to quantum boost everywhere. Like I would love that. That'd be really cool.
And the Xi'an ever escalated. So that's 4. Do you guys want to know 5?
No, nobody wants to know about it.
It's the most vanilla system.
Yeah, everybody wants Terra, right? Terra's fucking home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Terra is like the new Earth stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So Terra, though, like they better put a lot of work into that. The cities that like that should be like really far. Like,
yeah.
New York City, get a rope.
We're finally doing it. Considered by many to be the new jewel of the Empire, Terra has been a shining star against the more imperialistic tendencies of Earth.
I'm not that
even in the
excited of
darkest
Terra.
days of the
I'm more
Messenger
excited of the Destra.
Now many believe
Moonshine.
that
Terra
should
looks
be
so
the
boring to me.
new
Straight
center
up
of the
Hawaii.
UEE. I don't know how you all feel.
Some people
about
like
that.
Hawaii, Moonshine.
Yeah, a lot of division.
Yeah.
But
The
that's our
aeroplane
starting
does
5.
look cool.
Each system and each planet will be
By the
featuring
way, if any of you guys are into like animation and stuff, Moonshine here does some really sick stop motion stuff. Go check his channel out.
the massive level of outposts.
Yeah, but
POI.
so for us, Hallinger, Terra's probably going to have the most security too. We do a lot of pirate gameplay, so we probably won't be there much.
Stations,
Nix
we'll
and
do it.
Pyro are
exploration options
awful.
that we've been perfecting with Stanton and Pyro.
Terra
and
is
you've
high
been seeing in
security
some
and
of
so
the
is
other
Stanton.
presentations this
Yeah.
weekend. But we're adding one more level. We're also going to be adding location stories. Now these will be short, NPC-driven missions sprinkled across our landing zones and cities that will exist outside of the main
jungles, yeah.
story, but will help provide an additional bit of lore and character to the location that they take place in. So, that's our main story. Let's talk more about the guilds that Rich mentioned. First, a quick recap. Guilds act as a governing body for clusters of professions and factions with a reputation and progression system that will offer rewards the more you work for them. And I want to call out two things. One, I'm not going to have time to dive into all of the missions that you're going to see on this board, but just know that every mission type is either in the 1.0 roadmap or already in production. And second, we're also looking to move missions away from the Moby Glass whenever possible. Sure, it will always be an easy way for us to get additional game content in, but we want you talking with people. So to aid that, we're going to be adding characters to represent the factions that you'll
Where
be
did
working
they show
for
that
will help sell their
Perseus
personality.
is going to be worked on?
Now, some, they'll still interact with you via the written word, but some will call and check in on your performance. And
Like you
others,
said,
you may
you're
have
not
to meet in person from time to time.
Yeah.
So, let's
Good
walk
point.
through them. Here we have the first guild that Rich showed, the United Resource Workers.
Yeah, there's
Whether
the,
you're eager to earn credits,
in general, that there is
mining
a
valuable
picture.
resources from remote corners of the universe, sifting through detritus to try and salvage some valuable components, or even just acting as a technician, you'll find plenty to do with employers like Shubin Interstellar, United Wayfarers Club, and more.
Yeah, I know. Nix would be fun.
Next, you have one of the oldest unions in the UEE, the Interstellar Transport Guild. This will be the go-to place for
Anybody else
everybody looking
into
to
this?
make their
I'm getting
fortune hauling and
bored.
trading. Some of the
You can basically
factions
skip
that many
to
of you already work for
forward
now,
just
such as Ling Family Hauling,
they
Red
explain how the systems work together.
Okay, tell me where to stop. Where is that?
Bit more forward.
More forward.
Yeah, I think maybe.
Let's see if we...
more.
There?
There,
That looks
yeah.
like it, yeah.
Okay, this is the insurance still,
Okay,
but
so
yeah,
we've talked about
it's
our
coming
two
after
core
this.
progressions, but what does that mean to you as a player? Well, firstly, it means we have a framework where we can start creating cyclical gameplay loops.
Yeah, this
but
is
what are they?
how things work
Let me show
together.
you. Okay, so right now in live, if you have a prospector, you probably enjoy mining. And the reward for mining is credits and the
I
enjoyment
like
of
the
the
Pyro
activity.
has the most planets, you know?
But in 1.0,
What's up, Julian?
you might be mining for
Welcome,
a
welcome.
whole different reason. And this is where cyclical gameplay loops come in. Firstly, let's add all the manufacturers and ships in. I'll just give you a moment to take that in, because there's a lot. I actually had to ask
By
them
the
to
way,
take the variants out.
so we tried to do, I don't know how many of you guys remember, we tried to do our one of every ship meet,
remember
which
that.
failed horribly.
Servers crashed.
Well, the ships kept disappearing too. Like,
Yeah,
if somebody wasn't sitting in the seat, so basically we need like 150 people to get together on a server, or whatever. I don't know, something else.
Maybe with server machine.
But we even had an Idris show up, right? We even had the guy go steal the Idris and bring it so that we could even have the
Yeah.
Idris in the one of every ship meet, and Estelle fell apart. I was so fucking pissed. But server meshing and base building so we could do it under a dome. I mean, maybe that'll be our time to actually pull it off, because I've never seen anybody do it. I've never seen it in one spot before where every single ship is out somewhere, parked somewhere, so.
Out because it didn't fit on this slide.
Fat fingers.
And let's
how?
zoom all the way into the prospector, a stalwart of the mining community. But let's say I really fancy acquiring a military Mark II Hornet. Let's go on a simplified journey of how I could get one. Firstly, I know I won't be able to buy it, as it's a military ship, so I'm going to need to craft it. That means I will need the fabrication hangar blueprint.
Or steal it.
Luckily, I can earn it by doing mining missions to gain rep with the United
Yeah,
Resource
steal
Workers.
everything. Rob, steal.
And I already have the perfect ship.
I love how they
my
don't
trusted
like flesh
prospector.
out any of that. Like, you have to figure that part
With
out, you
blueprint
know?
in hand and some excess credits, I can now purchase a small plot of land on Stanton and build
I'm sure
my
they already know
fabrication
people are
hangar.
just going to do like
Step one,
fucking
complete.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're going to figure out ways.
Now
you
I
know.
need to grab the Mark
So
II
like,
Hornet blueprint.
that's the thing that's
For
funny
this,
too, that I like when CIG did that description of Force Science in their org showcase. They really hit the nail on the head, and they know that groups like us are going to like really tinker all this shit, and we're going to figure out the weirdest ways to just steal shit and rob, and we're going to find shortcuts to everything they're showing here. If any exist, we will get them, you know. So
I need mercenary
that's why I
rep.
think like all these
And more
trees and
importantly,
like you
a
got to do
combat
this
ship.
and then go to here and then get that done and
With
then,
that in
then
mind,
you can get this.
I will do a
like,
few more
nah,
mining
you know,
contracts to earn
we'll
enough
see.
credits to purchase
Brian.
a Mustang from the dealership. Now I can start doing combat pilot missions for the Mercenary Guild, so I can unlock the Mark II Hornet blueprint. Okay, step 2 of our simplified loop is complete. I have the Mark II blueprint, but I need the resources to craft it. So I come full circle back to my prospector, but this time I'm mining for resources instead. As you can see, this closes the loop. No longer am I mining.
I can't see any player doing all of this to get a ship.
Yeah.
I do see like player trading becoming way bigger.
Yeah, and I see a lot of orgs like dedicated
this is
people to do
for the military
specific
Hornet.
things. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just
That's
the
just
Hornet.
to get one ship. Yeah.
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 But like you
You
could
know,
always go
The
like
Hornet that you can't buy.
somebody in your org could say I really want an F7A, or the org leadership can say we need you to have an F7A, and then
Right.
we could go okay now then we put the gears in motion to get it built for him and he has to pay for it. Or there's so many ways you can go about it. You
Only
know?
one of us needs the blueprint to
Right.
us be
Yeah.
able to craft it.
Yeah, it's kind of like the building ships. Like we don't all need the building ships. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Right.
Everybody wants to own like a fucking Pioneer. We don't all
I
need
don't.
Pioneers, guys. You know.
Mining just
I
because I
don't
like
want
it.
one.
We
and
can
there's
build a
nothing wrong with
fucking
that.
Pioneer.
Yeah.
But now I am mining for a purpose and for multiple reasons. for credits, for reputation, for resources, for blueprints.
Yeah, cargo's almost done, yeah.
And ultimately,
yeah, a lot of it
as a
is fleshed
stepping
out.
stone to crafting my own ships to enjoy other professions. And this is just one of many loops. This is the core of Star System.
See the blades down there? We can craft the blade.
Yep.
I see a Banning Merchant Man down there. You can craft a Banning Merchant Man.
Jesus, you killed me, man.
Player set goals that weave between sandbox gameplay and
This
the
dude
soft
looks like
framework
somebody.
we're
Who's this
adding.
dude look
Set
like?
goals that we
He really looks like somebody.
He looks like Mark Cuban's younger and lesser well-known brother.
Mark Cuban, yeah. John
about,
Malkovich.
Who's the guy that played Hannibal Lecter?
Oh, fucking, what's his name?
I know who you're talking
Anthony
about.
Hopkins?
Anthony Hopkins.
He looks like the British dude.
He does look like a British dude, yeah.
He looks very generic. He
player
looks like
set
every
goals
British dude
that
ever.
weave between
Tarantino, that's
gameplay
it. Tarantino,
and the
Marvin.
soft framework
Tarantino,
we're
that's who he
adding.
looks like.
British Tarantino.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
thank you, chat.
To our
Marvin, you're the man.
professions and
It was
features.
killing me, dude.
It's
Wait for him to
providing
come
the
back up.
framework for
Let's wish
motivation
Tarantino then.
to play the
We got
game.
Wish Musk and Wish Tarantino.
It
That's
was
the
killing
journey,
me
though.
trying to figure out who he
What
looked
about the
like.
destination?
Thank you, Marvin. You saved
All
me.
right.
So Dave is
All
a
night
star
long.
of
I would have been in
Citizenship
bed at
and
like
the
1
main
in the
story.
morning going,
So
fucking
let's park that for
Tarantino.
now.
Sabans, how do you feel now that you know?
DM hitting up everyone.
The content that is
Tarantino.
designed for experienced
Sabans, how do you
and
feel
keeps
knowing
them
that you
engaged.
are working for your
Basically everyone in
citizenship?
this room.
I'm working for my citizenship? Nah. You guys could do it.
Yeah, we're working for
So
ourselves.
how does that look in one
I'm going to be
bit?
working in real life and playing for fun in my free time. That's what I'm doing.
Oh. Firstly, we'll have open world content, including missions, group missions, and server-wide events, like we have today, but tailored to endgame players. While the sandbox element of Star Citizen will allow for large-scale battles, we also want to provide challenging instanced content that will take full advantage of not only multi-crew ships,
Fucking
but
Tarantino.
fleets of ships.
Nailed it.
And you kind of know how we do that, right? You saw that
Please
yesterday.
no more Xeno threat.
And as you progress through the guilds, you'll be able to accept high
Is the last thing they say a permanent jump town always?
level contracts from government
That'd be sick.
agencies who will
Be
offer
luck cool if they
prototype
did.
and military
We
blueprints
killed.
as
We
rewards.
Well,
we
kind of.
injured
These
someone at
missions
Jumptown
will
today.
require the full
Yeah, they
coordination.
kind of have like the with the satellite system in Pyro, for example. If the like Orc wants to get the planetary seals for their stuff, they have to like get 3 fucking satellites
Mm-hmm.
from
Well, that'll
different
be a
parts of
constant
systems
battle.
and use tokens. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Of
tokens
multiple
reset
players.
like every week.
And an assorted
Yeah, I'm
fleet
gonna be
of
such a
capital,
pest.
support, and fighter ships. You will finally be able to become the admiral of the fleet, directing your armada from your hologlobe, which, yes, is a feature included in 1.0.
Jeez, guys. I'd be all clapped out at this point. I'd be like,
Right, like that dude's not even clapping, just
We
touching
will
his
also
arm.
be offering
Yeah.
more
He's
specialized
burnt
on-foot
out.
missions that see you enter the depths of distribution centers and municipal works in small, tight-knit squads that provide an outlet for our more FPS-focused players. On top of all this will sit a dynamic layer powered by StarSim. While StarSim will be the driving force in our dynamic economy, it will also track player and AI activity and dynamically spawn events based on their actions. For example, if it tracks large amounts of resources being moved from one home location to another, it will have a chance to spawn
oh yeah,
pirates. to
labs. It was
intercept.
under crafting for the unlawful side.
All this combined will provide just a
can
portion
do
of the
drug
endgame
labs.
experience.
Yeah.
And I'd love to delve deeper, but
Star
that's for
Week,
another day, as we still have a lot to show.
Star
So we've
Trek.
discussed non-combat professions
Star
and
Cocaine.
Tarantino.
Star Myth.
gameplay loops and endgame PvE content.
Or Jesse, we need to
But what
start
about
cook.
PvP? What about player versus player content?
Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
Fuck.
As you know,
What are we,
Real quick,
14
I just
hours
want
in?
I was gonna just add it up real quick. Okay, so that was 9, almost 10 hours in the last video, 3.5, so 4. Yeah, we're about 13 hours in, and they happen to mention PvP. Here we go, guys.
Yeah,
That's the
and,
game.
and the last
will
fucking
contain
52
5-star
minutes.
systems. 3 of these being lawful in Stanton, Castra, and Terra, and 2 of them being unlawful in Pyro and Nyx. So what's the difference? Let's take a look at Stanton. Lawful systems will be a mixture of high,
Grimhex is great.
medium, and low security areas. Each of these areas will be monitored by law enforcement agencies. And depending on the location, would dictate the emergency response time, with high-sec areas being the fastest. Initially, this response will be measured, but over time will escalate to overwhelming force. This means if someone is attacked, if they can just hold out for a short duration, help will be on the way. Pirates will be able to disrupt this monitoring by shutting down the nearby comm arrays, but this will be highlighted in your star map, with dynamic missions being generated to bring it back online.
We already have
but this is the PvP you already know and experience right now, just without security forces. But before we jump into an unlawful system,
so at some point there's going to be security forces coming for us when we attack
if you
people.
pirate a ship. Okay, so first up, let's discuss ownership. All ships and high-value items that you own will automatically be assigned to you. This means if someone steals your ship, you can mark it as stolen, either via an insurance claim or in your Moby. This will then trigger a dead man switch on the stolen ship, meaning it will cease to function after a period of time. But what options does this leave as a pirate? Well, you can still salvage it. You can tow it back to your fabrication hangar to dismantle it for resources. Or, if you have a high enough rep with the council, our criminal guild, you can get the dead man switch disabled and pay for a new title deed to become its new owner.
Yeah, and you can align with the criminal guild, so you don't fuck anything up.
So that could be one of our many guilds we align with. Oh no, I'm thinking org.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and not only that, but people that duping some money IRL are assholes already.
So, all right, I guess that's cool because it's more than we can do with ships now. Like, we can steal them and fly them around now, but it's still worthless. You know what I mean? Who cares if you can fly it around?
Yeah.
But we can still blow them up and take everything that's inside them.
Parts and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we can still take all the loot inside. So it's the same.
Yeah. And if we have a kind of rep, we can pay to get the fucking deed to us. So it's our ships then.
Also, if you're in a lawful system, you'll need to find a transient jump tunnel, as all major locations and POIs will have custom security that will scan you on arrival.
That sounded homophobic.
Okay, so with that out of the way, let's look at the unlawful system in Pyro.
Thank you.
Unlawful systems have no laws at all, and with that comes opportunity. Pyro, as an example, has an abundance of high-quality resources and is a hotbed of criminal activity.
Here's the thing I think that most people don't really kind of understand about PvP, too. Okay, there's two systems that are unlawful. It doesn't matter what you do there. But, like, guys that are pirates or on the bad side of the law, we don't care if there's a lawful system in place or not.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter, you know what I mean? So, like, I get it that you can go here and do it without any problem. So this just means players that normally stay on the right side of the law can come here and do more legally type bullshit. But for us, it's still the same everywhere, you know? What's up, James?
Of high risk, high reward.
James, you missed it. We watched 14 hours of content without
now
you.
requiring resources, you're going to
well, in the Pirate system, we just don't have to deal with fucking NPCs harassing us.
Yeah.
Right.
This is where base raiding
I mean,
will
maybe
become
one
a
day
new
they will.
form of PvP.
Yeah.
And it's founded on a combined arms ethos. Defending
here
players
we
will
go,
be able
base
to add
raiding.
defenses such as walls, automated turrets, and most importantly, ground shields. A localized version of the planetary shields used in lawful systems that absorb the most powerful of weaponry. No longer can you just turn up and drop a Moab.
At least they thought about that.
Yeah. One huge difference, though, compared to planetary shields, is that these shields can be disabled. You will have to strategically assess each base and punch your way through its defenses on foot to eventually bring down the shield generator.
That's our strong point, dude.
Once the shield is
We're gonna fuck
down,
these people up.
then you have options.
Thanks, baby.
You want to raise it to the ground, you can bomb it from the air.
Friendly railgun
If you want to
incoming.
extract all the resources, though, you'll need to infiltrate the base using
No more of
explosive
this
charges and hacking
one-click
or
I win
fighting off
buttons with the
defenders.
A2s.
Yeah. No more
Now,
flipping the Monopoly
both
board.
piracy and base raiding is founded on sandbox gameplay. And again, that's the essence of Star Citizen.
That's what I've been saying.
But we want to add more. Something where you can log on
it's gonna be
and
fun.
immediately find the action and fight for a purpose. So first up, let's go on a history lesson. In the early 2600s, there was a fledgling corporation called SEAL that had developed a new system-wide planetary shield technology. The same technology that will provide protection for your bases today. To prove this tech, they wanted to use Nyx and Pyro systems as a testbed.
On the emblem.
With the promise of high-quality resources,
Balancing a ball
SEAL
with his nose.
lured independent miners to man the shield network in exchange for shield protection for their settlements. As a prototype, SEAL couldn't provide total coverage over all the mining settlements, and so they created the SEAL Tokens program, allowing the most industrious factions to purchase shield coverage for their work. The network consisted of multiple linked bases on the ground that then linked to several stations in orbit around each planet that then connected to the nearest relay in the shield network, which eventually linked back to the shield core, which oversaw system-wide distribution of the shield technology.
Seems complicated.
Factions could then earn SEAL tokens for working on any part of the network.
It's basically just if Org wants to control the system or the planets, they need
They could then use these tokens to buy shield coverage.
Tokens, yeah.
But with the
relays and
cost
cores and
a
among
massive
factions
org
being
can
so
take over the
intense,
whole planet, is what they're saying.
SEAL was only able to
but
offer
they need
shielding
to fight
to
for
the
it, like
hardest
really
workers.
fucking fight for it.
Unfortunately, due to outlaw interference,
Yeah, but who's
SEAL
going to fight
eventually
a
pulled out
10,000
of
man
Pyro
org?
and
Like, you know what I
Nyx
mean?
and pushed for a more automated
Everyone.
solution.
We'll never have 10,000 people on the server.
Oh, we don't,
So
but
fast
there's other
forward to
people on the
present
server.
Yeah.
Without SEAL's
No, I
backing,
mean, but
And a lot
they
of
had to
people
pull
going
out
just to look
and
for
leave it as it is.
PvP in the
But Bonds, the thing is
to
they have to get
social
all of
warfare.
that, but when we get to their ground bases, all we have to do is disrupt their ground base one.
Yeah.
You see where that little satellite is on like or that one planet there where it connects to the planet? All we gotta do is gotta take out that
This relay here.
planet
Yeah.
is fun.
Yeah.
Or we could just go straight to the core, right?
Yeah, you take out the shield core.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, like everything, we got to see how it actually
it's
works.
strategery, yeah.
But I always think of like big orgs, right? So if we have a 10, 15-man party and somebody else has 300 people on a server, like the way the game works now, there's nothing you could do. It just is what it is, you know? We are pretty sneaky, and we have taken out way larger groups than us, so
Yeah.
it could be fun.
Yeah. And it's a whole ass
With
planet.
the SEAL network
you know?
still in place, but
We're
lacking
gonna go
resources,
guerrilla
how they gonna
warfare.
cover it? So the
orgs
whole
can
ass
take ownership
planet.
of these structures
Yeah.
to gain access to planetary shield tech, which, as you know, would make their bases invulnerable.
So let's go.
Unfortunately,
Chill out, buddy.
there's a catch. There isn't enough to go around. And as in the good old SEAL days, the system still works via the SEAL token program. To earn tokens, you'll have to
Kiss from
assault a
a rose.
location and then deposit resources to power the network.
SEAL program.
This begins with
When
ground
exactly
bases
when he
and
said SEAL,
ends
that's
at
what
the
I thought
shield
of.
core. Each structure occupied will then accrue SEAL tokens over time, with larger structures earning more, and at the end of each week, you must then use these tokens to purchase shield protection. With shield coverage being limited, though, the system
So
automatically
this is where
selects
these are the parts here where we end up teaming up with people like ReeferNet, and we go, we're dropping the shields on this fucking place. Let's
Right.
go. We can hate each other later, you know.
the orgs
Right.
with the
Set
highest
aside our
bid
differences
from
for
across
4
the
hours
That's
of
what we did
gameplay.
in Ark, when the Ark was still a new game.
Meaning for
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
week only,
Yeah, James.
Because one
certain
fucking
If ever.
rewards will
asshole
gain
tried
access
out.
to shield protection.
That's the thing, James. I look at all this shit like an
So this
outline,
is a
you know.
chance for
Maybe
your
one
org
day
to
we'll
become
see
the
this,
de
you know.
facto leader of a system.
Yeah, this is like the
It
long-term
means you'll be able to
goals,
log
the
on
1.0
and
goals.
immediately find the action and fight for your org. And finally, it's not just sandbox PvP or ganking. You are fighting for a purpose. So once you've won your bid, what then?
Songbird, thanks
to
for
talk
the
more about
sub, man.
that, I'd like to welcome Ian Leyland, Star Citizen's creative director, to the stage. Good luck.
Thank you. All right, hello, CitizenCon. Thank you, Rich.
We're
Thank you,
Henry
Dave.
Cavill.
So, to continue the conversation of large-scale endgame org activities, let's go back to Pyro 3, where the ground bases were being built earlier today. This morning we saw the small habitat being built by Luke.
Oh, see, I knew it was on Pyro.
And then we saw Deck start to expand the base into a commercial enterprise.
He said it was on Pyro.
But eventually, we saw a massive example of an org base. But with everything Rich was talking about,
James, we hopped around and watched like most of the important stuff tonight.
We want to give
you can go back and watch a stream. We didn't obviously watch 13 hours, though. If you want to watch a stream, you can get a good gist of most of it.
The thing we need to protect. And to do that, let's look up into the sky and see what it is.
Space station.
Yep.
Obviously.
Obviously.
It's not going to be a space whale.
Damn it. It'd be a lot cooler if it was.
Who the fuck is breathing in my ear?
It's the guy with the mic. He does this for the next couple minutes. I hope you like it.
A lot of like the devs were really fucking nervous when they were doing this.
What was that?
That's going to be the new quantum.
Yeah.
Did it disappear though? Did you see that? Like it appeared.
Or quantum boosting.
Yeah, quantum boost. He opened a little hole and flew through it. They should have cut his mic, yeah? Does his nose whistle? Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait. That's the space station?
Yeah, that's the core of the space station. You're gonna like build like fucking extensions from it, like modular system.
So it's modular just like the stations we have now, pretty much.
Yeah, and you can link multiple stations together.
Cool. Can you move it, though?
We don't know that.
No idea.
Moby Dick gameplay inside a space whale moonshine? That'd be awesome. You live inside of it.
Baby.
Yeah, live inside of it.
The fucking...
They're really pushing the fucking Valkyrie aspect in this Star Citizen, or this Citizen Con. Lots of Valkyrie gameplay.
This is...
So by the looks of it, it has a...
Okay.
By the looks of it, it has a deck, so it more than likely is going to move.
To me, it looks like it has a bridge, right? Yeah, it's got like an 890 bridge almost. So to me, screw base building, I don't care. This is dope.
I think you have to have a base to get the stuff to make this.
Okay, but then we'll just delete the base after it. This is dope.
Yeah, we need just to build a pioneer to build this.
I can live in a forest in any video game ever. You know,
Yeah,
I want to live in orbit.
The flight deck on the fucking stations, that's fucking cool. Like it's like a pass-through hangar basically without the doors.
Yeah, push this up. Now, imagine raiding this. This is cool.
Yeah.
So the only thing I hope, so it looks like an Idris entrance right there. I do hope that it's not just full of hallways like the Idris. You know what I mean? Like I was so into the Idris until I actually walked around.
They show the interiors.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, and they even show like a raid on the fucking space station.
Buns, have you ever played or watched Warframe?
I played a little bit. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of their station building, where like you can make your hallways and then you add rooms on inside.
Yeah.
Like you make your own interior.
Well, like, do you guys remember the freighters in No Man's Sky? I don't know how it works now, but in the freighters in No Man's Sky, it was basically like you'd go inside your freighter, and then there was like an area where you'd build your base inside the freighter, or whatever the ship was called, your capital ship. And it was basically a solid block, and you would dig out into it to make rooms. It was really kind of cool, you know?
And you can, like, instead of going in elevators to the fucking modular wings, there are, like, literal long hallways that you use the fucking PTV or a ground vehicle to, like, travel through in your space station.
Oh, yeah, I want to see the interior. Yeah, as long as it's not full of hallways like the Idris. Idris's interior ruined it for me. I don't even like that ship anymore. It looks like a ship, kind of.
We're clapping. Although the golf clap down there.
Let me introduce you to player space stations. Finally, you can build your home amongst the stars. This will be the starting point for your base of operations, for system-wide org activities. But why is this an end goal? Well, first of all, to construct your own space station, it's going to require vast quantities of resources and materials, and also will be a large time investment. But how do we start? Well, it all starts with the supply bay. And the supply bay can only be constructed by the pioneer.
Woo! Woo!
Only rich people, let's go!
Once it's created, the supply bay then handles the creation of the station itself. Now, we're in grey box development phase, so the artwork's not final, but let's go on a journey and start building our space base.
Oh, this is dope.
Yeah, like I remember you said like you wanted us to have like old space station.
We would see a lot of the shit they're showing. We've talked about in the last month, right? Remember, like it was like less than a month ago. We were talking about base building, and I kept saying, "Fuck base building. We need space stations," you know.
Yeah.
But the fact that I guess it makes sense, you would need to maintain a base thing just to maintain this, which is like you get to a point where you start to need a huge org, you know, where like lots of orgs out there are 5 people. Like I'd say the majority of orgs in Star Citizen are like 5 or 6 people. How are they going to do all this?
Less than 10. Yeah.
And
So unless they give you smaller ones, maybe small space stations.
You need a space station because you can have a dry dock at your space station to build the fucking capital ships.
To build the capital ships, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I guess you have jump points from here, and then yeah. All right, let's just watch this. Yeah, right. Imagine popping one of these. That'd be dope. Pop the whole station. I'm sure it's got a hole you can fly right in and shoot the inside.
You turned off your targeting computer, Red 5. Something wrong.
Yeah, that was the joke that I made when we were watching this. I said, like, we need the protection against one angry space wizard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean, Sad, bro. Like, most people won't get to do this. Like, that's kind of lame.
Well, they should make friends.
Yeah.
And those fucking drones, those look exactly like the Roombas in Warframe.
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
A lot of stuff in this game looks like stuff from other things.
Yeah, and those are the like the new cargo grids for like the Halsey and stuff like that. Like outside cargo elevators, basically. In space cargo elevators.
Right here is where we would want to catch them when they're in this stage,
Yep.
you know? We just pull in like a fleet and wreck them all. Pop that Halsey. Look at all that loot. Nom 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 nom. Yummy,
You
yummy.
had to have a whole sea to get it.
I want to know what the defenses are on this ship. Like, not the MISC.
Oh, it's orbiting.
Station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dope. It's fucking orbiting. No shit. That's cool, dude. If it really orbits like that while you're building it. Okay, that doesn't make sense, though. Okay, this makes no sense. So how are the ships flying up and turning around if they're orbiting, but ships don't orbit? Like that?
They just getting the same speed as the station is orbiting. We do that with our spaceships now.
Yeah, I know they're spaceships now, but that's not the way the game works. This is like, I don't see how this is... I mean, obviously it's just a whatever. Who cares? Why am I complaining about this right now?
Right.
Why are you complaining about the physics when it's cool?
That's the part where I was going too far and one of you guys was supposed to tell me.
Fuck you.
We were just happy that you were enjoying something in this fucking presentation for once.
Yeah.
So as you saw, the cargo grid
Yeah,
of the
planet's rotating,
supply
yeah.
bay consumes resources. And the required resources will be substantial and will need to be topped up over time. So this means orgs will be encouraged to have efficient logistic networks to feed the supply bay. And as Rich outlined with professions, it's ideal if your org is well-rounded in terms of roles. Even the starter player can contribute. The supply bay has automated construction zones, which are used to create the station. And unlike ground bases, many drones are used at once to create the base. Once the station is built, the supply bay then integrates into the station itself.
I hope they're not all the same.
So here we are. We've built our core station module.
Like, I hope you could build variations or something.
I think they talked
And
about
out of the
different
box,
styles.
The
at
station
some
comes
point.
readily built with some core functionality. Let me talk you through it.
I want a Drake station.
Right on the top is the bridge, which is the command deck.
Held together by
This
spirit
is
and
where
duct
all
tape.
further
You're gonna
construction
need a lot of duct
is going
tape.
to be managed. From here, we can then monitor the status of the entire station. We have access to power and water management. Power and cooling is something you'll need to consider carefully. It also is an area to set permissions for who can enter particular areas, either divided by the ranks of the org itself or open to the public. And there'll be a radar station to track the activity outside the base. And the
I'm willing to
terminals
bet
to
Bones,
access
that
logs
when
of
this
who has
first comes
visited
out, the stations
station
will pretty much all be
and
the
see
same
what
and
they
they'll
did.
branch out.
So let's jump back in
style-wise.
game and take a stroll through our bridge.
What happens if you totally let your station go to shit? Will it fall apart? Will it blow up? Can you lose the whole station? Imagine that. That'd be wild.
Well, they
Let it
said
fall-
the
let it
resources
fall
will
out
have
of
to be
orbit.
topped up occasionally.
Yeah.
Let it fall out of orbit and fucking cause an extinction level event on the planet.
Yeah,
Drop a
right.
station on someone's base.
If there's a way,
The
we will
ult-
find it.
The ultimate fuck you.
Fuck your couch.
Glad they chose the arrow view hanger.
There's roll.
Look at those fucking mutton chops.
I resemble that remark.
Dog.
Not really.
Wide open.
Dog's like attacking me with his rope.
I like how they
Slow down,
like
Turbo.
the Star Trek. I like the fact that they have the Star Trek aesthetic of like yellow shirts and blue shirts. And I haven't seen a red shirt yet.
I ain't even mad at him for it. It worked.
Here's Chris Roberts.
Yeah, Jesus, imagine that. Dropping that thing with all that stuff in it.
The Lord Pinata.
Can we find derelict space stations like rewards?
The ultimate Lord Pinata.
You can derelict my balls.
And again, we could have org events inside. Can we shoot inside? Like, can we set permissions, I guess, to shoot? Who can shoot inside and who can't?
Yeah, execute everyone who's not high enough rank.
What are we, commissars? Guardsman,
Yeah.
what is your rank? Private first class, sir.
Jesus, that's how Chinese groups do it in like everything. Whatever game it is, like if they have a tribe in Ark or if they're an Oregon Star Citizen, they always do it like that. Yeah, they take their video gaming very seriously.
Yeah, but Chinese are
Super
so
awesome.
easy to freaking
The back
rough
of
up,
the
though.
bridge.
Yeah, they're
leads
always
to a
bad at the game. They
centralized
always win
control
by
Yeah, they're
numbers.
terrible at
This
the game.
spine
I don't know
physically
how many
connects
freaking
the
Chinese servers
entire
I went on
station
in Ark and just
and will provide
ruined.
access to
Okay, so they showed the
various
bridge,
decks.
basically.
Each
Yeah.
level in the station will have a centralized lobby area, and this is your station.
The
You'll
Chinese
be able
orc
to use the
attacked me
decorator mode,
Tra-
so you'll
Ark
have plenty of
because
space
I killed
to
one of
theme
their
it however you want.
girlfriends, dinosaurs.
And speaking of having plenty of space, this space station will have a one-to-one interior layout matching the exterior. No magic elevators.
No
that's
magic
cool.
elevators. It's only going to take to 1.0 to get that.
So you can
China nut
circumnavigate
number one.
around the entire perimeter, and it's wonderful.
Just wait till you
Okay,
see
let's
this
jump back in.
observation deck, though, Bonds.
Oh, okay, they're showing us more. There's a med runner right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that was a little Easter egg they put in.
Yeah. He doesn't have the white.
Look, they got people
backpack,
doing
though.
yoga.
Med runners have to have the white backpack, I think. Though.
He may be off duty.
Yeah, Jesus. No magic elevators, only stairs everywhere. No elevators at all.
You bring the
But look at this observation deck, Bonds. This whole big
I'm
ass
flying
ring.
my pulse everywhere in there.
Oh yeah, dude. We're having PTV
My hand
races.
is
Little race, yeah.
Well, look, yeah, see, that guy had to jump. Yeah, the guy had to jump out of the way.
Fucking Mario Kart for real, right in that station.
Okay,
You're gonna
this
race
is
around and pick the fucking pulse.
that's totally dope.
Alright.
I love it. I don't believe it though. I'm having a hard time believing that.
This just makes me think 1.0 is not coming for about
As you can
18
see,
years.
right at the bottom of the central
Yeah,
transit
that's
system
amazing.
leads to the
I
lower
don't believe it.
That is, I know,
This
it's
is where you'll
gorgeous.
gain access to the engineering deck. So, like bigger ships, this is
Pretty sure I
where
fought a
the
necromorph in there in
hands-on
Dead Space.
engineering and maintenance gameplay happens. This will serve as the beating heart.
When are we
of
gonna
your
get
station.
that, Bonds? When are we getting
Then
like
we have the hangar
alien
deck.
infections?
And as the
and
name
shit?
implies,
I want to know where we
this
can
is
get
where you'll gain
stuff that can
access
stow away on
to
our
your
ship and attack
hangar
us while
network.
we're flying. You know.
The base station
We're trying to do an 890 video. Hey, Bonds,
along with
found a
two
fucking
docking
egg.
Yeah.
And also empty slots.
I'm gonna put my
for another
face near
two
it.
medium hangars when needed.
All right, we're almost done here.
There'll be a vast network of internal road systems, meaning
Yeah,
you can
see, all
quickly
these make
drive
them
from
enough.
one hangar to the other.
It's,
with no
it's
elevators
roads
needed.
instead of elevators.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's check back in.
Yep, pulse.
Look at my Polaris down there. My big Dorito.
That's the Star Lancer.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
there's
is.
the new Starlancer. That's a Starlancer attack.
Yeah.
Look at the side guns.
Girl got a big old butt. Oh yes.
Fat bottom girls.
That's my big ship.
James, I don't think I'll even be playing video games in 15 years, man. In 15 years, I'll be 56 years old. I will not be around playing this game.
You say that like you mean
Bonds will
it.
be geriatric and, you know,
50
death
years
from all the
you will,
drumming.
you will be as old as Dubbies in 6 years.
No, I know that. It's not an age thing. It's the amount of years playing the game, though. That'd be 21 years of playing, 22 years of playing. I cannot see myself sitting in front of a computer playing one game for that long. I don't care how amazing it gets. And
It's not like it's the
listen,
only game you play.
here's the other thing. Picture gaming as a whole right now, right? Imagine where gaming could possibly be in another 15 years. What other insane games are going to be out? GTA 6 is about to come out. All of us are probably going to have our minds blown by that. Imagine
15 years we're gonna have people just playing fucking porn games. Most immersive fucking porn games they can find.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you double the amount of development time that's got us to here with Star Citizen, you double that, the gaming could be, who knows if we're going to even care about this anymore. This is
Yeah,
not
Star
there-
Citizen 2 might be out by then.
Yeah. There's no reason to believe that this is going to be the cutting edge of gaming at that point, you know. At that
Right.
point, they're going to be like, Star Engine
All
is
right.
shot. We need to get
So
rid of this
your
whole
station
thing.
hangar will offer some enhanced logistics.
Imagine in VR, I'd probably throw up
For
playing this game in
example,
VR.
there'll be spaces for several freight elevators.
Especially when it starts bugging.
And there'll be
They said
empty
that they-
modules
they
for open
have
ship
VR.
parking for vehicles.
Yeah.
and
They
ships-
have been
vehicles
working
and
on it
vehicles.
like a lot of the systems
And
are
there'll
made
be
like
also
VR
exit
compatible.
Listen,
We can
I would like to
simply
just
drive out
like I won't want to
into
do
your
like
station.
combat and shit in the VR. I want to explore my ships in VR.
Then there'll be also
Yeah,
an
I'd walk
upper
around the
level
ship and check it
for the
out, but I
observation
think the
deck.
game is just too buggy for a VR game.
From the
It's
observation
not
deck,
possible
you'll
right
have a
now,
control
or
room,
anytime
and
in the
from
near future.
here you'll have master control.
Like the whole thing for
over
VR
the
to work
freight
good is you need a
elevators and
really
the
smooth
vehicle
experience for it to be even playable.
This
you know?
means that even before someone
Well,
has
sure,
landed,
Barf.
the new cargo
yeah,
can be
exactly.
up into the hangar and ready to be loaded
Are
up.
they going to give us NPCs
Now,
for stations?
Everything we've spoken about.
I mean, we
so
can hire
far
NPC for
is what
crews eventually, so I would assume
comes
so.
with your station. Let's talk about what you can do.
Otherwise, these stations are going to feel pretty empty, huh?
Yeah.
So this is all the space
As I
that we get
mentioned
for
before,
expanding
the station
rooms.
comes with a predetermined
Interior
interior
rooms,
network
yeah.
of corridors and roads. And in this network, you'll find an
Makes
array
me
of
wonder
bulkhead
how many
connectors.
rooms could you possibly need.
Bulkhead connectors
A lot.
will come in tiers 1 to
what?
3, which drives the size of
For
room
stuff.
you're able to
Oh,
build.
okay.
Crafting
In
rooms,
the
habitation
interior build
rooms.
mode, this is
We
where
need
you
railguns.
start to expand.
We need
the
room for
interior of your
railguns.
station.
Yeah, you need the room to throw.
Railgun storage.
Rooms will require
You need the room to throw me in so I can be.
Right, that's got to be at the heart of the fucking station right there.
Hold on, I gotta take a screenshot of that now so I can make a thing with a bunch of boxes that say railgun storage.
Yeah.
Bonds, you need to have the
Hold
room
on,
that you
but-
can throw me
but
in.
I'm
So when the
live, you gotta
door
give me a
creaks
second.
open and the light the light hits my eyes for the first time in 10 years that you've kept me in there. I hiss you, go, what does you want? And you just go, I need more railguns. I go,
yeah.
I need some railguns and another pair of Stitcher
In the
pants.
interior build mode, this is where you start to
What the
expand
railgun?
the interior of your station. The rooms will require resource and time to construct, and once built, you can rename each room, which will be reflected in the station's
Like the
minimap.
hamster wheel thing that you can see in the back there.
The interior of your station will have ample areas for you to expand.
I think Eve has been going
You
even
can
longer than
build
that. Eve's been like
generic
20-something
empty
years now.
rooms,
Yeah,
and you can
Eve's
fill with
been
items
around
to your
a
heart's
long
content.
time.
Yeah.
You can also build specialist rooms,
Yeah,
where
Brig
the
would be
theme
dope.
and functionality is already set for you, such as
So we
mess
can
halls
catch
or infirmaries,
Griffin it
or
by
generator
dragging
rooms.
them and taking them to jail.
And of course, there are shops.
You better
So
believe they're
similar
going to do
the
that to you.
small shops we built around the ground base.
Yeah,
this
instead
is
of
on
taking you
a
to jail
much
in the
bigger
bounty
scale.
hunting 2.0, which should be out by that
But
point, in those pods, you just
that's
store them
just
in
the
cold
interior.
storage in your station.
Right.
Let's talk about the exterior. On the exterior, we have minor
You heard that?
hardpoints.
You heard his nose whistle?
Yes.
Located on the upper and lower surfaces of the station. Using build mode, you can customize your station with a variety of modules, which tailor it to specific functionality. Some modules cater towards resource collection, such as gas harvesters, while others are geared towards defense, like shields or turrets. This goes back to bridge operations of power management. A situation may arise where power priority is needed. Then we have major hardpoints. The core station module comes with 2 hardpoint connectors. Major hardpoints are used to connect substantial wing additions to your station. The first example...
Fuck out of here.
That's where you're going to store all the railguns.
That's a 10,000 man org right there.
I was going to say, it makes me feel like snowballing, right? Especially remember this, there's going to be no wipes at this point, ever. So it kind of feels like what will happen is somebody's going to start doing this, and it's going to snowball, and they're going to go, it's going to be like when you're playing Rust, and 2 groups just snowball out of control, and nobody else can build, nobody else can do anything, they completely take over. That's what it's going to be
that
like,
last frame, all I saw was gigas in real time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's all I saw.
It's the
was
unrateable
just, like,
bases.
going down there
Yeah.
and giga munching.
Yeah, it's a full tech base. It's completely unrateable.
Yep.
That's what it is. Lock noobs in jail, clapping for JPEGs. Yeah. Yeah, that you come to Force Science for the realistic take, Jesus.
The first example is the cargo wing. The cargo wing will dramatically increase
Test squad will on this?
your
Yeah, maybe,
inventory
probably.
capacity. So this is ideal
All
for
those
orgs
sneaking
just
around
collect
in that
numbers.
shit,
who are
though, bombs. We
specializing
can
in
infiltrate
hoarding.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have the refinery wing.
And a little bit of a delayed reaction for the refinery.
Like, yeah,
Nobody likes refining.
So you'll be able to refine resources on a vast scale.
But why?
As it's in space, it's much more convenient than traveling to a ground base.
Not so much why, but who.
Now, a player could buy resources from your cargo wing and then refine it directly in the refinery wing. And finally, we have the hangar wing. So, all right.
Yeah, like
So,
how they have
the
like
bigger
all
your
the like the
fleet,
cutlass,
the
like
more
the cutters.
hangars
They
you
oh yeah, we'll throw a javelin in there.
There'll be a variety of hangar
And
sizes,
docking
as
collars are
well
going to
as
work then
docking
too,
collars,
guys. See?
to help organize your fleet's deployment.
They mostly work right now.
Yeah, and they
All
also
major
said like,
hardpoint
earlier in
wings
presentation
are
that they're
connected
gonna
via
add
struts.
like
And like the rest
docking
of the
collars
station,
also
the
for
struts are
docking
also
for like smaller ships.
internally traversable.
And you will have the option to
Okay,
dock or
so let's recap
land in a
on
hangar.
the exterior expansion wings. Minor hardpoints give us options
All right, Bond's
on how
getting
to collect
bored.
resources.
No matter what
Hold on, Bonds, go a little bit back in that one. Right there. You were going forward a little bit towards the fun part for this.
Or provide automated.
Go a little bit. Yeah, so that's where they start building it.
And then they're gonna show the attack.
Yeah, they're gonna show the raid.
Okay, guys, we're gonna end the stream on the raid. We'll check out the raid. That'll be all we're gonna do for CitizenCon this year. We'll see y'all in 15 years. Photo mode looks nice in the clouds.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. How's everybody
Yes,
doing?
Pedro has been working with us on this as well, so thank you. Looking cool. Customization is just as important as expansion. Similar to ground bases,
Pink.
You'll be able to earn tints for your station.
Over my dead body.
Pink.
You'll be able to apply decals
Holmes.
for your org logos.
What's up, Holmes?
Down home station.
Can't wait to have the
For
four
science
science
crew
mad
house.
scientists on the outside.
Outside of minor and major hardpoints, your station will come with 2 unique base expansion points. One on the top side behind the bridge.
Yeah, so if you want to use the arrow key keys just to skip forward a couple times for these. The crow's nest is just like a little private area thing.
Yeah, the next one is way better when they show.
So just skip past this one a little bit more.
I like seeing the renders.
I hear fight music.
Shit, here we go.
It's just a
Right.
bound chicka wow wow room, basically.
Yeah, that's where we keep our space hookers in maze.
Telling me there's chickens and cows in there?
Yeah.
You telling me
Yard
I
pimp.
fried this rice?
And
Hey,
yours
look!
has-
Hey, hopefully by this time the 600i will get its rework, guys.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it'll be a useful luxury ship.
Yeah, I think it's important to reiterate that I really feel like all this stuff is just to keep everybody on the hook. It's all marketing, like the dream, keep the dream alive. After like everything fizzles out from this, what next are they gonna tease? Like, what is the next big thing they could tease after this? You know, you're gonna own your own planets next. You could own your whole system. You could make the Force Science system.
This
next.
is
Like,
still part of the 1.0 that they said is just their plans for the full release of the game.
All right.
yeah, James,
Longer
I
goal,
agree.
not
this
something coming anytime soon.
This expansion is the
So I'm
better
going to be
of
flying
those
around the
two.
verse, and I want
Yeah,
personal
it's the
invitations
second
to
one.
see what you've done.
I
in
fucking
those
love
rooms,
this expansion. Next one.
Yeah, James. So to me, CitizenCon, like the things like the weather, those little details are the things that we're going to see, and those are the little things that are going to make the game different for us. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah,
wanna
things
fly
like
into
weather.
fucking thunderstorm.
Yeah, all that shit'll be really cool. Like those that when you watch SitCon, those are the things you got to look out for because
Yeah.
that's the stuff that's actually going to be like.
Yeah,
we're
the
gonna see it
easy
at some
shit
point
to
soon, you know?
implement.
Yeah.
and
Super
the
cool.
fact that Ian is
can't wait to
making
see what
like
you do
a lot
with it.
more stuff
Now
to
let's talk
explore.
about the underside.
Yeah.
So fucking
This is
cool.
going to be for the flight deck, which
Yeah,
also
this-
comes with an additional 3 major hardpoints. The flight deck is perfect
Is the
for your
audience really clamoring? Come on, where's the
biggest
fucking raid?
defensive air wing, which can override
Okay.
easier.
So this is like
during
a always
operations.
open like emergency hangar.
So an
that you
org
can
Yeah.
fly
with a
through.
tight flight
This is
deck
fucking
crew
cool.
can be substantially more efficient than others. Now, this one's my favorite. Let's take a look.
I haven't seen one Corsair this whole fucking video.
You know why?
Some people said that they made Nerf Corsair to sell the Star Lancer. Yeah.
It would have been cool to see a couple Perseuses come in and just start lighting the thing up.
Yeah.
There are some Perseuses in the Squadron 42.
Yeah.
Is there? Yeah. I didn't see that.
Yeah, you start off on a Perseus.
Like this is the fucking my favorite expansion of the fucking thing. Have like the open like tunnel. hangar. You can do the like the fucking cool launching stuff.
All right.
Launching the fighter from there.
Jesus is cracking me up. He's posting a typing in chat every time
There's
they
a few
clap.
little
He's like
Easter eggs in that
laughing
video.
my fucking ass off clapping. for
Here we
us.
go.
Why do
We're
you
heading
need
into
a
the
flight
combat
deck
now,
for your
Bones.
rapid defenses force? Well, if you've built your super awesome station in a super
What's the big
lawless
wing for?
system,
What big wing?
The thing coming out the
now
bottom,
you're
the
potential
the
targets
dorsal
for
fin.
That's
others.
another station.
Everyone will have their eyes on your resources and wonder what gear you've got
Bonds,
in your
it's
inventories.
when it hits the ground, it
And
fucking
let's say
buries
we
itself
didn't
in
win
there.
the
Creates
station
a
warfare
big
base
crater.
It's so it
mentioned.
it's so it can
Let's take a
navigate
look.
water.
Yeah,
I
we're gonna
mean,
go to the
that's,
water planet.
that's the fucking.
Yeah, star water.
Here we go, Bonds. So this is what we'd be doing.
Yep. Yep, there we are in our Cuddy Black. All right, let's get him, boys. And a Mustang. That's definitely us.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the starter ship crew. Yeah, suck it, nerd. You saluted me when I say go. You're wasting time, sir.
Yeah.
You saluting me as a fuck you and go.
Right.
The only problem is these guys aren't going to be able to see anything with all the missile markers in the sky.
Right. All of the rattlers.
We don't have with the new HUD. You haven't
400
seen it yet. We haven't been able to see it much yet with the new HUD box, but we don't get the big like triangle missile markers anymore.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep, go fuck yourself.
And there's the Prowler blowing up as it always does.
No! My Prowler left rolls up.
Yeah, that's a tier 2 alarm you got now, bud.
There's a grenade I tried throwing, but it just teleports back to my hand.
And the mighty loot.
Ooh, the golden Pico. You know what? Somebody
No,
needs
there's
to do?
Cuddly's helmet!
Yeah,
Cuddly's
my
helmet's
helmet.
down there!
Oh shit, Cuddly's helmet is there. So you know what they need to do?
Yeah,
somebody
I got a
needs to-
cameo.
Somebody needs to make this more like a realistic gameplay version, right? Where somebody throws a grenade, it comes back, or like they should
Right.
make. They should.
It doesn't do
big
any
white
damage.
screen.
Uh,
Try to
Moonshine.
throw it.
Moonshine is the only animator that I know. Well, I know two. You're one of them. As a talented animator that I know, you need to remake this whole scene, but realistic for Star Citizen gameplay.
For science gameplay for sure. You want to shoot some skeet?
Bonds. It's time to engage the Rust shotgun traps.
Oh, shotgun traps.
They're like, uh-oh.
Yep, shot in the back. Didn't even know it was there. That's real.
Right.
Yeah, clips into the wall of station because of elevator.
Yeah, you can push through because some
Okay,
impatient
so not
motherfucker
only is
sprints
your
into the
station
elevator
a
behind you and
staging
pushes you
area
into the wall.
for offensive campaigns, it's also a defensive fortress.
Yeah, all this stuff
that
is
golden
pretty real.
pico in my
None of
hand.
this is real.
Itself can
None of
take
this is
quite
anything.
a beating.
It's a movie
It's
we're
going to be
watching.
very hard to damage. So the goal of attackers instead.
I heard somebody say that one
Bonds-
day, like they should have made like Squadron 42. They should have just made that a movie, and that's a really good point. Like they could have just made that a
Yeah.
movie. All of us would have watched it. All of us would buy a copy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
well, it is kind of like a movie. It's like has very cinematic cutscenes, and the gameplay is
know.
very fucking cinematic.
yeah, I know, but
Like,
like
Robert said that he wanted to make it kind of like a movie experience.
Didn't he
Right,
make a
like-
movie like back in the 90s or something?
I don't know. I think it did probably.
Yeah, it had
To hold
Freddie
through the
Prinze
defense.
Jr.
Oh yeah.
And get inside.
Wing Commander.
Yeah.
The optimal way to do this will be to infiltrate through the flight deck or EVA hatches and work your way up. Once inside,
Yeah, Metal Gear's
Yes.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
once
Hey,
inside,
Bonds, this is what we're going to be
cleared
doing.
out the hangar,
Having a
you
tank
may
going through their
also want to
station.
consider airlifting
Yeah.
in a tank or two to clear some corridors. Raiders will have to hack freight elevators or bulkheads in order to gain access. And of course, bring enough ships with them to start hauling out the loot.
Can't
Gaining
charge 60
control
for a
of the
movie.
bridge
Yeah,
will
but
allow
also a lot
access
of people aren't going to buy
storage,
Squadron
which would
42. Every one of
otherwise
us would buy the
be
movie.
unhackable.
Yeah.
So, as a defender,
$15
there are a
movie
variety of
will
automated
outweigh a
defenses
$60
you're
subscription.
able to install internally
The
within the
bonds,
station.
unless there's a limit to them, you know what's going to be
Such
my
as
first thing I do in a
glass
fucking
doors, which
station?
seal shut,
Any point that has
systems to
access
be
via
breached,
EDA
and a
from
range of
the state, like
turrets,
outside the station
like
going in,
anti-vehicle
there's going to be
or
4 fucking
anti-personnel.
turrets facing that fucking door, and if someone's
These
coming
will
in and they're
all
not on our
help
list,
slow
they're
down
getting
the
blasted.
attack and give time for your reinforcements to show up. So let's do a final recap. This is
Oh,
one
he
of
produced
the
Lord of War with Nick
end
Cage? That was a good movie. I
goals
like that.
for dedicated orgs. And will be your base of operations for system-wide activities. The station can be customized both in the interior and the exterior, meaning you can
I
tailor
can see
it to your
this
own
these stations being like a
requirements.
large Easter egg hunt.
And it's your very own
selling
home
location
amongst the stars.
information, you know.
But wait.
There's more.
But wait.
Oh my God, there's more?
One more unique module we can
Clap,
build.
everybody, clap. God damn it.
Oh.
And that is the dry dock.
It's just the thing that lets you
Oh,
build
the dry dock. I thought it was the Nuki room. Come on, man.
Dry dock is where you build the capital ships. And they show it with the
This
bagel.
unique slot will be at the back of the station. It has its very own dedicated observation room with crafting stations.
Of course it does.
And has a transit tram which runs along the inside of the arms.
Man, I can't wait for the
Leading to
tram.
docking
The trams
collars
on the
where your ship
handcrafted
will be
planets work
constructed.
so well, guys. I can't
Right.
wait to have
Imagine
some on our
one that's
space
moving
station.
in space.
Still remains. What sizes of ship can we build? Let's take a look.
7.
What's up, Citizen Scott? Yeah, you think so? I'm just not into single player games much. That's my take on
This
it.
is where we fucking joked a lot, like the whales are gonna be so mad that they can't solo their space station.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or
oh, my
fighting.
God. Yeah, they're actually gonna have to make friends with other whales that don't know how to play the game.
No, we're gonna have AI.
like,
We had to. One of the guys who was watching with us was the fucking dude who bought the Origin Complete pack, and he was fucking fuming there because he can't buy the fucking station or solo. Like he's still talking about soloing his fucking like javelin.
So we can make. We're gonna be able to make Bengals.
Grade
Yeah,
immediately. What's that?
you can make capital ships. Yeah.
No, I know, but I thought didn't they say the Bengal wasn't? It was only gonna. It's not gonna be like an ownable ship in the game. I thought that was always the deal. Was the Bengal was not gonna be a ship you could own.
Maybe it's gonna be only craftable. Like you can only get the blueprint for it and then craft it.
See, this is what I mean by they change shit. This is what I mean by like. Same thing happened to the Lightning, right? Squadron 42, you could get the Lightning.
Or one thing that could be that they're just showing big ship that you can make fucking big ships there.
Okay, I hope this doesn't mean because that really changes a lot.
Yeah.
The whole idea was the Bengal was a ship you could commandeer from an NPC, but like you could never
Yeah.
keep it, own it, have it, right?
Yeah, or they could make it like you can't insure it because they talked about insurance. Is if you have insurance on a ship, that means you get your money back or resources back. But if you have insurance and warranty, you get your ship back.
Yeah.
And pledge ships all have always the warranty.
Yeah.
But the insurance depends on like the actual pledge insurance.
Yeah.
But you can buy it in game, the insurance. But I think if you make it like the bagel that you can craft it, but it can't be insured, being like the Giga in the Ark, where
I
you
don't care
can
about-
only own it limited time.
I don't care about any of this shit. When can I make a sandwich in my kitchen?
Yes.
When can I poop in the toilet?
The Star
Yeah.
Laser will have a
I
kitchen.
just want to take a shit.
When are we getting star dumps?
Right.
Yeah.
And star sandwiches. Next thing you know, they're gonna have like a whole like tree to show you how your like
A
digestive
star
system works. The
sandwich.
food goes in here and turns into poop down here. But
kinda
then you
like
gotta
scum.
make sure you have your probiotics so that it digests right, and you harvest your probiotics with this shit.
Kind of like in Scum.
Yeah, like in Scum. Yeah.
I mean, that system is kind of dope.
No, this looks dope as fuck, but I don't expect.
No, I
it to
mean
see
the
this.
fucking Scum system.
Oh, the Scum system, yeah. Well, they changed it a lot. So in Scum,
Yeah.
they They used to even keep track of how many teeth were in your mouth, like where your
Yeah.
blood pressure was.
Yeah, he punched my friend in the fucking face and he lost like 5 teeth.
Yeah, it keeps track of all that, and then like the more you eat in Scum, the fatter you get, or if you don't eat, you
Yeah.
get really skinny. But like they've changed a lot of the health stuff because people are like, this is really
Yeah.
like, convoluted and useless. So they got rid of a lot of that stuff.
Your guy was eating pudding the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and craft a big old bagel. Yeah, it looks like it.
You gotta love the scale though. Just seeing how large the
Yeah.
Bengal is compared to like the 890 jump, which is the largest ship that we have in game. Right
Yeah.
now.
Well, the Bengal has an interior tram. Like it's big enough to have a tram on the inside, you know. So
It's
huge.
almost as big as that fucking the core of that station.
Yeah.
It's
So
huge.
my thing is, I always wanted to live on a ship though, like a space station.
Smallest
Is,
ship that has the interior tram is the Kraken.
The Kraken, yeah. So like the station is definitely sick, and I definitely think a station is way cooler than a ground base. Like ground base isn't meh to me, but at the end of the day, like you should live on a ship.
In the woods.
Yeah, little shack in the woods somewhere you could stop and do whatever, I guess. But to me, living on your ship is where it's at. Like and a persistent ship. I want to live on my ship, but I have to park it in deep space because when I log off, it's still fucking there, you know. Like, or if somebody happens to log off planet side, we could walk up and break into their ship and pull them out of bed. You know?
Of the insurance and warranty they talked about, like they're gonna increase the claim times when the insurance and warranty are in, and there instead of like claiming your ship, like using the insurance or warranty for claiming your ship, you can like they give you a shuttle to get back to your ship.
Oh yeah.
They also they did these statistics bonds. They said it was like 98% of claims on ships are for ships that are not destroyed.
Yeah. Oh, I can see that. Well, how many times do we just log off and then relog just to get home and then claim your ship because it takes 3 minutes? Flying there takes 15 minutes. Relogging takes a minute, and then
now I've tried to like
So now we're talking.
leave and log off in my fucking
Stations
shoes.
linking and dry docks to craft your very own capital ships. The ultimate.
The end of it's Chris Roberts. That end speech is where Chris Roberts talks about fucking Destiny 2.
Okay. Well, I think that's kind of it, guys.
That's good.
I'll be back in 1 sec. All right, guys, that's all we're going to show for tonight. We went over most of the big stuff. James, if you missed some of it, you can always go back and watch. We kind of covered most of it. I think we should probably leave on this note that, you know, CitizenCon, you know, is a marketing thing. So, like, we don't ever really, like, I don't know. CitizenCon from last year, my favorite part of CitizenCon last year has never been mentioned again. And I'll let you guess what that is. But you can go back and watch last year's CitizenCon, see if you can figure out what that is. But it was never mentioned again since then. So when it comes to this stuff, take everything with a grain of salt. And remember, the way Force Science plays the game is we play what's here now. We enjoy what we have right now. You'll never see us saying, I'm waiting for next patch, right? Because everybody that says they're waiting for next patch comes, and then they're always waiting for the next one. They're always waiting for the next one. Enjoy what we have now. And when the thing comes out and we get to enjoy it then. And then you could be happily surprised, just like the rest of us. But I'm going to leave it there. We'll be back Tuesday evening, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for some actual gameplay. We'll get into some piracy. You guys want to see some people get fucked up? Join us on Tuesday. Have a good night. See you guys later.